I want to give the mic first to Soy Pill and then to Sansol to kind of what I'll say this. I feel that this conversation has been quite productive so far. I think it's been quite good so far. I think we've really kind of tackled what I feel are actual issues. But you guys aren't happy with the conversation. I just want to give you a chance to say why and to talk about it with us if you'd like. Because yeah.
Yeah, so in
Sorry, go
everyone
ahead.
here's defense, I have not watched the whole thing, but I'm frustrated listening to what is ostensibly a conversation coming from centrist, if not Trump supporters, telling the Democrats what they can do to win them over. I'm just like confused as to why I should be taking these people seriously whatsoever, when really all they need to be doing for the rest of their lives is atoning for their really fucking stupid decision, and like figuring out like, hey, how can I make this right? Instead of like, well, this was your fault, and this is what we need to do about it. Like, now, don't get me wrong, I haven't seen the Live and Learn where they roasted you, Tally, and I don't know everything you've said in this conversation, so maybe you have some really good responses, but just the concept of you being on this panel as an expert instead of someone who should be groveling at our
I'm not an
feet
expert.
is
I'm
very,
a
very annoying.
co-host. I'm a
Sure, whatever.
co-host to host the
Person
conversation.
that we should be listening to in any regard is very frustrating, just in concept. And this is nothing against you in slight. It's just the concept of anyone listening to you, period, as a former Trump voter.
Nothing against me, obviously.
Well, no. I'm sure you'll talk and I'll get more mad, but like this is just like
here's why, dude. It's because she's correct factually.
About what?
Can I ask a question? Okay. Do you guys deny that like okay, I'm not disagreeing that like like Trump voters made a really dumb fucking mistake, but do you guys like disagree that so many voters vote based on vibes?
No, I mean Tally
No
raised her
one's
hand,
disagreeing
but
with
that's
that.
what I'm saying is like, why do we have the vibe-based voter up here and like, hey, what should the Democrats do to win your vibes over? When it's like this person doesn't have any like integrity to why they vote based on vibes, so why don't we like do something more?
Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna have to actually moderate here because I can tell already. I want to give it to Dev first, then we'll give it to Stardust.
Oh, and Dev, for the record, I don't hate you. I don't know. You said that earlier. I don't know you. Maybe I'll hate you once you talk, though.
You maybe you didn't know it was me. You pinged me on Twitter and said something to that effect. So
you probably said something really stupid then.
So when it comes to Trump voters, you know that they don't just disappear, right?
What?
Like they don't disappear when you deperson them, when you deplatform them, when you ban them from various things online. They don't vanish.
I didn't say we should deperson them. My whole thing is reaching out to Trump supporters. I'm asking why Talia is up here like, well, Democrats, this is what you need to do, and it's like, what the fuck? Why are we listening?
I was a Democrat.
Because it is what Democrats need to do.
Okay, well, hold on. Since I haven't heard everything.
Hold on. Yeah, wait. Hold on. I'm gonna say really quickly.
Well, can I hear her out? I want to hear Talia. I want to hear Talia.
People are getting bullied.
I'm gonna set this up for you. I'm gonna set this up for you.
Yeah.
So this is our opinion of what the left should do.
Yeah.
There are lots of opinions of liberals and leftists and center left people are talking about right now, and I think we've brought that up. People wondering which direction should there are the people who say the left, the Democrats have been moving right and trying to appease centrists and Republicans for all these years. When are we going to make a change and just lean into the leftist policies that our base really wants to see? That's one school of thought. Okay. The other school of thought is wokeness, and a lot of these culture war issues and a lot of the toxicity among people on the left is pushing people away, people who were formerly allies, people who are now just disaffected, even if they don't turn into Republicans.
Is that what happened to you?
Care about that.
Like,
that is
my question is like, what switched you from Democrat to Trump? Like, because I haven't heard this, and I wanted to hear you.
It didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen overnight. This was an approximately 4-year process.
Which years to which years?
It's summer of 2021 up until November of 2024 when I voted for Trump.
Okay. And I don't know if you could summarize it in like 3 points. What would it be? big 3. Was it wokeness? Was that one of them?
Well, it's funny because we just had we've had like 3 conversations.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the short version, just straight to the point, right?
Okay.
Yeah, there are a lot of issues that I see on the left. The first thing that triggered my alert to say, what's going on with my side was noticing the illiberalism of who I thought to be my liberal and progressive peers. Then I started changing the types of people that I was listening to, the types of reading that I was doing, and changed my mind about a lot of different cultural issues. Yeah, basically, more or less that. And I now believe that the left is eating itself. And it makes me very sad because I see a lot of people on the right as super crazy. And I'm not a Republican.
Okay, would
And
you
I
vote
wish
for
that we had
Trump
better
in
options
2024,
here.
third term, like based on everything you're seeing happen today?
So, okay, so this is respectfully, you should just go back and watch the Live and Learn. You
Just
should
say yes
watch
or
my Not
no.
So Airy
Like
Today
based on
conversation
everything that's
after
happening today,
that.
yes
You
or
should
no.
listen
Just
to
that's
my
it. Yes
Pisco
or no. Just yes
conversation.
or no.
Well, I had a whole conversation about that I wouldn't vote for him moving forward in the future.
Okay.
It's like I don't see the value in asking me to like
Well,
regret my
no,
vote
it's not
and to
even
take
about
back my
regret.
vote
It's
in
like,
some
how
way
can
that
you
I
look at
can.
everything going wrong today and say, well, you know, the
Sure,
Democrats,
and
for
you
all
can
the problems they have, which I might
so
agree
Soy
with.
Pill, you can just disagree with what we're saying and think that we're ridiculous, and you can maybe you'll win, maybe you're right, or maybe you'll lose again. Maybe you will continue to lose.
But you
and we'll
just said you
find
wouldn't
out.
vote for him again, right? So why are you spending time up here saying like, well, here's what the Democrats need to do, and not, you know, coming out of this platform saying, holy shit, I made a huge mistake. I'm voting for a guy who's dismantling our democracy and subverting all these congressional powers and like doing all these inhumane things with all these illegal immigrants in LA. And I think this is fucking insane, and I want to do something against this. Guys,
So
here's how, like, is that what you're going to do? Or are you going to be
okay,
like,
so hold on.
well,
So maybe,
this is why
yeah.
I
This
was
is a good
driven to
idea.
the
This is a
Democratic
good
Party,
idea.
right?
This is a good idea. Snipill, why don't you just type me out a script? I'll start every conversation that I have with that so that I'm then allowed to speak after that. If you could write something down, that would be helpful for me.
No, I think you should be like embarrassed for like making this big of a mistake, and the fact that you're like, well, like
Okay,
here's
and
what I think the
you're
Dems should
proving
do.
my point. I think you're proving my point.
Your point
This
being
type
what?
of toxicity. This type of toxicity pushes people away from the left.
That I say
Pushes
like, hey, you
liberals
should be
away from the
embarrassed, and I
left.
accept that you have now come to the right conclusion that Trump is
No, I
not
mean,
a good
like you
president.
jumping into the conversation and saying, why are we listening to somebody like this? You know, why are we listening to someone who voted Trump give criticism on the left? You mean somebody who spent her entire life on the left?
No, not
Why would
just
we care
someone
about
who.
what made someone
There's
who
a
spent their
very big
entire
difference
life on the
between saying
left
like, all right,
change
someone
their
who
worldview
switched.
and even vote for Donald Trump?
Okay, hold on. So
You know,
obviously, hold on.
curiosity
Wait,
would go
please,
really a long way.
please.
So would
You're triggering me.
charity.
I'm
No,
triggered.
seriously. No,
No,
yeah,
you
okay.
okay. So first of
You
all,
are the problem.
you should go watch
You
all of
are
you should
the
go watch all of
problem.
my videos where I'm incredibly
Right.
charitable to Trump supporters. First of all, second of all, the reason I'm coming on here mad
Sounds
is
like
not that I'm like, oh, like there's no reason to listen to a Trump supporter, because obviously there is. Like there is an entire swath of people that support this man. No matter how retarded the reasons are, we have to figure out how to switch them over. My question is, why are we having a panel with you coming on and saying, well, here's my advice on what the Democrats need to do
Because
to
I'm
win
a
me over,
co-host.
who,
Hold on,
when
hold
you
on.
self-admittedly raise your hand and say, by the way, I'm just a
You wanna-
vibes-based
hold on,
voter and I have
hold on,
absolutely no
Soy Pill,
fucking
the
principles.
reason we're talking to Talia right now is because I asked her to be on. Like the reason anyone is on this panel right now. Let's
Wick,
be real.
let's be
is
real,
because
Wick.
I
You
decided
platform
to
a lot
have
of
them on
retards,
because
me
I was interested
included.
in what they had to
So,
say. Frankly,
Okay,
okay.
here's
But
the
this
real
is a good
thing.
example. I think this is a good example of what we're talking about, Soy Pill. And this is you. There is no value to asking her to have this kind of like genuflection before giving an opinion. And I understand you might not agree with her opinion or might not think it's valuable, and that's fair. But other people do, and simply coming
Sure.
on to kind of like scold her, I don't think it's helpful. But I want to get other people in the
oh,
conversation.
I'll scold you too, Wick. I think
Sansel
taking these
wants to go.
people more seriously is silly.
Sure,
but
sure,
go
sure.
on.
We'll get to it.
so
Well, you'll
can I
get more speaking time, but I want to get Sansel, I want to get Stardust, and I want to get Dev again, and I want to hear their thoughts
I
on
just
this.
really quickly want
Go
to say,
ahead.
like, I'm sorry, but like so many people vote based on vibes. We can't just like ignore them.
Yeah, and we should
like,
shame them absolutely into making better
we should
decisions.
shame
Not
them.
ignoring them, by the
Very
way,
effective.
but absolutely not
Very
platforming them
effective.
as this like, well, what do you think we should do? It's like, hey, retard, why don't you actually research what you care about and actually vote based on policy instead of being like, well,
If the
Trump held up a
vibes that
rainbow
they voted
flag.
for- if
Most
they
people
voted
aren't
for
gonna do that.
vibes,
Yeah,
but
hold on. No,
Stardust.
Soy Pill. I'm
But
so
if they-
glad you're right. You are
I have
so
been talked
generous.
over
You
so
think
many
that I
times. I've
voted for
been so
Trump?
patient.
You
but
think
if
that I
they
voted
vote,
for
if you
Trump?
voted for
Hold on,
vibes,
hold on,
if you voted for
hold on,
fucking
hold on,
vibes,
hold on, hold
if
on.
you voted for fucking vibes,
Pill,
then
you're
why the
so
fuck would
bad
you not
faith.
vote for someone who is more like Soy Pill than someone who is more like Nancy Pelosi? Like, if you're voting for vibes, then the vibes that Soy Pill is giving is closer to the Trumpian stuff than the Nancy Pelosi. No, not to offend you, but it's more aggressive. It's showing strength. It's showing like, you know,
Yeah,
I
so I
actually
was never-
believe in something. I'm not
Nancy
entirely
Pelosi,
sure.
Sansol, interestingly, it feels like
Are you fucking kidding me?
it feels like there are a lot of people on the left
I'm
who
gonna
are
fucking
sincerely
murder
just
you
incurious. Because
in-
I'm
Sansol,
sorry, I
you
literally,
said that.
I literally can't understand a word you're saying. I'm trying. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not sorry. Not trying to say shut up,
Alright.
but yeah.
You're just like it's just incurious. I didn't vote for Trump because I like his aggressive bullying demeanor. I've specifically said over and over again, and this is like people who are claiming to have watched what I said, that I have always been averse to Trump, that I was holding my nose to vote for Trump, that I was hoping that it would have been Nikki Haley, that I wish we could have gone back in time to 2016 and it would have been John Kasich, okay? That's how I was feeling in 2024, is that I really wanted to vote against the left, and guess what? It happened to be Trump. And even when Trump became the nominee, I still wasn't fully sold that I was going to vote for him. So no, it's not the Trump personality that won me over, certainly.
What's your number one Trump policy?
Respectfully, seriously, I mean this respectfully.
This is a super easy question. If you voted for it,
if you want to bring me on your show, so
I don't want to bring you on my show. I'm only here because you're here to be like, you should go away.
This conversation.
Like
Here,
it's a fucking joke.
Get them the fuck up. Throw them over the border.
There you go. Look, Dev,
over the wall with
if that's your real position, that's like, okay, that's what he promised. And I can't be like, well, you were stupid for doing this. It's the people that come out and be like, well, I thought he was going to do all this stuff, and I just can't believe he's going in and deporting people from their workplaces, and when he was fucking holding up signs that said mass deportation. But yeah, if that was your policy, then it's hard for me to be like, well, you were duped or something, or I feel sorry for you for being deceived. Like, no, that's what he said, and you wanted that. That's why I'm asking, is that your number one policy? If that's Dev's, like, you know, as much as I say fuck you for voting for that, it's still like, well, at least you understood what you were doing.
Dev didn't vote for Trump. Again, you just like came in hot and made all these assumptions that at least half of this panel must have voted
Dev
for
gave
Trump
a policy.
because there was
No, I know that
of the
Star
left
didn't.
taking
I don't
place.
know what Dev did. I know that you did. You're the only person I know who voted for Trump.
I did not
That says
vote
a
for
lot
Trump.
more about
I
you.
did not-
If I'm the
Hold
only
on.
person
Just to
that
be
you know
clear-
who voted for Trump, that
No,
says
on this
a lot
panel,
about
idiot.
you.
I know a lot of Trump
hold on.
voters.
So just to be clear, I did not vote for Trump. In fact, I made, I think, a 3-hour or 4-hour video on why Trump was absolutely fucking terrible.
Awesome, based.
So no, I am in no way a Trump supporter. Like even then, like I actually do. Okay, joking aside, I would like to see the illegals sent home. I don't like how
Every
Trump is
single
doing it. I don't like how Trump's doing it.
Every single
but
one.
Sure, if possible. Like I don't like how he's doing it.
Why don't you like how he's doing it?
Hold on, soy. Hold on, just a housekeeping thing. Soy, you gotta let people finish their fucking.
I'm
thought,
sorry.
okay?
I'm on
It's
caffeine.
getting
People
really
have had me
frustrating.
riled up, but go on. Sorry.
Dev,
Wouldn't it
please.
be economically devastating, like to send every single illegal home?
Okay,
like,
we're not in the immigration debate. We can have another day, right?
Well,
But
it would be, but I do have a reason for it, but it's probably outside the scope of this conversation. But yeah, it's not based on economics. It's not based on racism. I genuinely think that you cannot have a functioning sovereign country if you don't control who comes in and who comes out legally. And my reasoning for this goes all the way back to the Treaty of Westphalia in the 1600s.
But you
So-
can you can make policies for stronger borders. Like you can be pro stronger borders without sending every illegal home to the
red flag on the play. We're not doing an immigration debate today. So Dev, though, you mentioned something that I think
Dev probably agrees with that, Stardust, if he really laid out his full.
He might. But again, we're not here to debate immigration. Dev, you said something that I think was interesting, and I wonder if you'd elaborate on that.
Well,
when Soy
I can, but Sansol is literally falling asleep. Shouldn't he have a shot first?
He should have a
Yeah,
shot
Stardust
first,
is
but Stardust is going to disrespect him and talk all over him. That's what Stardust does. To Sansol specifically only. I've never seen Stardust act like that to anyone but Sansol, but that's weird.
If you have
But-
something that's still on this train of thought, I have a different train of thought to go down, so I'll let you guys finish this one. I'll allow it.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
I
But Dev,
apologize,
you
Sansol.
mentioned, you mentioned that Talia was just correct in her assertion here. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
I mean, part of that was just me memeing, to be honest.
Fair.
However, like there is some truth there for sure. Like I think voting for Trump in 2024, especially if you are knowledgeable about his 2020 false elector plot, is completely unconscionable. Like I would vote for a fucking bag of
Whoa,
potatoes.
Dev,
over
why are
Trump
you
in
shaming
2024.
Trump supporters right now, dude? You know this is why Trump won, right?
Yes, but I'll still talk to them about it. However, voting for Trump in 2016, I think, is actually a lot more reasonable because there's a different political situation in 2016 versus 2024, and Trump is not the person that he was back then. So I think if someone came to me and said I voted for Trump in 2016, that's a much more reasonable take, in my opinion, than I voted for Trump in 2024.
I don't disagree with you.
Trump got more votes in 2024 than in 2016, correct?
I think so. Yes.
Okay, so this just goes back to what I was saying before, which is like people don't need to like this information, but the truth is there are more people motivated to either vote for Trump or to vote against the left now than there were then. This is a growing problem.
Yeah.
It,
Okay.
So-
Democrats don't have to choose to focus on it. But it
So
exists.
so here's the thing, right? Like if I was going to sit down and talk to somebody who voted for Trump and then they said, "You know what? I don't regret it." Or if they said, "You know what? I do actually kind of regret it." And they gave me reasons as to why for both of these things. I don't think I would attach all that much judgment to it necessarily, because what does that actually get me? You know, like what it seems like, Soy Pill, is that you're just looking to be virtue signaled to. You want somebody to express their remorse at having done a thing that you and I both agree is not a very good thing. And whether they whether they regret it or not, or whether they virtue signal at you or not, doesn't actually matter, because they can just lie to you. Like Talia, if Talia wants to, she can right now completely kneel at your feet and apologize and not mean a single bit of it.
I don't care about people groveling towards me. That means very little, although it is funny. What I care about is that the person who we're listening to as to what should we do next is a person who is self-admittedly is going to vote based on vibes. You raised your hand when someone mentioned that. And someone who has done the dumbest thing ever, which is vote for Trump after his first term, after the elector scheme. And now seeing everything that's happening now, we're going to look at that and say like, hey, this is all terrible and I'm partly to blame because I voted for him. But you know what? Let's take me as the authority, and I'm going to speak as like an authority here and not like, guys, I'm really sorry about this, but like, hey, this is why I did this. I'm like, this is how we can correct it, and this is how I was shifted back this way. Like, other than that, it's like, it's absolutely ridiculous that like anyone should be listening to it.
Hold on. So okay, I completely agree with everything you just said. Now, do you want Tally to vote for the left or the right in 2026 and 2028?
Well, obviously,
already
I
said that
think
she's
she
gonna
should
vote
vote
for
for
the
the
left.
left.
Yes. So perhaps listening to her a little bit and having a little bit of charitability is probably a good thing.
Why? She's doing everything I wanted to do. Now she can just stop talking.
So,
Okay.
Now, if I were in her position, now I'd vote for the right out of spite.
Well,
Because
and that would be my point, is like, if someone's gonna switch votes because some guy came in and yelled at them, they're fucking retarded and we shouldn't take them seriously. And it's like, oh no, we've scolded them too long. Oh, is that your wife? Hi.
It is my wife, and she voted Trump too, guys. Don't
Hey,
cancel.
tell her
Oh
she's
my God,
retarded
the
for me,
lesbians
okay?
are voting Trump, guys. We got rid of lesbians now. I guess shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the interracial lesbians voting Trump. Everything's really fucked, guys. Maybe you should take a look at what's going on the left.
Yeah, that you guys are like too stupid to understand that Obergefell
Well,
is
no,
being
no,
considered to be
so-
repealed.
Soy
Like,
Pill.
do you ever worry
Soy
about
Pill.
that?
Yeah, you can.
I do want to give Sonsol a chance at some point. Right?
Yeah, just real quick, Soy Pill.
Yeah.
This is.
And Sonsol,
You
accept
can-
the request that I just sent you. Just accept it.
Just real quick.
Where?
You can call them retarded, and maybe they even are retarded, but they still have votes, and it doesn't go away.
Right. Okay, so here's the thing, Dev, listen to me. If I'm just saying go away, that's useless, right? But if I'm saying, hey, retard, the people that you voted for are going to try to get your marriage license revoked, and you should understand that, and they still are going to vote for Trump, then they're a lost cause, and they need to disappear, and don't platform them because they're fucking useless. Okay. Now, if you're going to say, whoops, I accidentally voted for the people that are going to try to overturn Obergefell, who have ostensibly said, hey, we're giving this to the Supreme Court. It's already coming out of Iowa. I really don't like the fact that my marriage license is going to be revoked, and I'm sorry, and I'm going to go tell all my gays about it. Cool. Awesome. Let's bring them up here and spread the word about how you fucked up. Otherwise, go the fuck away.
Here's a problem.
And this is what I mean about you wanting to be virtue signaled to, because that's all virtue signaling.
That's not virtue signaling. That's spreading message about a real policy that's going to happen based on the vote.
Oh my God.
Okay. Hold on. I got to get something out, and then we're going to go to Sonsol. I'm just going to say this, and then we're going to go directly to Sonsol. I want to make sure, right? If we want to win people back, we have to talk to the people that we lost. Talia is one of those people that we
no,
lost.
actually, Talia said
agree with
she
that?
would vote for a Democrat next, so we don't have to talk to her anymore.
Sonsol, go
Listen,
ahead, please.
So, like, I want to say, like, up front, the questions I was going to ask here, my style is a little less aggressive than Soy Pill's, but his sentiment is the same. I share the same sentiment. Here's my question. You talked a lot about at the beginning. This is what triggered me about how, people get bullied. And, I know it's not like I get bullied and therefore I have to become a Nazi. You guys referenced that. But, like, what do you think is the typical reason why people voted for Trump? Do you think that it is typical for people to be bullied into voting for Trump, or do you think that it is typical for someone to vote for Trump for another reason?
Which year are you talking about?
I assumed that you guys were talking about 2024 when you guys were talking about this. 2016, I feel like probably didn't have the same vibes to it.
I think the bullying was more of a factor in 2016 than 2024. I think in 2024, if unaligned people started shifting rightward, it's because they ended up falling for the media line that there was lawfare happening against Trump, and that's why I believe that Biden should have been a lot stronger on going after Trump after 2020 legally.
So if that's the case, then why do we spend so much time on how mean the left is, and how, if it was more about like the ineffectual nature of the Democrats, or what they should have done, or what they
Sure.
did do or didn't do, then why did we spend so much time about how mean the
Because
left is?
I disagree slightly with Dev's take here. I think that in 2024, I think it was still a fact. I think it was a significant factor. I won't say it's a main factor. I wouldn't say most MAGA people voted this way because of this, but there is quite a bit of people that I know who either stayed home or voted for Trump as a protest vote because of what they saw as the excesses of the left, of how they were treated personally by people on the left. Because, of course, again, I don't understand how people don't understand this.
No, because
If-
No, we
people
understand
know
this,
as
Wick.
well as
We
anyone.
understand
Hold on,
I
this.
have argued
let me finish
that
it.
we
If
should
people are
be,
shitty to you, if people continually
yeah, no
shit
one
you,
argues against
you're
that.
gonna vote
right?
against them.
Right, but
even
Wick,
if
but
you're
Wick,
talking about
Deeper
what
than
is the
that.
Wick,
typical
Wick.
reason- why?
Yeah, it's like-
why are we spending so much time on that?
Yeah.
When the reasons that people are voting for
Because
fucking
this is
Trump
a
is because
fixable
it's for
problem
other-
in a way that other issues are not. This
Yeah,
is a
but so,
fixable
like-
problem in a
so
way
the-
that
so
other
the-
issues are
but here's
not.
the
It's
thing,
all
this is
message
why-
on the
Wick, this is
economy
why-
isn't fixable.
Not
Sorry.
not when we have
Okay,
no
I
political
have a-
power. Hold on, not when we have no political power. The Democrats don't own the House. They don't own the Senate. They don't
We
own
were
the
in
White
power.
House. So what we can influence is the people who are the influencers and people on the left and the far left. We can excise them
Hold
or
on, but you're
influence
now
them to
talking in the
stop
present.
being
You're now
shitty.
talking in the present tense, Wick. When you guys were at that time talking about the 2024 election and the 2020 election. You can't talk about, well, we don't have power now. We did then. That's not what the issue is, right?
I
Sure.
can't
So I have
turn
an
back
answer.
time.
Sounds
I'm
all.
talking
I have an answer.
today because I can. Going forward, what should we do?
I
And
know.
that is my
I don't
advocacy.
disagree. I just want to say I don't disagree, and you guys all know, right? Like I don't like it when the left is like sitting there and shitting down the throat of people who might very well vote for us, right? Like I'm on that train too. All right, I'm a little bit of a soy liberal, not leftist. All right, but at the
Based.
same time, I'm not going to sit here at the moment that we're in right now and say, oh, well, it's because of the Democrats being too mean. Or I'm going to sit here, I'm going to be really mad about what Destiny said about the flood victims. It's not that I think that we need more of that, like you were saying, Wick. No, I don't think that, and maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I don't think that
You
I've seen
are.
anybody say like, "Oh, we specifically need to make more fun of dead white babies." There might be a couple of like two Twitter posts out there, but by and large, it's why the fuck do I give a fuck what Destiny said here when I see Studio Ghibli, anime or AI generated abuelas getting arrested by ICE people, and they're all saying they're jerking off. Fuck, what I was sent something to bring up for this. It was right here. Breaking. ICE will be removing Kilmar Abrego Garcia to a third-party country after an activist judge tries to put him on the streets of America. DHS promised he'll never be free in America again, so he's going to end up in a South Sudanese prison or somewhere similar. Crying, laughing emoji. He didn't want to be in El Salvador, so maybe he'll enjoy South Sudan. This is like what they're laughing about.
That's why I
right?
voted
And-
for the Dem in 2028 was that post, actually, because they bullied my people.
like
Unironic. Hold on. This behavior is why I am bullish on the left winning in 2026 and 2028. I think that this is an.
But people don't
This-
care
this-
about.
this
People
rebel-
did not vote
Hold
for
on.
the Republicans when they did that.
Oh my God.
They didn't. So it's not that people are voting for them for that.
They
I
voted
don't think
against
that
them in
that's the reason.
2018, They
but
voted
I
against them
don't-
in 2020. They voted against them in 2022.
Not
The reason
because
they
of
voted in
that.
2024 was because we pushed out Biden cooed him basically, and also right decided to run Kamala. It was such a fucky wucky situation that I don't think we could do, like this relevancy, a recency bias, I should say, this recency bias that you guys have, that they won once out of 5 elections, they won once, and that's then we should do everything they do. Their behavior that they're exuding and exhibiting is going to be the reason they lose in 2026, and it's going to be
wasn't the reason they
lost
lost
The
in 2020,
behavior?
though.
So why should we emulate that?
You think? Well,
behavior?
no. Wick, what the fuck are you talking? You think that Biden
I'm not,
lost
no one's
in
saying
20? You
to
think
emulate the
Kamala?
behavior. They're
You
saying
think?
that I don't care if
Wait,
someone
Sam.
does it.
Do you think that Kamala lost because of her behavior? Not because of
Kamala lost because she
inflation,
wouldn't,
not because
she
of
only had
like
3 months to run.
yeah,
She
but
only
because
had
of
3
her
months to
behavior.
run?
Like, well, Trump's gonna lose because of his behavior. No, Trump's gonna lose if people feel the economy's bad enough. People are disgusted by his ICE policies. People don't like the fact that tariffs are gonna like tank the economy into a recession. Like, that's why people will vote. They're not gonna vote because Trump is mean.
They will. They will
No,
vote.
they fucking will
Right,
not
they-
vote
they
against him
absolutely
because
will.
Trump
They're
is
because
mean.
of
That
his
is not
actions,
that
not
is
because
not
of
the
his words.
delimiting line. That is
Hold
not
on,
why people
they
vote
vote
against
because
someone.
how they are treated.
Yes,
And if they are treated
physically
poorly
because
by
of
a
policy,
side,
not
they will
because
vote
he's
against that
mean.
side. How is this so hard to grasp?
Being mean
Wait,
on
I will-
Twitter
you
is
guys-
not why
I
people are
have
going to
to
vote
say
against
this
Trump, dude.
Capability of grasping the
hold on,
situation
just
that
a second
people
ago-
vote on vibes, and more people vote on vibes than
I
vote
said-
on policy.
I asked
so
you if
why
it
not
was
make
typical-
the vibes good?
I asked
Hold
you
on.
if it was typical for people to be bullied into voting for Trump, and you said no. And now you're saying that that is the case. So which is it, Wick? Is the left, are Democrats just so
I think
fucking toxic and so fucking
most
vile that we
people
bully
vote on
everyone into
vibes
voting?
than
Oh no,
anything
I'm
else.
so fucking like put down and about. Like, I don't think that we should be doing that, but I'm not gonna cry if I see someone make an edgy joke. That's all I'm fucking saying. And you're saying here that we have to all be fucking saints and that like we all have to like rise above. When obviously
have to
that's
be
not
better
the
than
case,
them, yes.
because they voted for
So-
Why do we have to be better than them?
Okay.
They win
They
a
did the
majority
things.
vote
They
doing
voted for
that.
them.
Clearly, we
Why
can
would
do
they
it
care
They
who
too.
did
won
this?
one election cycle. Oh my God!
They won 2
lost in
election cycles.
2022
They-
because of this,
yeah, they
lost
won
in
2 of them.
2018 because of this. They lost in 2020 because
They
of
were
this.
doing that for
They won 2022.
they were doing that, Wick, for 5 years, and Talia voted for them. So clearly, it's not a delimiting issue that's going to completely push people away. You know?
If I can, I do think
Go
that the
ahead,
vibes-based voting, like kind of conversation, I think is more relevant to specifically 2016 voters. But I would agree.
I agree, yeah.
think that, yeah, I would agree that regarding like making dark jokes, I don't think any joke should be off topic. Like, I just don't. Like, I think like if people, I understand, like, Wick, your concerns about like, you're gonna isolate people if you are if you're like if you're making jokes like that, but I do think, like, yeah, the cruel jokes have already been kind of in circulation. I don't think jokes should be like off, off
I
Can I
don't
say-
think anyone should be
I
canceled.
wait,
think there's
Wick.
a difference. I think there's a difference between making jokes about things and like.
Thank you very much,
actually,
Obscure
like,
Music Collector,
cutting
for the
off people
$10.
completely,
I highly
right?
recommend you put some text in there
that's
because
my
I
main
was
point,
forced
is,
to
like, I
read
don't
it,
think we should
and I
be
like
cutting
reading
off
your
people
super chats. So thank you very much.
necessarily for their political views. I think we should be engaging with people who have different views than us, but that's very different than police people for making dark jokes. So.
Okay, I want to
Yeah,
raid
who's
some super
saying
chats
any
and make
of
some
that
money
here?
before I let anyone else in, because money is more important than all of
Oh,
you.
no, there's
Um,
other
and-
people.
But before
that's
you're
right.
reading, so I wanted to reply to something that Sansol said like 20 minutes ago.
Okay, so do that, and then we're gonna get to
Okay,
my money.
okay.
Yeah.
So I think I mostly agree with you, Sansol. However, I want to point out that the title of the stream is, it's not, should we be mean to people and then therefore that pushes them away, or what does it do to them? The title of the stream is, are Democrats responsible for the rise of MAGA? I think in 2016, the vibe conversation makes a lot of sense, because we didn't have COVID yet, we didn't have lockdowns yet, we didn't have the crazy radicalization yet. In 2016, you're mean to somebody online, they go the other way. Like I said, we saw it with Sargon, we saw it with other people. I think that was definitely a factor. In 2024, like you said, Stardust, that wasn't a factor anymore, I don't think. However, I still think that Democrats are responsible for the rise of MAGA in a large part, because from 2020 to 2024, Democrats pretended like MAGA was vanquished, like they were gone, like it was over, and then they came back and they reconquered the kingdom. I cannot overstate this. The Democrats royally fucked up by not going after Trump 10 times harder, And
I
if we
agree.
want to, if we want to hold
Hey,
the Democrats
GM,
responsible,
thank you for the
that's how we
$2.
hold them responsible.
I'm
Like,
very
if you win in
excited to watch
2028,
Superman on
don't
Saturday.
take your eye off the ball.
James
Like,
Gunn is
you
the
must
GOAT.
you must rip MAGA out of your country.
We
root
have
and
so
stem.
much more power now. If the Democrats get into the presidency, there is so much power that they have at their disposal right now. I wholeheartedly
hate
agree.
this. I
now
hate
you
this.
can you can say that you hate this, but I think that the Democrats in 28.
I have no idea if
should run
that's short
on
fat
a
otaku. It's
platform
clearly a
of
short fat person.
cutting
I don't
the
know who this
executive's
is. His name's
power
Dev.
in
Yeah.
good faith. But first, we should pack the fucking court because this shit's fucking crazy. We should absolutely like annihilate all.
Someone at the
of
gym said
MAGA's
I look like
possibility
Clark
of ever
Kent,
gaining
and I
power
was like,
ever
I don't
again.
think so, but
We
thank
should
you.
throw all the people who are involved in all
Workout
of the
video
money,
is
like
primed. I just have to
fucking
finish this
grubbing
Curtis Yarvin
weird
thing.
bullshit that they're doing with the taxes, buying off and selling at certain points, and all the people involved in ICE. Straight to alligator.
Okay, then it is
Alcatraz.
short fat
After
otaku.
we
Thank you.
put them there, and
Christ.
This is
then
what I,
we can pass
Yeah,
a couple
is
of
this the
constitutional
woke
amendments.
concentration camps are bad unless we use them on Republicans? That's more leftist than me.
Actually, no.
Radicalization at work
Concentration
right
camps
here.
were bad until they were made part of the conversation. And now, if you're going to throw our people in concentration camps, your people are going to concentration camps.
Okay. Just to be clear, I'm not that left. I'm not
Let's read
doing
some
that.
Super chat.
I'm a liberal, okay, brother? I'm angry.
I'm just saying. This
I'll be
is
right back.
this is what like.
Just real quick. No,
Finish your thought, Jeff.
there's someone in the chat. There's people in your chat, Wick, who are saying, "LOL, Dev thinks that the Democrats aren't using power." Trump should have been fed into a fucking wood chipper at this point.
Jesus Christ, my
Listen,
monetization.
why?
Gang,
Listen.
my monetization.
Why the fuck did Biden wait 2 fucking years to bring charges against Trump when all the evidence was there about the fucking false elector scheme? What the fuck? Like maybe he was just like old and completely brain fucked. He just like sleptwalked through 4 years. Holy shit! Like. The only way that America saves itself right now is if MAGA is utterly and completely fucking destroyed, right? Like every single person who's complicit with this administration needs to basically be thrown in jail.
No,
like it's fucking insane right now.
I gotta read these super chats.
We need to like also kind of mimic the rights strategies when it comes to grouping in undesirable groups into the right, because
Thank you, Phil,
I
for the
fucking hate all
$10.
these far leftists and, being
I'm not gonna start
branded as
meowing.
liberals. I think we need to start like branding all of these like super far right people
Like MAGA soy
Meow.
as Republicans, start evening out the playing field. Right now, again, I'm not saying don't disconnect. I agree with the idea of like don't disconnect from people, right? Don't isolate people. But yeah, I do think there's a difference between like not isolating people and like letting people get away with dirty tactics and not being dirty yourself. I think we do need to get a little bit dirty. So
you all are wrong and dumb, but let me read these super chats. Okay, $5 from Audacity to say soy never got scolded as a child, and it shows.
I got
$5 more
scolded a
from
lot.
Audacity to say, hey Star, here's the non-critical thinker you were talking about, smiley face. $10 from Alexander Rin to say, who is this new idiot that helped Democrats lose the last election and will lose them the next one? He is a defining characteristic of why people hate Democrats. That's to you, so Phil.
Okay.
Greg Yo for $5. If someone is willing to vote for their exact opposite of their values because leftists were mean to them, that's a mindset I just can't understand. Thank you for $5. $20 from Festiva to say, let me help soy. Just because guy who I voted for was not as good as I hoped does not mean your person you wanted on your side would not be worse. And you need to prove why you would be way better an option than what we have.
Very
1
insightful.
month
Thank you.
membership from Adam Gadbaugh. Soy Pill's opening statement is why Dems will lose. $10 from Audacity to say, hey, behold the flavor of purity style. No one notices. LMAO. Ah ha ha ha.
Phil,
Holy
thank you for the
shit.
$2. I will not
$2
do
from
that
Daniel
because
to
I
say,
don't
Soy
think
Pill
they
and
stink.
Talia, you
I'm not
guys
gonna
should
lie.
kiss and make up. I think Holly's wife might have an issue with
a little
that,
bit inappropriate.
I will
Chat,
never
yeah.
date a Jewish woman after knowing my mom. Okay, so it's never happening.
$10. $10 from
That doesn't
Lawson
surprise
Harrison.
me. There's got to be some psychological things at play here.
Mommy issues. Okay, we'll explore that on another topic, right? $10 from Lawson Harrison to say, what would we guess as a percentage of Vibe voters if compared?
Thank
from
you for the
right to
$10.
left?
Mugmas
I
2000.
don't know off the top of my head.
If Biden
I'd
meowed
just
on
say most
stage, he
people vote
would have
vibes,
won.
just in general. I think
True.
most people
I would have
vote
voted
on
for him.
vibes. $5 from Testicle Johnson to say soy came on specifically to derail the entire panel. What a waste of time. $10 from Audacity to say I don't
Thank you,
regret
that guy.
voting for Trump because now I get epic crash outs on Wick TV.
I'm going to
which
mute
is
them so
live
you can hear
Monday
me. I think the main reason people hate Democrats is because a single leftist person was personally mean to me specifically and called me stinky. True. That's why I'm going to vote for Kamala next time, because Trump was mean to me, or Tim Pool was mean to me.
It's short-sighted. $5 from Smokey D Bandit to say my 6-year-old granddaughter has better critical thinking skills than Soy Pill. Artemis Fowl, 7 months.
I'm making you lots of
membership.
money. You should have me on more, Wick.
True. I'm having you on next
Also,
week.
these people have a lot of heat for Soy Pill. I literally talked about putting people.
I'm gonna
in
let you know.
concentration
We're
Yeah,
camps.
gonna
every
get
single.
to you.
Well, no,
Don't
no.
worry, I'm sure.
What
To
the
be clear,
fuck?
Sans, every single person right now, they're all making me vote for Kamala harder right now. Every single one, because they're being mean to me.
Fucking true.
They're being mean to me, and I have no
Exactly.
principles, and I'm vibe based, and I don't like when people are mean to me. So
I might listen. I'm a liberal. I might vote for fucking Zoe Mamdani at this
It's actually
point.
literally so bad faith, and I don't think Wick is helping in the way that he describes it either, because I don't actually think for most people it's that simple. So, Sansol, you said
Okay,
who?
you can
how
take
many?
that, but I'm going to make money. I'm going to keep reading my super chats
Yeah,
because we're not done, and then we'll get
Sure,
to it.
thank you,
then
Fulmar,
I'll
for the
miss that.
$2. Can you ask Wick if he wished he had your body?
$2,
I don't
I'm
need
sorry,
to.
I
I'm
missed
sure
this.
he does because he compliments it all the time.
Members for 7 months says, I am confident.
And I try not
after
to be
seeing
too
this
douchey.
stream." $2 from Hunter Young to say, would Biden have won if not for COVID? Yes or no? I think he would. Yeah. Smokey D Bandit for $2. Soy is Trump's biggest propagandist. $10 from Audacity to say, I know he's being hyperbolic or whatever, but is Dev's magic number really 10 times harder? Seems like a gambit. Every time they fail, he gets stronger. And then $20 from Artemis Fowl to say the left has fundamentally learned nothing and doesn't understand why they lost if they think the bullying is why Trump won the popular vote. Also, listen to Dev. 10 years of Trump is Giga Hitler. Go
Wait, to
stop.
be fair, the only person who said that, Talia said he got the most votes because of the left and implied it was like bullying essentially and not any of the policies that were put on the table. So
Yeah. And finally,
That's why I came in.
yeah, and finally, from Alexander Rin, who couldn't unfortunately afford to, or well, the super chats ain't going through, but he's giving me so much money, so I'm just gonna read what he DM'd me. He says, Soy's belief that shaming and bullying works is contrary to everything Democrats supposedly believe.
that's not even what I
Shame
believe
breeds
yet.
resentment. Bullying breeds defiance and spite. He and his methods
Thank you,
are
Dune Curran, for
100%
the 20
reason
euros,
so
pounds.
many normal people.
Man is talking about critical thinking whilst literally
What
topless.
the
No, he's
fuck
reading a
does
super
that
chat, to be
person
clear.
Think that they're talking about?
Yeah, can I make a
Right?
clarifying
It's
statement,
shame.
actually?
Like,
Was
what do you
that
think
Artem-
when
just
they
real quick,
talk
just real
about,
quick.
like the
Just
cuckoldry
real quick.
of the white man and how the white man is getting outbred and how like we bring like it's like what the fuck? Okay, I'm
Thank
sorry.
you, Charles,
was
for
that
that.
Artemis?
The only reason Gooners
one who
voted
just
for Trump
DM'd
is
me?
because he kept
Yeah.
moaning on
was,
stage.
Alexander
That
Rin.
was
True.
Alexander Rin.
Why are we the only ones?
I'm
that
gonna
get
come.
interested when we lose?
Artemis
Why does
stopped
everyone
giving
else
me a
get
lot
to
of
just
money,
like go
and not
on
Alexander
doing the
Rin
same
does.
thing?
Yeah.
Wait, can I respond to the comment, please?
Yeah.
Sonso, I can actually tell you this. So everyone should introspect.
Yeah.
But left
Thank you,
leaning
Bert.
people are
Hope
more
you're
likely to do
safe.
it than right-leaning people.
I would not. Don't
Everyone
give me
should,
money.
but that's
If you're
just
from
the
Ukraine,
reality.
guys, don't give me money. Give money to
And-
Ukrainian
I know, but
causes.
I feel like we're
Save
the
your
ones that
country.
are like being held like responsible
held to that
too.
standard
Like
more.
like it's not just the fact that like we do it because obviously we do because we're fucking smarter, but it's the fact that people will sit there and castigate and fucking sit there and say how we need to do things. It's like fuck you. At
Yeah,
that
if
point.
anything, they're scolding us. Like, you guys are too mean, and that's why I'm not voting. And let me address this, Wick. I'm not
thought
saying.
about
Wait,
that.
wait,
You guys
wait, wait,
are
wait. Can I
fucking
please
5
clarify? I want to
years.
clarify. I have not talked in a
Yeah.
while.
Just
Let me clarify this, Tali,
literally-
please.
Hold on,
Tali,
hold
please.
on, let
Tali,
Soy
please.
Pill-
I want to
hold on,
clarify
Tali,
something.
Let Soy Pill go, and then I'll let Twally respond. So
If
Soy
everyone
Pill, then
goes
Twally,
to
go
the
ahead.
Soy
Actually, I
Pill
need to clarify
channel
something.
and they check out my video on talking to Trump supporters, you'll see that I am very charitable and understand that there's value in understanding why people voted for this guy. Clearly, he won the majority vote. My problem is not understanding why people vote based on vibes, reaching out to these people and trying to change their minds. That's like literally my whole fucking thing. My problem is listening to people who are so stupid as to vote for Trump as to what the Democrats should do as some sort of like voice of authority. What you should be doing is saying I'm sorry and disappearing because you have nothing to offer here. Your conversation here is, oh, I voted based on vibes. If a pigeon fucking shits on me tomorrow and I find out it was a Democrat, I'm going to vote for Trump again. So go the fuck away. No one cares.
Okay, this is what I want to say.
I care.
I'm
This is very
pretty
this is
hyperbolic.
very helpful. You're doing great
Yeah.
work for the left.
I'm
pretty
waiting,
hyperbolic.
Tali, for you to
We're-
say anything substantive, by the way.
Okay, let's
I'm
not,
supposed
let's
to,
not
like,
go
me and
golden
Talia are
tell.
supposed to talk tomorrow. Hopefully that still happens.
Thank you, Phil,
I'm pretty
for the
hyperbolic. I'll say
$2.
some
I'm not gonna
pretty
flex.
like aggressive stuff. I said something about concentration camps a second ago. I don't actually want to throw people in concentration camps. Here's the
Left
thing,
lying
though.
again. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's true.
Can you
when-
peck pop and see if people
when,
notice?
when you want to say that it's
I'm
like
doing it right now.
this is
Bam,
why
bam,
the left
bam.
is losing or stuff like that, it
Did you see the
feels-
donation paper? Did you donate and I missed it?
If like as much as people want to say that the right has been like we're talking down to them and shit, like
Which donation?
you can say that, but like we're literally saying like
I'm sorry,
people
paper.
lie to us,
I didn't see
sometimes
your donation.
mathematically, provably
Just type it out and
lie
I'll read
to
it again.
us.
You
And
don't
then
have
we're
to
being
send me
told
more
that,
money.
Like it's our fault that that's happening. That didn't happen under the Biden administration like that. Okay, like that's fucking crazy.
Oh, I did see it, paper.
to-
I'm just not going
so,
to do it.
Like the ultimate thing that I'm trying to say here is like
Imagine if Wix started
I understand that
standing
there
up
are
and showed off his nips
reasons why
as a
people might
gotcha.
vote for
Thank
Trump.
you,
I
Dalbert,
understand
for
that there
5.
are, vibe-based reasons, there are policy-based reasons, and there are like conversations to have there. I don't know what use there is talking about the Democrats' behavior when I look at the Republicans' behavior, and that's what got them elected.
Yeah, exactly. No, Sans, you're hitting it perfectly. Like, Democrats have to be perfect if we're even slightly mean. Like, we lose the votes and we're going to get scolded for it for 4 years. But Donald Trump can come, do the most horrendous policies, to do awful, terrible things to, like, all these, like, demographics of people, repeal Roe v. Wade. And it's like, well, we expect him to be mean. And just so you know, like, whoever the last person who was mean to me the second I get into the voting booth was, I'm going to vote against that. Okay, cool. So I know that you have no principles or no values. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to hear what your, like, opinions or policy or anything is. It's
You'd rather
useless.
Be mean than win. I get it. So I feel
If
you'd rather want to be
no,
mean
it doesn't
than
matter
actually
if you're
win.
mean. Donald Trump is mean as fuck and he wins. But the
Stardust.
left
Well,
has to be
that's-
held to this
hold on.
ridiculous
That is
standard.
the result of your ways of thinking is like, well, nothing we do matters. So
Wick.
I like
No,
being mean.
that's not
so
what I'm
I-
saying. I'm not
Wick,
saying nothing we
nobody
do
here is
matters.
saying no.
Can I
Wait, I just want
absolutely
to just say this
You
really
absolutely
quick.
are, though.
Nobody here
Thank you,
is saying
Phil.
that we
For the
ought
another
to
$2
be
more
mean,
back
that
popping,
we
I'll give you a
ought
couple
to
more.
make fun of the dead little girls,
uh.
that we ought to do this or that. It's just like holy.
By the
shit,
way,
why
guys,
the
if you like
fuck are
this,
you, like, sitting
I'm
there
gonna
and,
defend Destiny's horrible,
on
mean
that
joke,
when it's
only
such a-
insofar as the fact that I think
like,
it doesn't matter.
Because it's the
I-
reason
I-
we're losing.
Next
it's
week.
one of the primary factors of why we keep losing.
Why?
disagree.
No,
I
wait,
disagree that that's the reason that we're fucking
Source,
losing. Are
source
you fucking
with.
kidding me? Every single fucking time that there's a trans girl that kills herself on fucking Twitter, there's a million people underneath that post posting the soy jack of a fucking like trans person
And
fucking
doesn't
hanging
it
themselves.
give you
and for
pause
some reason,
that
they
a lot
still
of
on the fucking
undecided
votes.
voters,
For some
a lot
reason,
of
they still on the
moderate
vote.
voters
For
can't
some
tell the
reason, when
difference
people
between you and
poll,
them?
when
Doesn't
some,
that
for
give
some
you
reason, when
pause?
people are polled, they
that not give
say,
you
"Hey,
pause?
the economy, the inflation
God.
was the primary reason."
Thank you,
why I
Charles,
voted
for
Trump
another
this time
2A.
instead of
The Epstein
Kamala.
list
But for
exists,
some
but it
reason,
doesn't
I have to
shut
have-
up.
Hold on,
sit
hold on.
here
I can get some
and
water,
another
guys. I'll be right
liberal
back.
tell me that I have to be nicer when I say fuck Republicans, fuck these retards who are voting for people who are literally hunting people like rats
I
and
want to
jerking
win.
up with
I don't
sandpaper
care
to it.
about being
Fuck off
soy
with that.
or edgy or
Can I
anything. I
interject
want to win.
here?
I want to win.
interject
I
here?
don't
Stardust,
care if
Stardust,
people
Stardust,
are.
go.
I'm not going to fight
Stardust.
them when they are. That's all I'm
Stardust,
saying.
Stardust gets to go. Stardust gets to go.
I need to interject here. Okay. So I do think I agree with so my main thing is when I'm talking about like how we interact with
Yeah,
like
now you guys can
MAGA
stop calling
people
me
and right
Crash
wingers, right?
Bandicoot
My
because I've got
specific thing
huge
is,
fucking
like,
legs.
probably we should be willing to talk to them. We shouldn't be cutting them off out of our families. That's not a nice thing to do. We shouldn't be opposed to talking with people. But I don't know that I do think that the purity spiral of the far left, right? Since we have been
Timmy.
grouped with the
Timmy,
far
you're
left,
mean.
the purity spiral that they do obviously affects us. But if you were to ask me again, like I said at the beginning of this panel, I don't think it's entirely the Democrats' fault. In fact, I think a lot of it boils down to specific movements within within the MAGA movement, and I think those movements you can see on the anti-intellectual left as well.
I'll spin it,
And
JJ,
those
just for
we
you.
need
Normally
to
I charge.
actually combat those very aggressively. I think you can be aggressive as a liberal and be aggressive in your policies and aggressive in taking down the MAGA movement while still not cutting off people and still not like I don't know how many times Talia would have to apologize to make soy pill like satisfied.
I don't
right? And
care.
that
I'm
does
not. I don't need any amount of apologies. That's again, you're not listening if that's what you think you're saying. I'm not trying to be mean here. The
No,
point
no, I'm
is,
just
the
saying
point is that she has nothing to offer us right now.
Wait a minute,
Not
let me
that she
finish,
needs to
let me finish,
apologize.
Shut up! I'm not finished. Okay. So, anyways, so yes, like if we're gonna actually tackle like things that have directly led to this kind of like weird fucking movement crisis, right? We have like again the anti-intellectualism of both
No
the
more
far
free
left and the
spins.
far right, and which has now like it's holding hostage the Republican Party, anti-establishment.
It did calm me down just slightly.
Anti-interventionism, right? And a lot of these things are things that you see again in the left and in the right, and those are movements specifically that we need to like actually take down
Is
very,
this
very
Stardust in the
aggressively.
chat?
And we need
Holier
to
than
take
thou
down
leftists
some
are
of
so
these
annoying.
policies that Trump is implementing, and you know, really combat why those things are really bad very aggressively. So yeah, I just my
By the way,
main
guys, I
advocacy
like
here
Star. I
is,
met her in
like,
real
I don't
life.
think we
She's a
should be
really
cutting
nice
people
person.
off or
Okay.
saying we can't work with them because they don't use the same exact verbiage as us,
I
right?
don't disagree.
I want to
For
give.
the
Hold on.
past
Hold
10
on.
years,
Hold on. I do want to give a lot of
Turn
people are
down
talking
my
shit on
mic?
Tali. I want to give Tali a chance to respond.
Am I too loud?
Tali, you have the chance to respond.
Okay.
Tali's too loud.
Maybe someone. Well, okay.
Thank you, Phil. The peck pop may be bust. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna preface this a little bit, and then maybe I'll get down into some criticisms that I have. But I'm not looking to be a political thought leader. The reason that all I've been talking about for the last 2 weeks is my vote for Trump is because I came on as a co-panelist to WIC TV when weeks went by chatting about different cultural topics when I mentioned that I voted for Trump. And people in the chat were shocked. They were surprised to hear that, okay? And they wanted to hear about the thought process and what happened on my ideological journey, for lack of better
Thank you,
words,
Shmoo. I'm not going
from
to
the
use that,
left
though.
to the right.
Actually, I'm going to
Then
try it
this
just
got
to
we
see what
decided to
it'll
go
do.
do it on Live and Learn instead because Econo Boy was asked to join in on the conversation, and then that blew up and it turns into, you know, why
Not
should we be listening
valid.
to this disaffected liberal who this horrible person who voted for Trump, you know, as some political
Nice
thought
try,
leader?
buddy.
I'm
You
not
almost
trying
got
to be
me.
a political thought leader. I comment on politics and on culture and things that I'm interested in. And by
Phil,
the way,
thank you for the
Wick
$5. I'm not
chose
gonna do that, but thank you.
the
That's really
title
funny.
and the topic for today's conversation. Okay, so this is not something that I spend all of my time talking about or thinking about.
God damn it.
I feel like
Thank you, Mud Blunny, for the
people are
$10.
really
That's spin money. That's worth like 50 spins.
in bad faith. I raised my hand to vibes, and again, it's because at this point it's almost a joke. I'm acknowledging, yes, that I voted based on vibes. When I say vibes, no, I do not mean whether I had breakfast in the morning or which side of the pillow was facing up when I woke up. I'm talking about cultural things, okay? I've talked about wokeness and this stuff, but there are lots of people, that's what I mean by vibes. They're voting based on the way that the culture feels, that the way that their side feels, that the other side feels. And whether people like it or not, there are a lot of people who are having similar reactions.
Right, no,
You
I
can
understand
see it
that,
in me-
Tali. That's why I asked you what your like #1 policy was, and you were like, "Oh, this is why the left lost," and you won't answer the question. But Dev gave an answer.
No, I didn't say you asking me what my #1 policy was is why the left lost.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, can you just answer it then?
I'm saying it's no. Again, you can go watch the other conversation.
Why is this
not
so
what
hard? It should take 10
conversation is
seconds.
about.
Listen,
Because
here's
if you had
this is
listened to any of the conversations,
Okay.
I was voting against the left. I was not
Okay.
voting for Donald Trump. I was
Okay.
voting against the left. I live in a blue state. It really is like
Okay,
the
cool.
fact
That's
this
all
is
you had to
also
say. There
interesting
you go.
part of
Was
the
that so hard? I was
conversation
voting
to
against the
you.
left. Like that's all you had to say.
Yes,
So thank you.
Yes, it is so hard because I've talked about this so goddamn much, and for
It's
you to
one
have this much
sentence.
of an opinion, you would think that you would have listened to anything that I have said before.
Well, I
okay?
didn't listen
Well,
because you had
Tali-
nothing substantive
Again,
to say, and you
you-
just pointed out again that you
I
don't
don't
have
know,
anything
Phil,
substantive to
just
say
wait.
because your view is the woke
don't
culture
think-
is so much worse. By the way, woke culture, part of woke culture and everything that people hate about it is, oh, people police their own too much, and which is what you're asking us to do is, hey, tell everyone to stop being mean. Don't use mean words against the Trump voters and all that. But by the way, after he
No,
tries to
actually,
fucking coup the
yes,
government,
so-
I'll vote for the
so-
right because, well, the left is
what-
really woke and weird, and I think the trans
Okay.
stuff goes too far. It's
What
fucking
people
ridiculous.
mean. There are two different See, and this is the thing too. It's like, oh yeah, you just hate trans people. Like
I didn't
that's
say
gonna
that.
be your line. Oh, you're just racist. You're just a bigot.
Don't
you just hate
strawman
trans
me.
people.
Don't strawman me, or I'm
Listen.
going to vote for the left. Do not strawman me. I said the
Really,
trans
Tali,
stuff went too far, which is what you said in our
where I'm
debate.
coming from. Okay.
Hold on,
really quick.
Sonsol,
This is why.
shut
This
up.
is why.
Sonsol, shut up. Sonsol, shut
Oh
up.
my
We're
God.
having a back and forth. Okay, Tali, finish your thought.
I thought that she was done. So.
Thank you, Rick
No,
Montana, for
she
the
can't-
$10.
it's not-
Thank
she gets
you,
got
someone probably
interrupted.
pushing
That's why
back on the
Jeff's trying
stupid
to-
redemption to our
Well,
project. I can't stand her.
honestly, it's like,
Her
well,
handler.
Soypil
Does she have
pauses,
one?
Doesn't listen to anyone else speaking because he's talking
Bill
to
Maher.
his stream to then jump in and interrupt and derail the conversation.
No, I can hear
What is the
two
point
people
of
at
this
once.
even?
I understand.
Again,
Now,
this is a
I'm waiting for you to say
conversation. This
anything
conversation was
substantive.
supposed to- Okay. No, you're right. I have nothing substantive to say.
Okay.
No one should listen to me. Guess what? I'm not sure if you know this or not. No one is being forced to be here. Okay? There are people who are interested in the thought process who have similar critiques of the left.
Wix
okay?
chat,
And
give
that's
me
why they're
Tali's
here listening
best
to this
recommendation.
conversation
I
and
wanna hear it.
participating.
Okay, Dev, please.
Thank you again, Phil,
Uh-oh.
for so many
So I
for
do
so many
have a
spin
good
money.
faith question for you, okay?
Yeah.
If you were just voting against the left and not for the right, why didn't you vote third party?
I mean, I wasn't gonna vote for Jill Stein, first of all. Okay. I
Why not?
don't align with it. Well, number one, her entire platform was just being an anti-Zionist. Okay, so that's not a platform that I'm going to get behind. And because frankly, I wanted to accurately signify my move, which was a directionally to the right. My ideological shift since 2021, when this started for me, has been to the right. Now that puts me firmly in the center. Depending on who I'm talking to, people say I'm either center left or center right, but I'm not all the way on the right. I am not a Republican, but my views have moved in the direction of the right. And yeah, I don't know. Like again,
So you've
Jill
moved
Stein was
right,
not
but
an
you're gonna move.
candidate
You're
for me
gonna
at all.
vote left in the next election after you've moved right.
So I didn't say I was going to vote left in the next election. I said I
Oh.
would not vote for Trump again, which by the way doesn't matter because Trump is not going to.
Well, you should
And,
listen to what he's
I
saying
am-
and what he said before the election about violating the 22nd Amendment and running for a third term. But maybe that didn't matter to you because left was mean. Sorry.
So,
Yeah,
so
see,
Tally,
again, it's like it is such a fucking straw man. Oh, because the left was me and you just change your entire worldview. That's not what happens, people. And this is again why I say I don't actually appreciate the way that Wick is describing it. I doubt that he's even giving his uncle a fair shake when he describes his uncle's
Phil, you can't give
transformation.
me a
And
script.
you're not going to like
I'm
the answer
sorry.
to this because again,
Thank
you
you for
think
the
that anyone
$2.
who's anti-woke is just a racist and a bigot and all of this
I don't
stuff.
think that.
But
Don't
it's not
strawman me,
just,
please.
Oh, it's not just
I'm very anti-woke, actually. You can watch a couple of my videos on the soypillchannel.com.
you're super anti-woke. It's not just people on the left are interpersonally mean to me. It's also what the left is. So it's not just I'm a white guy and people keep calling me racist. It's also a dogma of saying that white people are inherently evil, inherently racist. Have to start out.
Who's saying this that made you vote for the right?
atoning for their sins. Who's saying this?
Yeah, who's saying? I'm not saying no one says this, by the way. By the way, I went to a very liberal college in 2016, so I'm very aware. But I also didn't drop all of my policies and vote for the right. So I'm just curious who is saying this that you're like, oh well, if I vote for the left, this will become more prominent, and they'll say that white people are inherently evil, and this is indicative of future things to come. So I got to vote for the guy who's threatening to run for a third term and is going to overturn my gay marriage.
This started out on the far left in academic spaces, and it has absolutely stretched into normal liberal discourse, where even
Phil,
if they're not saying,
thank you so much for
white
all the
people
money.
are inherently evil, they are talking
But I'm
about
not gonna do a
whiteness
script.
as inherently oppressive. They are racializing in the way that they speak about the country and the policies that they implement. And there are a lot of people who feel like, I'm not going to vote for a party that hates me or that specifically wants to discriminate against me in some type of effort to atone for a history of racism or something like that.
So Tally, I completely agree with you, and I know exactly what you're getting at. But I still want to know why the right then? Like, why not vote at all? Why not vote independent? Why not write in? Why not just why vote for Trump specifically?
Sure. So even since the election, I'm absorbing new information and my thinking, changes. Soypil, you are literally so aggravating. It's incredible.
Welcome to the club.
Because I had moved to the right. That's how I viewed myself. I viewed myself not just as
Kyla's gonna
the
calm me
left
down,
left
okay?
me and the left has gone too
Kyla's gonna say
crazy,
something really
but
smart and
also
calm
I
me
viewed
down.
myself as actually moving to the right. And again, I think part of this is because I was sort of looking at the left and the right in the way that Tim Pool does. I brought this up. I think Tim Pool is
well, that
is
explains
correct
it.
when he says.
Okay, see, this is all right. So just Wick, to be clear,
let her-
self-admitted, I'm as fucking retarded as Tim Pool, and now listen to me, go the fuck away. Who gives a shit what you have to think? Jesus Christ.
Okay, Soypil, hold on. I do just here. I do have one question One last
I
question.
didn't get to finish my thought though, so I
You,
don't know.
your
if we're even
thoughts
going
are
to
20 minutes
actually have
long
another
and
question.
irrelevant, as we have pointed out.
Oh,
What's up,
let
Dave?
hold on. Let Tully
Frustrated,
fucking
like, I don't
finish
know
her
what to
point,
fucking tell
and then
you.
people can respond. I want to hear what
You shouldn't tell me
Greg
anything. You
has
should
to say
disappear.
first.
You should hang up now and stop giving any opinions because they're fucking
You should hang up
useless.
if you're triggered. You should hang up.
No, I'm
You
trying to
should
actually
not
win the
have
election.
a
I'm trying to get people
conversation.
like you out of the conversation because you're useless.
Okay, I have a really important question
Phil,
for everyone.
thank you for
Do
the
we all
money.
believe
Stop.
The election for Democrats.
Aye.
This is correct.
do,
Stop giving
do
me
we all
money. I'm not
believe in
going to do a script.
democracy
Thank you
here?
for
Like, do we
$10.
value democracy or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Radically.
Yeah. Pondy,
Okay.
thank you for the 3.
If we
One Punch Man.
value democracy, I'm sorry, I don't. My camera, I think it's working. Maybe it's not. Whatever.
We can see
If we,
you.
if we value democracy, then if we disregard what 50% of the population says, how do we do democracy?
Kyla, I spoke so highly of
Question.
you, and then you came in with that silly question. We're not saying disregard what they say. No one's saying that. No one is saying that. For the record.
You
How
said
are you-
literally
how are you
shut up
going-
and go away.
No,
You said,
you
"Shut up
get
and
off this
go."
panel. Let's not figure out why 50% of the
Wait,
people are
how
voting for
you
Trump. This is
going
very
to
different.
address how are you going to
Sure.
address
Talia
the
has already
large
told us why
amount
she
of
voted for
people-
Trump because the left was too
I'm
woke.
not
Okay,
talking
that's
about-
the extent
I'm
of which we need to listen to
not
her,
talking
and now
about
we can
that
focus on
question.
messaging. But like that's
Well,
How are you
hold on.
going-
What's
How are
important?
you going to address the large amount of people that, whether you like it or not, do vote based on vibes? And I'm not saying either about, like, who was mean to me right before I went into the voting booth, but people vote based on vibes. We
I'm
have
aware.
to acknowledge that and address
Yes,
it.
I'm very aware, but we
Okay.
don't have to have them on the panels
said
constantly saying the
anything
same
My-
things over and over and over. That's completely
Like,
useless
that
dribble.
way.
Yeah, but then your criticism is just for Wick. It's not really for Tally. Like, Tally's going to come on because Wick might be telling Wick stop having MAGA
My
voters
criticism is
Okay,
also for
the
Wick for
next
platforming
question-
people I don't think should be talking at all.
The next question
Yeah.
is, does the system
Yeah,
still work, and
exactly.
do we still believe in the system? Do we believe in the system as it exists, or do we think it's broken beyond repair and we have to engage in different types of tactics to win?
We obviously have to engage in different kinds of tactics to win because we
Thank you,
lost
Deathwaits.
in the
And
last election.
I don't know why everyone's gooning right now, but awesome.
Okay, when I ask different kind of tactics, I explicitly mean, should we engage in anti-democratic tactics in the way that the right is doing?
Like example, like what would be an example like
Stacking,
that?
stacking the court,
Is that
lying.
anti-democratic?
I would say to some degree, yeah. If you're like partisanly trying to stack the court in your favor, and then the court is ruling based on partisan politics instead of based on what the court is supposed to do, yeah, I would say that that's like.
Well, I didn't say any of that. I did say that we should probably pack the court because the Republicans have stolen 2 court seats from
Sure.
us.
Okay, so we
They're
want the same
actively
return.
giving God
Sure.
powers to the
Yeah. I get it. So we should engage in stacking the court. Should we do misinformation and lie? Because that seems to be really effective for the Republicans.
No, I think that is
Why not?
coming to roost for them.
You say that.
I will
But,
never
I
sell
mean,
out for
sometimes
Phil
the Trump
or
line
anyone,
is
guys.
first.
They're still having to deal with the right now.
No matter how much he gives me. Thank you, though, Phil.
Maybe I'll
One
change my
spin,
opinion
please.
on
Thank
the,
you,
on
Rob.
the lying
One
stuff
spin.
in the future.
Are you going to make a
Right
video
now,
about
I
how
don't
to
think we have
deep
lie.
canvas?
I don't think
Thank you for the
that's gonna have to
$5. I
happen
don't know what
at
you
any
mean.
point.
I've never heard of that
I
term.
would like
That
to
might make
not
me sound
go
ignorant.
towards lying,
Sorry.
because I think already we live in a very post-truth space, and I think we need to move away from that.
Sure. Okay.
Well,
So
not just that, but also history has shown that when you have just a regime of liars, it might take some time, it might take decades, but eventually reality snaps back, and the longer it takes, the worse the snapback. It's going to be fucking
Thank
terrible,
you,
and it
Toxic.
will
I'm
inevitably
not
happen.
flexing for
So,
money.
I don't
That's
think
not
we
a
should
thing
go
I
down that
do
Yeah, I mean, I
Gotcha.
don't think that we should lie.
in the middle of a debate.
okay. So then the next question would be:
Phil,
do
thank you
you
for the
guys think that
$5.
shaming
Can you please
and
flex for the boys?
bullying is
All
an
right, one
effective way to
flex.
move people away from their position or towards your position?
Watch me.
I think I'm 60
Instant
40 on that
contradiction.
being effective.
You can't
I
keep
think that
asking for
we
it, and I won't do
obviously
it.
have
You couldn't
that
see
as
it.
a
I'll do it
function
again
in
at the end.
society. We don't, people feel shame when they walk outside and they're naked, right? So that is something that we have.
Do we?
So
Yeah, that's true.
It's a good question. Like, I've been waiting for someone to fucking donate.
So the question would be: should we shame fat people? Is that effective for getting them to change their lifestyle and lose weight? What's the data show?
Thank you, that guy, for the $2.
I don't know
I'm
the
not
data
going to
on
whip
that.
a nay.
The
Stop,
data
guys.
shows it's not
Stop
very
making me do
effective, right? Like
charades
we've
for
been
money,
bullying
please.
fat people forever. Nobody likes fat people. People always treat fat people terribly. Nobody likes to look at them. It's not very effective at getting people to lose weight. Why
Are
is
you
that?
telling me that I have a question for you? Are you telling me that I should not treat Trump supporters badly?
I'm asking you, what is the difference between getting people to move their position on different things, right? So shame, as you said, works really well for getting people to go inside and not be naked by and large. But it doesn't work very well for getting people to lose weight. So the question that's, I think, really
Well,
important
it used to be
is,
really
when
helpful
is
for
shame
getting
useful?
people. It used to be really helpful for people staying in the closet on being racist, because if you were outwardly racist, people would not vote for you again, and people would, fire you from your job, like the Don Imus guy.
Yeah,
Like
it made
that
everyone
was
more
something that
polite.
would
That's
happen.
true. It made everyone more polite, and I'm sure Black people
Yeah,
are
so
super happy that we made everyone more polite, not made them less racist. Yeah, I'm sure Black
do you
people
think
And
that
now
fucking
there's
love
a
people?
them.
Do you
segment.
think
Now
that?
there's a segment of
Do
the
you think
left
that
that's
people would
proudly
prefer
racist.
it? Do you think
So
that people
look
would
where we've
prefer
gotten.
it if it was, more,
Yes, Black
Phil,
people
society
say it
Phil,
all the
please,
time
I
that they
feel
would
bad.
absolutely prefer the
Stop
racism to
giving
be
me
explicit, so it's a
$2
lot
can you
less
do it
fucking
this
right
way?
now is
gaslighting
that you.
and
Wait,
So what
wait,
you're
wait,
telling me,
wait.
what you're telling me right now is that
This
it
is
would be a better
absolutely
world.
true.
No, hold on, Erudite. What you're telling me right now
Okay.
is that it would be a better world if we didn't shame people for being racist, and that everyone just says the N-word because.
Because at least they're
Is that
open
what I
about it.
said?
That's kind of what
No,
you're
no,
alluding to,
Well,
Erudite.
that's
Like,
literally
if
the
Your
argument that you
Sonsol.
were making at.
That's
Yeah.
not the argument that I was making. If you want to add
Okay, so
new things to
repeat.
your delusion,
If you
don't
want,
interrupt me
well,
right
if you
now.
want
I
to,
only have a
I
little
was
bit of time
asking you
to
to
talk
repeat
over
the.
you. I'm just going to talk over you,
If you want to
Sonsol. I'm
repeat
just
the
going to talk
point,
over you. I've done this a million times before. If you want to
if you
add
want to
on
repeat the
new
point.
things to if you want to add on new things to what I said, sure, you can fight that ghost, but I'm over here. If you want to talk to me, you can talk to me.
Can-
Sure,
Obviously,
repeat the point.
what I'm not saying here is that we should just, whatever fan fiction you just wrote. The actual thing that's important here is the data on the efficacy of shame. That's what matters here. So, for example, is the world a better place when people are open about their racism versus inward about their racism? Well, it depends on what we mean by outward. But if you want to target racism, it's going to be a lot more effective to actually change hearts than to just make people polite, right? That's one thing that we could talk about. That's probably more important work than just making them polite, although I agree, making them polite is nice, right? And so the question is, what is shame effective at?
Thank you,
And the
Tantel. I
data
will
shows us
look at this
shame
right
is
now,
really
actually.
effective at getting people to change simple behaviors that don't cost too much. And it's extremely ineffective at making people do lifestyle and monumental shifts in perspective. This is why it's really not effective with overweight people, because it's a
Okay, I
lifestyle
do deep
change.
canvassing.
It's not just
and
like one thing.
I don't know if I'll make
and
a
it's
video
also
on it.
ineffective at
but
making people not racist.
I
Yeah, it makes
do
them more polite,
encourage
but
it.
it doesn't actually make them more racist. And so what we need to do on the left is have a nuanced attack where we go, how do we do multiple things at once, right? At what point in time should we shame people? Like, for example, when MAGA keeps losing to AI over and over and over again, I think that's a totally reasonable time to shame them, right? When they're just like spewing misinformation like Tucker Carlson was found to do, I think that's a completely reasonable time to shame them. However, when they're saying things like, I feel gross and disgusting when I'm around left people, they make me feel like I'm not worth being like a good human being, and I like kind of hate them for their hypocrisy, we need to look at that and not go, you're right, I should stop being mean. We need to go, how do we change that perspective? Because shaming them to make them
Nobody
like us
here is
more isn't going to
arguing
fucking
against
work.
that. I don't think anyone here is
Really?
arguing against that. I'm certainly not arguing against that.
Have you not been here? Hold on.
Thank you,
Have
Phil.
we not-
That's
I don't know what
hilarious.
I don't know what soy
There you
pill.
go,
I don't
guys.
know if I
Yes,
heard
hold on.
soy pill say that we should just be
I
shaming
don't
people for the
understand. Are
fun
you
of shaming
deaf?
people.
Yeah,
because
I'm
that's what
not.
it sounds
That's
like
not
you're
what I'm
saying.
saying. But
Okay, thank you. I
in
feel
fact,
like I'm
yeah,
taking
just to
fucking crazy
clarify, and
pills.
I'll clarify again. I don't know if you heard this,
sound like
Kyla.
Erudite was accurately describing soy pills.
Okay, well, here, well, let me clarify then. Let
His
me clarify
demeanor
then,
maybe,
please.
but his points no.
Why don't
His
I'm not?
demeanor
I gotta
matters.
go. Peace and love. Thanks for letting
Oh
me
my
bum
God,
hard.
Kyla.
Nice to
Kyla!
see you always-
Drop the
always
fucking
your
retarded
way.
point and then
No, hold on.
fucking
Matters. That's the whole. That's the
Right.
whole point here. Demeanor
Real quick.
matters.
Okay, real quick. Were
Don't, no,
you
well,
or
first of all,
were-
no, it
No,
doesn't.
demeanor
Wick.
does not fucking
No,
matter.
it fucking doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Then
Oh
why
my
does
God.
Trump
Oh,
win?
oh.
If demeanor matters, Wick.
Quick question.
If
quick
demeanor
question.
matters, why do any fucking conservative commentators have any fucking careers? If demeanor matters, if any of the shit that you're telling me that I fucking need to care about matters, then why the fuck do any of the people on the other side have
You were
careers,
pointing
have fucking
to-
political jobs,
Oh.
have fucking appointed
Well,
positions
if I
in the
won the
government?
lottery one time, why isn't it? Why are you telling
Hold
me
on.
not to
Let
play
me-
the lottery
sorry,
ever
sorry,
again?
let me say
Right? I
something.
won the
Hold on,
lottery
hold on.
once. It happened.
What is that?
Oh, what is going on? Because you're pointing to a single win. A single win. Once. One
Wait,
election
it's
cycle.
not
Two
just
elections,
that.
actually,
It's not
Wick.
just that. There
One.
are different types of people voting for different reasons. So it was the same thing like your question, like how many people do you think voted because they were bullied into voting for Trump? Well, I think very, very few. I don't count myself in that group, but
Well,
sure,
yeah,
I'm
that's the
sure there were
entire
some
reason I
people
wanted
who
to be in
did.
here, because it felt like there was an outsized amount of the conversation.
That guy,
on
thank you for the
for,
$10. I'm not brain
side to
rotting,
that.
but
That's the
thank you.
But that is the conversation that we are having, right? And so, yeah, how should
Well,
the,
it feels
the
like there's an
left
easy
appeal?
answer. You say
Hold
no, and
on,
then you move
hold
on.
hold
Can
on.
I ask?
Sorry,
Hold,
yeah, I'm
no,
triggered.
I'm sorry.
I'm letting
sorry,
you
sorry,
talk.
I did not
Yeah,
mean
I'm
to
wrong.
yell that at you.
I'm in
Okay.
the wrong. Go ahead.
Okay.
They're
can
gonna
make
vote
these
for
compa-
the left now?
Trump is so evil and he's a bully and stuff, and there are right wing commentators who are so aggressive and cruel and all this.
Thank you,
That
Def.
doesn't mean that all the
No,
people
I'm not gonna wear a
who
thong.
voted
I'm
for
gonna
Trump
stop
are
horny
watching
posting
those people,
as
are
much as I
listening to
appreciate
those
your
people,
donation.
are attracted to that type of politicking or that personality. Okay, so there are people who voted for Trump who listen to centrists, who listen to heterodox people, who don't listen to Jack Posobiec, who think those people are fucking crazy freaks as well. Okay, so again,
Well,
you're
yeah,
trying
then
to
I'll talk
keep
Jesus
to those
everyone
Christ,
in.
thank you,
And
Phil.
frankly, you
Stop,
shouldn't
dude.
be.
Jesus
Dems
Christ.
shouldn't be fighting to win over lifelong conservatives or conspiracy theorists.
Tucker
Populist right
Carlson's,
wingers.
etc.
They should be trying
I'm
to
gonna
win
do
over
preach.
the centrists and the disaffected liberals and the people who were formerly their allies and the people who still share values with them.
No one
And
disagrees
that
with
is
this,
where
Talia,
this
by the way, just to be
conversation,
clear.
and that is where this conversation is most relevant. So comparing it to the extremes on the right,
It didn't
when
feel
that's
like that
not
was
what
the conversation
attracted
we're
the
having.
Wait. Can I just say, okay, I just want to say something really quick, and then I want to ask a question. Okay, so first off, the whole thing about these conservative commentators who are performatively cruel, their main purpose is not swaying the electorates. Their main purpose is to entertain. Like, of course they're going to be performatively cruel. That, like, people are paying to see that shit. They love that. It's entertainment.
Star, the point is that clearly those people aren't causing these swaths of people to vote for the left, so why is this somehow a problem when the left does it?
Okay, here's
I know.
like,
Hold on, just real quick.
No,
I
no,
know a
wait a
ton
minute,
of people
wait a
who will
minute.
never vote Republican because of
The
how Tucker
commentators are
Carlson
not
and
relevant to who's
etc.
voting for who.
act.
Commentators are entertainment. They're not like the average people next to you.
Oh, so
If you-
can
if
I be mean then, Star? Am I allowed to be mean since I'm a commentator?
Yes, you can. You can
Okay,
be
cool.
mean, but we're
It also
talking about the
did work. It also did work. Like there's an entire industry of never Trump Republicans.
Well, there's a okay,
The
average
bulwark. I mean,
person-
like
You
I'm
say it
still
did work. We
talking.
lost.
I'm
Like
still
I.
talking. I'm still talking.
there are
I'm
people.
still talking. I want to finish what I'm saying. Okay. Sorry to be obnoxious, but like unless I start doing it, like people,
mic
everybody
is
is
kinda-
talking over me.
Your mic is kind of bad, to be honest, but
Really?
It's really hard to
so
hear
it's
you.
like
Yeah, I'm
you never
sorry.
win whenever you're talking at the same time as someone else. You lose every time because your mic is lower than the other person's. Just
Okay,
so
I
you
had
know.
no idea. I'm turning up my gain. So okay, like I'm sorry, but like the purpose of we're not talking about what commentators should be doing, what entertainers should be doing. We're talking about like average people talking to other people. And secondly, like this claim that we're not doing, like we're not talking about shaming people here. That's absolutely not true. Like what was like Soy Pill doing as soon as he came in here, right? Like that.
Yeah, but did you hear me clarify that obviously you can reach out to these people, find out why they voted for Trump, and try to talk them out of it, but also we shouldn't be listening to them as to what the Democratic strategy moving forward is, because clearly they vote based on fucking retarded policies and they don't have good advice.
That's not what I'm talking
The
about.
problem. Soy Pill thinks you should only be talking people out of their vote. You shouldn't be curious about why they changed or what
I'm
pushed
not
them away.
saying that at all. Obviously,
That's
when you
exactly
talk to them
what
out of their
you
vote,
said.
you have to understand
Exactly what
why
you
they did it.
said.
Okay, enough. Stardust has to finish her thought.
I'm gonna drink bleach right now on camera. Okay, so that is not what I'm talking about, Soy Pill. Like
Phil,
stop. Like, what you're
stop.
saying,
I'll do
fine,
one
that's
peck pop.
fine.
There you go,
talk
buddy.
to
Stop.
people of all these different like leanings, but the point is, you did still come on here, and your first thing to do was to take Talia to task and shame her for like
Right, because she's
basically
going on a media tour about, well, how do you win me over? I'm so important. Look, everybody.
People
Again,
invite
people
her
are
on.
Yeah, I mean.
Yes, and I'm mad at you too, Wick.
Including Sonsol.
I'm
who
aware.
I was supposed to go on his channel yesterday.
You are
That's
part of the
schedule.
problem.
I mean,
Including Erudite,
including Kyla. Kyla is part of. Yes,
Learn,
yes, you're all part of the problem.
Okay,
Listen, this is where I'm coming from.
I don't know what's going on here.
I do want to. Hold on. I do want to read some super
I
chats.
have no idea.
I do want to read some super chats, and I want to get Stardust. Stardust has to finish her thought, and then I'm gonna read some super
I
chats.
finished my thought. I'm just asking, am I still quieter than everybody?
No, but you sound like Haas.
You sound
It's just like
completely
a little,
blown
it's a little
out.
blown out.
Here,
Hassan
yeah,
impression.
So
Oh,
turn
God.
down your gain and turn up your
Yeah.
level.
Up my level.
That
Yeah,
sounds
turn up your
better.
level, Star.
Do more
Jesus
ASMR.
fucking
Keep
Christ.
talking. Keep talking.
Stardust.
I don't know what my level is.
That's
How do I
whatever you're
turn
doing
it
now.
up?
Keep doing that. That's perfect.
It's better.
Yeah, you
already.
sound pretty good now. Yeah.
I
Okay.
didn't do anything. I just turned my gain down.
That's
Well, it
doing
worked.
something.
Well, you're at the perfect point now.
I want to read some of these super
Thank you,
chats.
Death
make
Awaits,
a
for the
little more
$5. I'm not
Away
horny
from my
posting. I just want
mic or
attention from
something.
you.
I
Thank you
wanna-
for
I
your
wanna read some of
attention.
these super
That and
chats
Phil
to
making
make
me
a
feel
little
poor.
more
I blame
money, and then
Phil.
we're gonna give it to
Oh, guys, I don't like
Dev
the
and Salsal.
competing to give me money. It makes me feel like a fucking
$5
grifter.
from
But thank you.
Sneaky Skeleton to say, I voted for Kamala in 2024 and Biden in 2020 because Trump and the right made fun of them. This is a very valid viewpoint, and you should trust me. Thank you for $5.
Bring him on.
from
Bring him
Greg
on.
Gill.
I want to hear
to
what his
say-
strategy is.
At Dev, I agree about going after Trump, but Biden did that because he was trying to unify and appeal to the center and right. It got him nothing. $2
work out.
from Alexander Rin to say test. It worked. $10 from Artemis Fowl to say we are smarter. Also, we lost to literally Hitler, who wants to mass deport all brown people and wants to become king. Imagine holding these two positions simultaneously. $5 from AKA Batozai to say soy pill. What's the most corrupt Democrat president you would still vote for? And is there any position on the right you support?
I support I don't support the completely let's not regulate guns at all. I think Democratic gun policy is ass backwards. Corrupt politician. I mean, I think Joe Biden did some corrupt stuff. I'd still vote for him. So I don't know who the most corrupt Democrat is.
Sure. $10 from I'm the most corrupt Democrat. Okay. $10 from Audacity to say if I go to Double Eagle, I expect the finest quality. If I go to the Dusty Dive Bar in West PA, I expect nothing. Dems are promising the finest quality and failing. That is why you introspect. $2 from Smokey D Bandit to say Sonsol, we say fuck you too. $20 from Alexander Rin. Soy, you are not only bad faith idiot. His spelling, not mine. Says you know nothing about people. Nobody cares that you're mean. They care if you act like you're better than them and spend your time shaming them for opinions you don't like.
I'm better than him because I didn't spend money to have to say my dumb fucking opinion. I just had to ask
$10.
Wick.
$10 from DJ. No, everyone who spends money on Wick is the smartest, the best.
Thank you,
looking,
Durant, for the $5.
just
We're
best
here
people.
because of Bush
DJ
Jr.'s
Monotonous,
2008
$10
recession.
says, Tolly, you're unironically
arguable,
worse than a
but
Trump
yes.
voter. If you knew how bad
Omar,
Trump was
$5.
and
So
would
extorted me into sending this money. He's a
still
terrible
voted for him,
person.
you don't deserve
This is
a
against
platform.
my will.
Just
Phil,
vote
stop.
for what's better for the country, not
This
you.
is this like a Findom thing for you?
He left. You got to repeat it.
You gotta say that one when she's back. Please read it when
I'll
she's
read
back.
it when she's back. I'll say that for when she's back. I didn't notice she left till just now. $5 for.
Oh, she's back. Read it again. Read it again.
I keep my headphone in. Of course, I heard everything. I didn't miss a
Okay,
beat.
$10.
Don't worry.
Okay, $10 from Artemis Fowl to say, Dev, these are your intellectual peers. $5 from
I am a
Smokey-
centrist, Artemis. Come
Wait,
on. You know
is
that I'm
that
not on the left.
disparaging to us or elevating to Dev? I actually
It
don't
is.
know.
I don't think Artemis
Absolutely
has any
disparaging.
room to speak, by the way. I don't think Artemis has any room to speak when he literally acts like he's better than everybody. You think that helps? You think that helps you, Artemis? Nobody likes being around you, okay? Because you're insufferable.
Look,
So,
Schmoo.
everyone who spends
Findom,
money
not
on
femdom.
Wikipedia is special and
Sorry.
loved. Okay,
Wait, Stardust, this is just wait a second. Stardust, does this mean we're not playing any more Project Zomboid with Artemis? Is that done?
no, I'm a little bit joking, but it's true he does act like I'm a little bit joking. I'm not serious about like nobody wanting to be around him, but I'm not joking about him acting like he's better than everybody. Okay, like do not like you have no place to speak, Artemis. I'm sorry, you act like you're better than everybody, and it's so fucking annoying.
Okay, $5 from Smokey D Bandit to say, Soy, you don't realize we want you to keep being mean, keep being edgy, keep thinking you're superior. You guarantee our win, and it's funny, little man.
Okay, based, I'll do it.
$5. $10 from Audacity to say, if anyone here doesn't think they are as as Tim Pool, I wonder what it's like to live in a house with no mirrors. $5 from Artemis
I
Fowl
never
to
even
say,
got to finish my sentence about Tim Pool because that got
we'll get to
derailed
it. We'll
into
get to it. Let
making
me
fun
get
and
through
shaming
these.
too, yeah.
People keep giving me money. Tolly, from Artemis Fowl, $5. Say, Tolly, the answer is simple. They tried to unalive Trump. You survive an attempt, you get the White House. Fair is fair. $2 from Hunter Rung. Is this
Phil,
for Collins?
he's streaming on Wick TV on YouTube.
We opened it up once, the thin end of the wedge, and
We got a lot
here
of
we are.
people backstage,
Yeah.
huh?
we're not.
I don't like smug people in general. I just think it's fucking irritating. Okay. And so when you guys come in here acting smug, aka soy pill over here, okay, nobody fucking likes it. I don't like it from right wingers and I don't like it from left wingers. So yeah.
Are you gonna vote for Trump now?
Who, me?
Yeah, because I was smug.
$50.
No, fuck
Okay,
no.
cool.
Are you kidding me?
Just checking.
$50 from Alexander Rin to say the Democrats weren't running a candidate that people wanted to vote for. They ran one assuming Trump would lose. With the lawsuits and January 6th insurrection, they didn't care to do anything, just run with the status quo as usual. They never learn. $5 from Audacity to say Sansol proving in real time he doesn't know any black people. $5 from Activist Pal to
was
say
that in
remember
regard
all
to?
the
What are we talking
KKK
about?
members Daryl Davis shamed publicly and made them less racist and leave the Klan. $5 from Jake and Bake
That's
to say
true.
Wicks
That's true.
both right and wrong. Demeanor matters, but only when you're Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and Mitch McConnell. Again, this idea. Oh, no, I got to read my super chats. But this idea that the Republicans aren't affected by this at all is
Elliot,
silly.
it was a
It's
joke.
just it's not true. $5 from Anonymous Foul. I can answer why conservatives are popular, even though you hate them, but I want you people not to change anything, so you continue to lose.
Yeah, we just
$50
don't
from
get it.
Audacity to say you have served penance to the Death Watch primaris. Okay, I get to put my shirt back on. Hell yeah. Okay, $5 from Dijnash to say everyone else is part of the problem except me. $5 from Non-Fawn to say Talia, have you heard
Oh,
of
those
the
are
Shrimp
me.
Welfare Project? $5
I
from
heard of that.
Louis.
Do
to
you
say the
donate to it,
combo-
Tolly? You should. I'm with non-fun on
I
this
didn't
one.
hear. I didn't hear it.
The Shrimp
So do you know what it
Welfare
is?
I still can't hear what welfare
The
project?
Shrimp Welfare Project is when you donate money to a project that will anesthesize shrimp before they kill them so they don't feel pain, maximizing utility of suffering. So you should donate.
Okay.
Probably not. but
$5
interesting.
from
Nice as
Louis to say the
Typical
combos that Dems
right-winger.
should be having among each other are not and should not be the same as combos they should have with right-wing or undecided voters. Yes and no. I don't necessarily disagree with that. $10 from Landon Stewart to say, why reach across the aisle? Joe tried and they hate him. Why not just appeal to your base like conservatives? Because our base is smaller. Who's the last conservative to try to reach across the aisle and they win the most elections? Look again, our base is smaller. And if we only go by our base, we will lose
What?
every time. Our base is smaller than the Republicans.
What
just
in
is.
what capacity? You lost
Numbers,
the popular
in
vote
numbers.
once, and like that's the one that you keep pointing to as like, oh, this is a
The
lottery,
2
this is a
times
fluke.
We've lost the popular vote.
Like yeah, Ronald Reagan and that, like right. So the base is bigger. Wick.
$2 from Glitterbell.
Are
to
you
say,
not going to address that?
But, yeah,
Hold
what
on.
the fuck? I'm sorry.
We
Like
lived in
Democrats
a-
have
hold
more
on, if we
voters.
lived
What are
in
you
a
talking
system without
about?
the Electoral College, you might be correct, but we do live in a system with the Electoral College, and it doesn't matter if
Well,
you have
then don't talk about
200
expanding the
billion
base and
people in
then like act it.
California. It does not
Don't
matter.
hold on. Don't fucking talk about
Yeah, that
expanding
was
the base
so
and
much
then fucking talk down to us, explaining it away with the Electoral College. Okay.
I'm not explaining. I'm explaining. Hold on. You guys are just
If you're
so dumb.
expanding the
Okay,
base,
so you
it's more
understand
people voting
that
for you.
even if you get 200 bazillion people in California to vote for the president of the
It's
United
not worth
States,
fighting over. Never mind.
they
It's fine.
only get what 54 electoral votes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Sans knows how the
Okay.
Electoral College works. Wick.
Certainly. So it doesn't matter how many people in California care or want
Wait,
to
hold
vote.
on.
as long as
Actually,
we get them
everybody else.
To be
vote.
clear,
am
Phil,
I,
as
am I
much
having a
as
stroke? Am I
You
wrong?
can
for, like,
super
that?
chat to me
No,
over Wick.
So the
I just
issue
I just don't
ultimately,
want you to
Wick,
do
is
it
that
if you
when
think I'm
say
going to
base,
perform
that
for you.
implies raw numbers.
It does, but raw numbers as included in each state.
I don't think that when I hear the word base.
Yeah.
Republicans have more registered voters than Democrats.
Or two. $2.
But we
Yeah,
still
if they
win the
don't vote, they don't
popular
matter.
vote every
Like
time.
all the people
That's
who are
because of all
saying,
the
"Well, I'm a
illegals.
Democrat," but then never have seen the inside of a voting booth. Who fucking cares? $2 from Glitterbell to say, "What's Tali's take?"
We
on
get more
stack rights?"
Votes. What are you talking about?
We had a
Don't
whole-
dismiss that as if we don't get more votes in almost every single fucking election, -2. From what was
But
it?
are those
Bush
voters-
and then Trump.
Are those
4,
voters
24,
all
or 22.
Democrats, or are they independents who side with Democrats?
That doesn't matter.
Yes, it
For
does.
the question,
Because
not for the
independents are
question
not
that
the
you was
part-
asked.
Are not part of our base. They are undecided voters that we appeal to beyond our base, that we reach above our base, right, to pull them in. And if we don't
Do you
get
think
them,
that we're
we lose.
on average appealing to it? Okay, never mind. Let's
Okay.
just keep going.
$5. Yeah, because you're wrong. $5 from
Okay.
Phil Marr, sorry, to say Soy Pill has bigger muscles than you. I bet you're jealous. It's true. I am jealous of Soy Pill's muscles. That is correct.
I told him he
Doyle.
doesn't. I don't have to ask. I know Wick compliments me. He's very nice about it. Thank you, Wick.
Yeah, $2 from Phil Marr to say, can you ask Soy to do a peck pop? Not for $2.
He's been by the way, the reason I keep muting is because he's been spamming me $2, $5 donations to like flex and shit for him, and I'm like,
Oh,
dude,
shit,
I'm not
okay.
performing for you on this. I want to have a conversation, but now
Yeah,
he's doing it in your
$5.
chat, so you have to say it out loud. But here's
Well,
a little,
I will
little
look.
peck pop.
If it's a problem, I can say, hey, Phil Marr, look, if you want me to talk, Phil Marr, you got a $10 minimum, okay? AKA Batozai says Democrats are responsible for Mitch
Hey,
McConnell.
Ethan, thank you for $20. The left was cringe and woke. The only option I had was to vote for the subhuman monster, calling me smug and mean, but I'm going to continue calling these people every name in the book. Thank you,
Soy
Ethan.
Pill
Agreed.
Makes me want to vomit. I hope Dems kick people like him out of the discussion.
I'm going to vote even harder for Dem. I'm canvassing for 10 new homes because of that comment.
$5 from Audacity to say, talking about the popular vote when base is mentioned is hilarious. Thank you for the $5. Okay, that said, Dev, then Sansel. Go ahead.
Was it my turn?
I don't
have
know.
anything.
Fuck, I don't know.
The moderator has spoken.
Sansel, go ahead. Sansel, go ahead.
Listen, this is all I was going to say. Like, I'll open the kimono here a little bit. My strategy coming in here is I was going to ask that one question. Yes, that's a saying, Soy Pill. All right. Maybe I'm old and I just
I got to Google it. I've never heard that. Is that like flashing someone?
It's revealing. Listen, so this is where I'm coming from. Okay. 2016 happened. It fucking was a massive shock to all liberals, right? From 2016 to the 2024 election.
On the brink, no.
Basically,
there are no centrists. They don't exist.
The underlying,
they're right wingers.
Thought process for me was, why the fuck did people vote for him? Let me understand conservatives. I'm from the deep fucking South. I have family that voted for Trump who are Trump voters. I don't actually want to kill all of them, right? So that's like where I'm coming from. Also, where I'm coming from is I've seen Democrats try to reach out across the aisle who have made overtures, who have made, every effort in the world, not perfectly, because, they still want to pass bills that they want to pass, but they have made overtures to the right, and then the right makes no overtures to the left. The right is fucking going full demon mode right now, to a point that has made me like completely change my
Stardust,
view
answer
of
your
humanity.
DM real quick, please.
It's unfucking real. They've lost their fucking minds. And I'm super anti-lefty. I used to fight with them all the time.
Shake and
not
bake.
Worth fighting
That's
with
good.
them right now.
I voted for lead and water because
right
it
has
tastes
lost
better
their
than
fucking
calcium.
mind.
Is
And that's where
so
I'm
good.
coming from. And that's why I wanted to have that conversation. I admit,
oh god,
I
is
did
this
not
like the
watch
crazy
the
Destiny lady?
The Live and Learn one, because I didn't want to get too poisoned one way or another. I watched like the first 10, 15 minutes of it to get an idea. So yeah, I didn't want to get poisoned against the idea of talking with you or anything. Oh, fuck.
And I didn't watch because I heard they weren't very mean to you, so I don't think they probably said anything good.
They weren't mean to her, but they should have been.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I recall what I was going to say before. I've got it.
Go ahead, please.
I remember my point. Okay, so, Sansel, I think this is where you might be wrong, okay?
Okay, tell me.
So this is something I mentioned earlier, but I think it went over everyone's head. The title of the stream is not, are the Democrats too mean to centrists or other Democrats, or is the left too mean to people and it drives them rightward? Because like I said before, that happened a bit in 2016. It's happening less now, I think. The title is, are the Democrats responsible for the rise of MAGA? And they can be responsible in multiple ways.
Just looked at the super chat revenue for this stream. You guys are wild.
I think the way
thank you so much, but also what the fuck? Why is it
they
a performance?
destroy,
Clearly I should start an OnlyFans.
I want to finish this. They failed to destroy MAGA in 2021. That's how the Democrats are actually responsible for MAGA's current rise. Because they did not fucking destroy them. And they should have. And we can hold them accountable for that. Because I guess maybe, Biden thought, oh, I'm going to be this great reconciliator. And it just didn't fucking happen. So perhaps the Democrats next time around need to, be a little bit more, be a little bit less handshaking, a little bit more with a sword, basically.
Can I ask something?
I say that, and then Wick starts screaming at me and saying that I'm too mean.
You are.
Can I ask something really quick?
Sure. What's up?
So, I just have a question. Soy Pill had a lot of issues with just even Talia being on this panel. So Soy Pill, are you one of these people who's like very much for like you shouldn't platform so and so people, you know, like
No.
that? Are you like very
No.
like
Here, let me clarify one more time, okay? I don't think that talking to people like Talia is useless. I don't think that Talia's opinions are useless. I think understanding why Talia voted is a perfectly reasonable thing to do. However, this is what Talia has to offer us. Here's my dumb fucking reason I voted in 2020. Here's how you can win me back. Cool. Now go away forever. Because I need to actually appeal to voters who vote based on principle and policy, and not people who are going to look at all the horrible things that have been happening for the 8 years and say, well, I don't know, I'm still on the fence about this, because I honestly think you're fucking retarded. So let's get those sentences out and then disappear.
Okay, hold on. Soy Pill. I want to actually directly address this, okay? So I'm a voter. I am a voter who has absolutely zero principles, okay?
Wait, this is a
No
hypothetical, or are you
principles
just...
whatsoever.
I actually don't know. Like, you're just...
No, here. You know what? Whichever side gives me the most blowjobs, I'll vote for you.
Okay.
So, listen, you give me a blowjob right now, I'll vote Democrat.
Okay.
Will you do it?
No, because then some Trump voter will give you 2 blowjobs, and then I'm fucked, right? It's not worth the time.
Okay, fine. You know what?
Then
Fair
I'm
enough.
voting Republican.
First person to suck me off gets the vote.
Oh, then I'm on my knees already, buddy.
Okay, base, let's do it.
This is canvassing, right? Like, I'm going to go around, I'm going to suck so many dicks for the Democratic Party. I would lay
I'm
down
not
my
willing to do
life.
it.
I would guzzle buckets of cum, as they say. It would happen.
Okay, I'm just really
You look
curious.
like the
Lav,
type-
why are you here?
Is that like a haha, you're gay? Like, good one, Lev.
Nothing gets past you. Nothing gets past you.
No, it's just a very
Um,
lame
I
comment.
saw-
like-
The title, and I was like, I think that I have a good opinion.
What's your opinion?
Wait, can I just ask
Um,
before you say your opinion? Is this like the crazy Destiny lady, or this is a different Lev?
Yeah. it
Well,
is.
I'm actually completely vindicated, as you might have learned recently. But
I would rather not call her the crazy Destiny lady. She is her own person with
Well,
her
that's the
own
only reason I
thoughts,
know her.
right?
But anyway, go on. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm
Did we
I'm
all
also
say, right?
I'm
I
not
don't-
just the
I
crazy
don't know.
Destiny lady. I'm the crazy dog fucking girl. I'm the crazy Jewish
Wow.
Mexican girl. I'm the Kiwi Farms girl.
That's
Yeah,
quite the
I'm the
career.
crazy perv.
It's
I'm the
okay,
crazy
Lab. I'm
perv.
like the designated punching bag for everybody. So we have, you know,
Thank
that in
you
common.
for the
so.
20, that
Yeah,
guy.
yeah,
I
but
agree.
just so you know,
People being
yeah,
mean
I
is
was
not
vindicated.
why. Although some people do
Anyway, which
vote based
actually
on
goes along with
vibes,
what I was going
and the
to
left
say,
has bad vibes,
is that I think
unfortunately.
that Democrats have caused it only because they made the world such a awful, dangerous place recently, and
Thank you, Death
everything
Awaits, for
is
the 5.
topsy-turvy and upside
I'm
down.
just going to do more
And people are
gym
saying,
stuff, but
"Oh,
thank you.
I think actually you guys are fucking nuts." And I am actually seeking safety. I think one of the big I think that women are leaving the Democratic Party in hordes because of Democratic men. I think something that was really blackpilling for like a ton of women was just how see-through men are becoming. These liberal men who are actually predators are becoming in the media. I think that was like huge. I think that it's easy to see now that
Are we doing?
Wait,
this?
wait,
Are we
wait,
gonna,
wait,
like,
wait.
Sit here and just like.
Yeah, these predator men made me
How
vote.
many rage
Wait, wait,
statements are we
Can I
gonna get through
strongly-
before we
Hold
give
on,
her the
hold on,
attention
hold on,
she
Can I
wants?
strongman
All
her
right,
point?
she wants attention. She's given us every rage bait
wait,
fucking thing
wait.
that she could say. Are
Wait.
we gonna give her the
Wait.
These are
attention,
real
or are we
opinions.
gonna have the conversation we were doing?
these
Can
are real
I
opinions.
strongman? Can I
No,
strongman her
she's
point
genuinely
for a
that
second?
retarded.
Yeah. I can I strongman the point. Okay, from a feminist perspective, right? The one thing I would say is that this whole thing of not being tough on crime, I think doesn't serve females very well, right? Now I don't
She
know.
just
I
said
don't know
that people were leaving the left because of predatory men, and then saying, "Oh yeah," and they went and voted for Trump, the guy who bragged about
That's one
groping
of- that
women's
was one
fucking
of-
pussies. Like, yeah, if you
I'm
do
not- I
that,
didn't say
I'm
for
not.
Trump.
Yeah, that's fucking
This
retarded.
that's not what the
sure,
panel's
sure.
about. It's not
There are,
specifically
there
for
are,
Trump.
it actually is about the MAGA
Again,
movement and
again.
Democrats playing into it.
Okay,
So that is
sure,
what the
but
panel's
it's
about.
not specifically
I don't know
for
what
Trump.
her. I don't know what her specific point
Okay,
is.
but you're
and
coming
there
in and
are-
probably giving a
some-
much better point, Star, to your credit, because you're not a stupid person. But that's not what she's saying. She's saying something
You
much
didn't.
stupider.
You actually didn't
She's
even
not
realize what I
saying
was saying. You
anything.
couldn't
She's
even.
just-
You
couldn't
just
even repeat it
said-
back to me.
Lav, you just said people are leaving the Democratic Party in droves because
Right,
of these
and what
predatory feminist liberal
That's one of
men,
them. What were the-
right?
what were
right,
the other thing-
and
what
that's a
was the other
stupid.
thing I said?
Well, hold on, I got
What's the
triggered
other
on
thing I
that
said?
point because that's a stupid fucking retarded
Of course
point.
you did,
just to
because you're
say,
emotional and
because you said a
effeminate.
dumb stupid
But
point.
what was the first
You're
thing I
calling
said?
me feminine. It's like, oh, this is
Yes.
why the people are leaving the left. Anyway, I criticize people by saying feminine
the
as a
first thing I said?
derogatory
Sorry,
term.
I'm
I don't know.
not
You
gonna
say a
let
lot of
you
retarded
get
shit, but
out.
you can repeat it
The
if you'd
first thing
like.
I said.
That's kind of true.
Okay, I said that the Democratic Party has made the world an unsafe place.
Yeah,
The
that's
Democratic
specifically
Party
stuff
are
to me with
making the
crime.
world an
Yes,
unsafe place.
people are
With the
seeking
crime,
safety,
right?
and yes,
Policies
people are
of
seeking
crime.
safety, normalcy, even like I mean, even if the identity politics are making people scared for their children, I think
Yes,
that we have
I'm aware of
entered
all this.
a very a free world. Thank God for freedom and thank God for liberty, but I think it's a bit too much and people are scared. And yes, I think that also liberal men are causing women specifically to leave the party in droves. There's a huge trad wife movement happening, and it's not just because they
white,
like blue
educated
dresses
women and women in general vote Democrat far more than any other fucking demographic. So you don't know what the fuck you're talking about,
and
and
I'm
I don't
sorry,
know
the
why
trad-
anyone here is
that-
taking you
What did
seriously.
that
I
have? What
disagree
did
with
that
the
have
You
to
said
do
women
with
are
what I just
leaving in
said?
droves. This like actually just isn't fucking
They
true.
are.
No, it's not. It's actually
Okay,
young
I'll
men
give you
who
some
are in
stats.
most. Yeah. What
Okay,
like what
I'll give you some
percentage of
stats.
women are switching now?
I said I'm speaking to the women. I'm speaking to the
You
women who
said
are leaving in droves. I know
droves.
that men.
I'm sure
Yes, I
some women
know. I
left.
said
A lot of people left in the
specifically.
2024 election. They are not
This is
leaving in
why-
droves.
This is why it's so hard to talk to like liberals, is because you just get
Because
so
when you say
emotional.
something
You
fucking
can't-
retarded, I'm like,
Can I-
oh,
can
thank
I
God we
engage
dropped
with that?
another
You're
retard
not
into
even
this
Can I
thing.
engage with this, please?
Said.
Can I engage with this, please? Okay. There are plenty of things that Lav and I will probably disagree on, but the one thing I will say, right, especially like with the trad wife thing, I just disagree with you on that. I mean, it may be true that people are leaving to become trad wives or whatever, but that's actually like that's more vibes based, right? That's again vibes based voting. But what I would say, the one valid point that I think she made is that people feel unsafe with certain democratic policies, right? Being lax on crime is not going to win women over, right? The great equalizer for men and women is going to be being tough on crime. I'm sorry, men commit crime way more than women do, and even though men are the victims of crime, it is still something that women think about, right? If men are the victims of crime more than women are, it's still something that women overwhelmingly think about, and it loses moderate Democrat voters when we are not tough on crime.
I agree with that completely, Star. And like I said, you're going to have
Yeah.
a very good point. That is not what Lav is saying.
But specifically on the trad wife thing, that's just
Because
vibes
I
based.
said
I'm
it.
sorry.
Well, no, because you said a bunch of
that's-
stupid shit, and then also kind of alluded to a smart point, which then Star elaborated on.
Yeah. And wait, so the trad wife thing is not that's just vibes based. If you look at like all the stats, like when it comes to stay at home moms are generally much more economically vulnerable. They're more unhappy. And I'm sorry, like being reliant on anybody. Being reliant on anybody for an income, you are putting yourself in a like. It's fine if you want to choose that life, but if you it's fine if you want to choose that life, but in general, like being reliant on somebody else for an income does put you in a more vulnerable position. And I do think that as women, you should advocate when all women have education and have the skills necessary to provide for themselves if they need to.
I want to hear what Talia has to say. Go ahead, Talia, please.
Well, I was just
Yeah,
gonna
let the
say,
women
like,
speak, Wick.
I think I find personally a lot of the trad wife messaging very cringe and hollow, but I think there is a reaction that some segment of women are having, and it's a culture. I would call it again a sort of a culture war or a cultural issue, and not just a vibe. But it's there is a portion of women who feel like they were essentially lied to, basically, that they were sold a bag of goods that is not working out for them in their lives. And the problem is that there is truth to this, right? It's not a prescriptive thing, and that's where I really resent where the right, especially people on the far right, the extreme right, whatever you want to call it, the alt right, they take this to a prescriptive level and say, well, women should have to stay home, women shouldn't be able to vote, women should only do X, Y, or Z. That is obviously overcompensation in the wrong direction, but there are actual differences between men and women on average. We should recognize these things. We shouldn't shame women for wanting some of these things, and we shouldn't set women up with unrealistic expectations of how their life is going to go when they actually exist on a real biological
We doubled the
clock.
retardation, guys.
So there
I'm
are
sorry.
women
This is
who are
pissing me off.
resentful about the society that they find themselves in that doesn't make them alt-right or even want to be trad wives.
What percentage difference in women vote from 2020 to 2024 do you guys think it was? It droves, by the way.
You're per
I've actually
capita?
got it right here.
No,
I
not
looked it
per
up,
capita.
so-
No, just
Okay,
what percentage?
So let me
Hold on. Here.
Well,
Right,
No, it's a very
more
simple question,
people
not
are
let you.
vote-
Just-
More people are voting than ever before.
Well,
What-
So I
that has
also wanna
nothing to
say
do with what I
Trump-
just said.
Trump
Hold
is
on, I wanna
such
hear the
a-
actual
Trump is
stat.
such
No,
a-
It's
please.
3%, Wick. It's
Hold on.
3% more
Trump-
people, and you can
Trump is
attribute that to a
such-
million
Hold on,
things
hold
that
on,
are
hold on.
liberal men.
Oh
First
my
of all,
God, nobody
So
listens
it's
to me on
not-
my
Okay,
own
so I
goddamn
agree,
panel.
you don't
And
have
The
to
liberal
attribute
men
it
thing
to
was
infuriating.
the
You brought-
liberal men thing
don't
was
need to
not.
Vic, you brought
attribute-
Lav on here. Did you really think that you were
Hold
going
on,
to get
you don't
control
need
of the
to
fucking
attribute it to
panel?
liberal men.
Lav isn't the one
However-
that's speaking over
however,
me right now,
I would
to be
also
frank.
argue.
I'm being
Okay.
respectful.
I would
Am I?
argue.
Well,
I
for
would
now,
argue-
we got our
Please,
okay.
Please,
I'm good.
please.
Hold on.
I would argue. Hold
Yeah,
on.
sorry.
Please let me just get this out. I would argue that Trump is such an odious figure that there are lots of women who are of the mindset that I just described who did not vote for Trump, refused to vote for Trump because they find him such a horrible, sexist, whatever else.
Yep.
But they are disaffected in the way that I just described. And with a
Yep.
less odious figure, they may go over and vote for the right or stop voting for the left in order to prevent Donald Trump. So this population exists even if they didn't show up to vote for Donald Trump in 2024.
I'm
Okay, I
one of
wanna
them.
hear-
Absolutely.
Dev
How
had
do
an
we
actual
know
stat.
that they
Hold on,
exist?
just real
Like,
quick.
what?
Hold on.
How do you
Dev
know
had
that
an
that
actual
number
stat that I want to
exists?
hear.
Do exist because I live in the world. They literally exist.
Okay,
Do
Dev.
you have any
Dev,
idea
Dev,
on how to
Dev,
arrive
Dev,
at
go
the
ahead,
number
please.
where that comes from?
Oh my God.
I've got the stat. Okay, I've got the stat. So
Yeah,
I
get
looked
the
it up.
stat, please.
So in 2016, women broke for Trump at a rate of plus 15. In 2020, it was plus 11, and in 2024, it's plus 7. So in all three elections, they are proportionally voting more for Trump, but that proportion's narrowing each time.
so it's the opposite actually. Fewer people, because that's not the
Well,
stat I read. But
no,
that,
so
if
what,
anything,
so what
would
Talia, so
I-
what Talia actually just said is that, especially now with as time has gone on, it would make sense that women would turn their backs on Trump. I'm someone who is a Republican now. I would never in a million years vote for Trump. Never in a million years would I vote for someone who has like a credible rape allegation in my fucking life. And there are so many women like me who feel that exact same way. And what that stat actually suggests is that she's right. So
Well, just to be clear, women still vote for Trump, or sorry, voted for Harris more than Trump, but the margin is getting smaller.
That's
That's what's
I mean, if that's the stat, that's the stat. What
Dev,
say
can you send
ye?
me the
that's
stat?
that
'Cause
we
I wasn't
already said.
understanding
Yeah,
No,
what
I
you're saying.
didn't even disagree. I said there was a 3% increase in women voting for Trump from 2020 to 2024, which I was using to demonstrate that droves of people aren't abandoning the Democrats
You know
because of
what,
Democratic
3%?
policy on women. Do I know what 3%
Well,
was? That it's
it
not
would be
nothing.
interesting
Yes,
to see
it
who
fucking
switched.
matters.
What are the
yes.
stats on switching?
Do you mean like did they cite why? Well, if you look at the top like 3 things that people were worried about, it was like the economy, like wars, and not wars. Fucking what was the other one? I don't remember. It doesn't matter anymore. The point is, it's not fucking like liberal men or policies about like how the
Doesn't
left
sound like
is
you're
treating
too sure
women.
the reason either.
Well, first of all, I'll just give you the number one reason, which was the economy. You have no fucking idea. You're just like, oh, it's
Show
because of
me.
this bullshit. Okay, I will.
Show me.
This is
Sounds
very
like
easy to
you're
get.
spitballing too, bud.
I said one thing, you completely disregarded it. It's the number one thing everyone voted on. It's the economy, and has nothing to do with gender politics. But let's see what the other reasons are. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Well, everything's
Well, the
about
economy still
politics when you
affects
think
women in
about
a
it.
gendered way, right? So
Yes,
Because of all
exactly.
the pink tax. True.
Right.
yeah, more than that, but yeah.
Okay.
You know, Andrea Dworkin has a fabulous quote about this specifically, and I can read it if anyone's interested, but
Go ahead, read your quote.
I have to ask a question because my chat is going to riot if I don't. They want me to specifically ask Talia what her thoughts are on trans rights. So.
Oh God.
they asked that in Wix chat too. Can I read the quote really quickly and then you can say?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, right-wing women. This is very true. This is what's happening right now culturally on Twitter, on social media. This is what they're trying to get women on TikTok with the trad wife shit. Right-wing women have surveyed the world. They find it a dangerous place. They see that work subjects them to more danger from more men. It increases the risk of sexual exploitation. They see that creativity and originality in their kind are ridiculed. They see women thrown out of the circle of male civilization for having ideas, plans, visions, ambitions. They see that traditional marriage means selling to one man, not hundreds. That's the better deal. They see that the streets are cold and that the women on them are tired, sick, and bruised. They see that the money they can earn will not make them independent of men, and that they will have to play the sex game of their kind at home and work too. They see no way to make their bodies authentically their own and to survive in the world around men.
I can't see
They know
chat
too
right now,
that
guys.
the
I don't
left
know why.
has nothing better to offer. Leftist men also want wives and whores. Leftist men value whores too much and wives too little. Right-wing women are not wrong. They fear that the left, in stressing impersonal sex and promiscuity as values, will make them more vulnerable to male sexual aggression, and that they will be despised for not liking it. They are not wrong. Right-wing women see that within the system in which they live, they cannot make their bodies their own, but they can agree to privatized male ownership. Keep it one-on-one,
What
as it
year was
were.
this written?
This was the 80s.
Can I interject here? Can I interject here?
Well,
So I will
That's
say,
mostly
Oh,
late.
the
yeah,
eight-
it was
wait.
written in
I
the
want to say
80s?
something.
Okay.
I want to say something. I want to say something. So I understand the perspective of this quote, right? But when you actually look at like how these things bear out, I think that it actually ends up being that a lot of women are in more danger in their own home than they are when they are going to work, right? Like what is the rate of domestic violence, right? What, like, I'm sorry, how many women are killed by their partners, right? So and that poses a, they say that like you can look at all these things, and obviously safety is a huge issue for women in general, right? That's why we can't be lax on punishing crime. But at the same time, this idea that being stay at home or staying in your home is going to be safer is not necessarily true, because a lot of women engage, a lot of women encounter their first instance of domestic violence when they get pregnant, right? A lot of women just end up dying from it, so it's not
But
true,
that's
right?
necessarily the
Yeah.
lesson. I think that the lesson
Hold on,
that
just
I
Lav, stop. We gotta let
Yeah.
Tully go, right? We do. She was asked a question, and everyone keeps like, we will never get to the question unless we give mic to Tully. Tully, you were asked about trans rights. We did a whole show on this,
What?
by the way. There's a whole
Yeah, we did.
show that you can go and look, but I guess people want the TLDR right now. So go ahead.
I think trans people should have rights. I abhor the bullying and cruelty that a lot of people target against trans people, especially on the basis of their appearance. Yeah, I
I want to
know.
pivot off
Do
of Tally
anyone have a
saying
more
that, just to be
specific
clear,
question?
because I've been really hard on you, Tally. I think you're ultimately probably a good person, and I don't hate you. It is this specific topic
Wow.
of which I am triggered, just so you know. And I wish the best for you and your
So
wife. I hope
kind.
that Obergefell does not get overturned.
Yeah.
And I will have Gavin Newsom illegally marry you at the San Francisco courthouse if it is.
Very kind. Thank you.
Okay. Well, gang, I don't know where we're going from here. Lav, finish up your thought, and then we might just kind of.
I was just saying I don't
Very good.
necessarily think that that was the lesson in that is that like to stay home, but I do believe that there is a passion of men of the right wing where they feel more protected, and I feel like in a post sexually open society, post birth control pill, post free sex, free love of the 2000s, women are getting tired and they're getting weathered, and they see men who are ready to take care of them with very pretty words. It doesn't even necessarily need to be true, and I think that women ultimately prefer that because we are just animals after all.
I think
But yeah, that was just
cynicism is,
speaking to
yeah,
speaking to women.
sure,
But I think overall,
sure.
there's more democratic issues that are turning people to MAGA. And I also would like to clarify: I don't think that I think that MAGA has become bigger than just Donald Trump at this point. It's a movement on its
Sure.
own.
I think the best
There's al
policy for women is to be cynical when it comes to any man talking. I'm sorry to say, but you have to be cynical when it
Even
comes
George
to
Floyd.
any man talking, whether they're right wing or left wing.
Even George Floyd.
Because
Even George
I'm
Floyd.
sorry.
Even George Floyd.
Even George Floyd, because men generally are the same, like across the political spectrum. I'm sorry, they commit more crime. Every man every man
Okay, no
is like
Stardust. We're gonna
horny
have
as
an
fuck
issue if we keep
at
going.
every stage of life. Men are their libido is higher than women, even when at the point where women are at their highest in libido. Men still have a much higher libido at every stage in their life than women. And men are not, I guess, not taught to have any self-control. So, I mean, yeah,
Jesus
that's
Christ.
just
So one of my
Go ahead.
frustrations, general cultural observation and frustration, is that it does seem like in some ways the left only acknowledges, and I'm not saying you Stardust in particular, I don't know your views on these things, but you seem pretty based from what I can gather. But the left seems to only acknowledge these sex differences in these cases, in a case where they can make a case for sexism
yeah.
against women. So if they're trying to prove that women are earning less, right, in the in the market, or if they're trying to show how women are literally vulnerable in comparison to men in a physical way, they then pretend that men and women are completely equal in their desires and their abilities and in their preferences and all of these things. And that's a frustration that a lot of people, again, there's a lot of people who just who resent the hypocrisy, and it doesn't make them
One of the concerns I
enthusiastic
have,
Republicans necessarily.
Just
One of the
can I
concerns
real
I'm
quick
having-
clarify just the
just
top
wanna-
5
can I-
things?
can I
Because I
give
did
my
look this up
thought?
and we're going to move on from this week. But the economy, democracy in the U.S., terrorism and national security, Supreme Court picks, and then 5th is immigration, which is like the only one you might be able to spin into maybe it's crime, and then kind of turn that into do I feel safe as a woman? So no, it was none of the things that Lav brought up, just to be 100% clear.
Fair enough, but I
No, I heard that
Not to-
women are actually terrified
I also think
of
that you're
walking
being
around
like
cities.
extremely autistic about this. I think that there are plenty of ways that people vote for things and don't necessarily like track it. What's on the ticket? Are they writing in the reason why they've switched parties? Are they writing in the reason why
Right.
they're voting?
You would have to even know what.
I'm sorry,
right,
are we
what
now
they're
just
asking.
You
question
don't
like
even- you don't
all
even-
polling isn't valid because we haven't asked every single person about their
It's not
opinions?
polling.
Statistics, we
no,
can just throw it
you're-
out the
No,
the
you
fucking
are acting
window.
like you know. That's the problem. You are acting like
God.
you know more than I do, and you don't.
So
you are
I'm
guessing
going
just as
on
I am.
polling data, and you're going on, well, we can't know because we didn't
asking you
ask
about
everyone
the
on their
data.
fucking what do you want to
Listen,
know?
I'm
Do you want me to
asking
send you more
about
links?
the data.
What are you talking
No, I
about?
want to know. I want to know how they're asking these questions.
They
This is
ask-
not.
they-
real
they-
simple.
they rate-
they
rate things based on
methodology.
extremely
my guy.
important, very important, somewhat important, not important. This is how most polls are done. You can rank topics. You can pick which are your top
Sure.
5. This is a
So
thing.
what topics are on the questionnaire? Can you write it in?
Do you want me to explain
does
to
it look
you
like?
how
Is there-
like
is there
Pew
Yes,
and
I want you to
YouGov
hold
like
on,
explain to
does?
me how they're
Is there
getting
any
this-
question that
Yes,
you're
I want you to
looking for
explain to me how you're
specifically?
getting
Yeah,
this
Is there
data.
one
Do you want-
one specific question that you're looking for to be on there that will satisfy you, or will you hear the list of questions and then after that, like ask for the next thing until you can
Okay,
find
so the
one
problem-
specific thing to get really fucking mad about and then dismiss the entire thing instead of presenting, I don't know, counter.
So the problem-
counter data or something.
Right. Right. I have a feeling that you're just going to repeat that 3 more times if I don't stop you. So
I actually
what I
finished
was
and
saying.
let you speak, you dumb bitch.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Okay. So the problem
I'll allow it.
that I'm speaking
Stick
to,
to
the
it.
problem that I'm speaking to with this polling is that I don't think that it's impossible. First of all, polling at all for opinion-based thing is social sciences. You can't really trust it, right? We all know that. We all know that
All
there
right,
are
so now that we
hidden
know that you have the
I
mental
love you. I
fortitude
will
of a
catch you later,
5-year-old, can
okay?
we just disregard like this fucking stupid fucking retard? Like this is so dumb.
mental
Wick.
fortitude
Why is
of
this
a
person here?
5-year-old.
Oh God.
Look,
What are
Damn,
you
you're
talking?
doing
I
it
have
again, dude.
I have a social sciences
yeah,
degree.
literally, just
Everyone
doing
knows
it again.
this.
That's embarrassing that you're like, well, we can't use any polling because it's all you know, just
No,
kind of vibes based. We're not
Well,
really
just
sure if it
highlighting
works,
your-
and
hold on,
and so you
just
shouldn't have to
highlighting your-
ask
Oh my
me.
God,
You shouldn't have to
you're a
ask me the fucking
You're absolutely a
questions.
mess.
No, you shouldn't
This
have
is
to
why
ask me.
people don't vote
This
for
is
liberal
my.
parties.
This
It's
is why
because
the.
you
This is why the
cannot
right one.
even
The
handle
retarded
a
people like you is
question.
why the right's gonna lose next round. The retarded people. This is why
No.
I'm gonna vote left because of your being
it's
retarded.
because and this is why you'll keep losing. Is because if you
No,
can't
this is
ask
why. This is
questions
why the
about-
right's gonna lose. Is because you're fucking stupid. This is why the right's gonna
not
lose.
losing.
Here's what we're
This
gonna
is
do.
why the right's gonna
Winning
lose. This is why the right's gonna
overwhelmingly.
lose.
Oh, God.
Here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do.
So stupid.
Wow. I'm gonna say goodbye to everyone because I
What,
think you're-
really?
Well, I don't look.
I thought you liked
Do
making
we
money,
have other
Wick.
places to go from here? Because I'm
Not if you have
frustrated.
Lav on,
I think-
Wick.
No, I think
I'm
that we
frustrated.
can.
I'm frustrated.
I think
I'm
we're
frustrated. Hold on, let me finish my fucking thought. I'm frustrated because we were having a great conversation, and then Soy Pill came on to attack Talia. Okay, to attack Talia. It became better content,
Wait,
mind
my
you,
white
but it was a
knight
worse
in
conversation.
shining armor.
And now it's I did Lav came on to save Talia. I think I'm not sure why Lav's here.
It
but-
just seems that we're sort of in the same boat. I didn't even really watch it. I just saw the title.
Oh, God. Okay. And I think that we there are things to discuss, but it's hard to discuss them when I'm having to like keep you guys from being autistic the whole time. I don't know. Like we have stats on this. We have stats on women when it comes to voting for Democrats and voting for Republicans. There was a 7-point shift towards Republicans from 2020 to 2024. We have to
It was
to deal
5.
with that.
It was
Well, the
3.
stats
Well,
that I'm looking at.
yeah,
says
it definitely has to do a lot with
let me
that
just get this true.
stuff, right?
57% of women backed Joe Biden in 2020. And in 2024, meaning that 43% of women didn't vote Democrat in 2020. And in 2024, 53% of women voted for Harris, while 45% voted for Donald Trump, a loss of 4% decrease to the Dems and a increase of 3%, or 2%, I should say, to the Republicans. So
Droves, Wick,
6%
droves.
instead of 7.
I
Thousands
think
of
the
people.
biggest thing, I think the biggest thing is going to be our policies on crime. We cannot, we have to be
2% of a
tough on crime.
vote is an election.
It's
Soyfield. That's an election.
Lav, it's smaller than the swing of the entire fucking swing to the Republican Party.
No,
and
it's
young.
not.
Yes, it is.
True.
Yes, it is. The swing of all the fucking party from the right to the left is
Pennsylvania-
bigger than the swing of just
Pennsylvania, we
women.
lost
Women
by
was the
1.5%.
no. Women swinging was the smallest demographic swinging. This is what I'm saying.
Well, that's true.
This is the
I
least
just don't
important fucking
really-
thing we're talking about right now.
That's not because
I don't think it's unimportant though, because
I'm not
I think
saying
that
it's. Oh my god.
I think that the well-being of 50% of our society is really important, whether or not they're swing or not, right?
Obviously.
I think just to bring this all back, and especially to what Wick said, is I think that also a big reason is because when you cannot hold up a point to scrutiny, you lose people. Soypilled, if you are the type of person who a young person on the fence is being met with and they're asking questions, you
No
are
one
not
in
going
here
to,
is asking
you are
questions,
Not, they are
Liv.
not going. They are not going.
I'm confronting people giving bad
choose-
advice like
they're
you and
not
Talia.
going to. They're not going to. What advice have I given?
Okay, what advice do you have for how do we save the Democratic Party from the MAGA swath that you don't want to
Well, I
win
think-
because
I
you're
think-
anti-Trump?
I think that there's a lot of "Make America Great Again" points that are positive. I just
Great.
wouldn't
So
personally
why are we
vote for
listening
a
to this person
rapist.
again, Wick? Why are we fucking having this person on? Like, who the
Okay,
fuck cares what
this
this person has to say? Like, Jesus Christ.
I'm having a really hard time having a conversation with you, so I felt. And it's
You
not
should, because
me.
I'm dealing with, again, an intellectual 5-year-old, and I don't like that I'm having to speak to you. It's fucking
I don't
frustrating.
think anyone with any sort of brain capacity is seeing this conversation and thinking that you're open and mature.
I'm not being mature. I'm being very triggered right now. I'm very upset.
Okay, so
at you.
why are you saying calling
you
me
don't
the
want to
5-year-old?
accept.
All right,
this
here,
goes
let's
back-
do it.
this
All right,
goes back
guys.
to
No,
the
you're right.
point
All right,
of-
I'm calming down. Let's have an intellectual conversation. Lav, what are your points for the Democratic Party? I will listen.
I think
With an
I
open
think that people see someone like you in the media specifically, and they're like, "This, there's no tenable way to enter this party as someone who is complicated, has a ticket that is sort of all over the place, because most people do, right? Most people, there will be a lot of people who just vote tick 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 down Democrat, but things are changing now, right? Because we're having a cultural reset. We're spreading the parties in a way that hasn't happened at least since the 70s, right? At least since Vietnam. This is the most emotional politics have been for 20, 30 plus years. And then they see people like you in the media and they're thinking, "Oh, well, I don't align with him. I don't align with this person who's compassionate, has compassionate values, wants women to have choice." How could women see someone like that and be like, "Oh, I'm going to vote Republican"? And it's because it's not even measured. It's because they're scared. It's because your energy is dangerous to women.
Sorry, do you have a stat on
Okay.
that?
It's because
Or
your
is
energy,
this just your
your
vibes?
energy is dangerous to a new
Wait,
voter.
No, I understand your point. Now, can you tell me why you think that is at all tenable as a position? Do you have any evidence to support that, or is it just vibes? Because you're not feeling my vibes right now.
Well, it's not about me not feeling your vibes. I know that this is the case when we see people on
You
social
just made a
media, or
claim.
when we see people.
About why women aren't voting for the Democrats based on seeing people like me and then not reporting it on polls. And I'd like you to elaborate how you
spitballing
know
just
this.
as you are. So
No,
so
I had a poll. You have I think this is
no,
happening.
you-
I have no
but you
reason for
couldn't-
this to
but
be
you couldn't
true.
tell me about the details of your poll.
I can if you want to go read it. I'm not going to explain the methodology of every poll I bring up.
Sorry,
As
was it a
somebody who's
poll?
met-
Was it a
as-
poll of
right.
women who flipped their vote? Was that what it was? Was it a poll of women who flipped
It
from
was a
Democrat
poll
to
on the
Republican
top
voter?
issues, and if we
Can I
look at the
just
way
say, I
that
think
women
that-
flipped, it was the smallest demographic of all the demographics
Right,
that
so it
flipped.
may not be getting at the cohort that Lav and I are talking
Right, which is
about.
apparently
The
so
cohort that
incredibly
Lav and I-
small. This imaginary cohort that you have no evidence whatsoever, just vibes, might
okay.
exist, and you don't have any reason to bring it up. You don't have
And
any
again,
evidence to support
there
it.
is a large part of this cohort,
don't
Lav
know.
included, who has gone farther than me and calls herself a Republican. I voted for Trump. She didn't vote for Trump because I'm telling you, there is a large contingent of women heterodox women, anti-woke women who refused to vote for Trump, and they voted against him because they saw him as the penultimate evil. But they have moved ideologically, culturally, and
Okay.
that will reflect in their voting moving forward, even
I
if it's
don't know
not a
what.
huge
Okay, I
part
do
of
gotta
the
make a little
election.
money. People keep giving me money. We're making so much
Can
money.
I say something
Okay,
really quick? Because I have to
really
go
quick, and then I
soon.
have to get to
Okay,
these
okay.
super chats. Yes.
I just have to say I don't know what it means when Lav is saying that like Soy Pill's vibe is dangerous to women. I don't think so. I think he's just passionate. I met him in person. I don't think his vibe is dangerous at all.
Thank you, Star.
So I just want to say that. Yeah.
I don't think it's dangerous to women in that I think he's like a rapist or going to kill me. I think that it's dangerous to anyone who is like is. I think that a lot of people vote because they feel good about it, right? It makes them feel good for themselves. It makes them feel like they're making a difference, right?
Well,
When you feel like
I
when you feel
disagree. I
like
think
you're
most people
entering,
vote because they hate the other guy, right? They vote as
that's
to punish
certainly true.
the enemy.
Also, I think that's also certainly true.
Yeah.
But I think that
Finish your thought. I gotta get money.
when people are joining a political party, it becomes somewhat part of their identity, even in like a very small facet, right? That means it's very important to them. That means it becomes like all encompassing. Have you seen the way that liberals react when they've done something wrong, and our Protestant way of reacting to us doing something wrong when we're found out that we said a slur 10 years ago on social media? They're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm an unfinished person. I will leave the Democratic Party. I won't talk about politics anymore online." This is something that happens every day. We see this every fucking day. If you enter, why would anyone want to enter a party where they think that they can't make mistakes or have the right opinion?
$2.
Or ask questions. Why would
Sure.
anyone enter that party?
$2 from Artemis Fowl to say this was very entertaining, Wick. Love you too, SD. Thank you for the $2. $2 from DJ Monotonous to say make her respond to my message. Don't wuss out. Yeah, Tali's message there when he was yelling at you. $10 from Sarcastic Warlock to say Wick, your side doesn't understand the basics of politics. They're to blame for MAGA. You're a few push-ups away from the far right and joining the good guys. Down with the left. Down with MAGA. Thank you for $10. MAGA is
MAGA is disproportionately obese,
wrong.
so that's not true.
Yeah, $2 2 months from membership. 2 months from Remy LeBeau to say stop running from Reservoir, Wick. I am not running from Reservoir. He's welcome anytime on my show. I mean, he doesn't reach out to me. He doesn't DM me. He doesn't ask for anything. I'm not running. $5 from Groter Bell to say, Wick, dude, everyone talked through my questions both times. You half read it. Please ask Tali her position on trans rights. We did.
Definitely let her elaborate on that.
We
And
had
there's
a whole
debate on it.
Gang, if you want to see a whole show, a whole debate on trans rights with Tali, we hosted one. I think Soy Pill was actually on that one.
I was, and Tali was great. That was Tali's my favorite debate opponent ever, I will say, because she was so kind and good faith, and everyone heard each other out. It was amazing. That's why when she brought that up, it reminded me I'm only mad at her for this specific topic right now, not in general.
It's interesting you value that in a person.
Okay.
What?
$5.
Good faith? I do. I really do.
No, I think the things
I'm
that
not
you
done
let
with my
people
money.
value, it's interesting.
$5 from Sarcastic Warlock to say there's a buy Stardust.
Okay, bye.
Okay, you can find Stardust. I got a link to her channel in my YouTube description, Small Talk Me, and you can check her out.
Ethan, thank you for the $10. I tabbed out. Lav is still here. Yep.
Proper outro.
Sorry.
She did. You didn't hear.
Oh, did I not? Fuck. I'm sorry. $5 from Sarcastic Warlock to say there is no worse political system than democracy, the slow decline into oblivion and the weakening of men and women, and only fools will defend it. I disagree with you, sir. $13.99 Canadian dollars from K to say Soy Pill is so fragile. LOL.
1v1 me, bro.
J-Mac for $10 to say I was radicalized when I went back to California to visit friends, and the Albertsons made me pay for grocery bags. Also, Soy Pill feeds my soul. And then $10 more from J-Mac. Thank you for the $10 to say men also stop the most crime, sister. Also, it's not your fault. You guys can't keep up with our crime stats. Get those numbers up.
No.
$2 from
Skill
Metalworks
issue.
to say all I want to say is Wick, stop killing game. And there we go. Okay, that's done. I'm sorry, Stardust. Stardust, if you want to come on real quick and give your... You should have DM'd me, man. Damn, I feel really bad for that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wanted to hear lots more from Stardust too, so that's unfortunate. But we can do this again.
There's always next time. There's always next time.
We are going to. I do have to go as well soon. Here, but
Are you sure, Wick? You don't want to go for 8 hours like with the Maglocks debate?
Bro, look, I made more money tonight than I did that night, which is saying something.
Wait, really?
I
My
did.
God, because that was like a wild mimetic night.
It was great. It was great. And gang, if you want, hold on, wait a minute. What am I doing? If you guys want me to still go, $100, $100, and I'll go another hour. What am I doing? Like, why is it? This is the most simple thing in the world. Do you guys like this content? Pay for it. I'm not a socialist. I'm not a communist. I'm not gonna do it for free. You gotta pay me. Yeah.
You guys make
$100.
me so
In the
happy.
next
This
10
is
minutes, if we
very
get $100 in the
cathartic. I
next
got
10
to
minutes,
yell.
I'll keep going.
After
and
this,
we'll
I'm gonna
go
hang
until
up.
at
I'm gonna
least 10:30.
work on my video,
I
and
killed
then
Soy
you guys will
Pill.
be happy
Do it,
too.
guys, please. There are a lot of cool people backstage.
Yeah,
that
we
would be
can
very
bring
fun
on.
to
We
join
can
the
really open. We
conversation.
can open
Oh
up the
God,
pit,
who's waiting?
as they say. But I guess I'm just concerned, Soypill. Like, you seem to have walked back a lot of your criticisms.
No, I just clarified. You guys said things
just
that I was not
clarify?
saying, but I'll keep saying them again if you need more clarification.
No, we don't. We don't need more clarification. I just don't get the utility of this worldview. I really don't, and I'm being very honest with you.
Okay, I will just say one more
don't-
time.
Can I finish my point, and then
Sure.
you can respond to it? Right. I do not get the utility of acting. Right. Like, a lot of people say it's soy to tell people to be nice, but it's effective.
Is it?
I think it is.
It depends on
I
the
think
context. Kyla actually said this really well. It depends on the context. So, like I said, when you're reaching out to
Go ahead.
individual voters, right? 1000%. Like, you need to be kind to these people. You need to have empathy, understand why they voted this way.
Thank
and
you for
yeah,
the $100, JMac. We're still
oh
going.
my
and
God,
I'll bring on a
awesome.
couple
Thank you, JMac. There's to an extent, right? Like a very important like line that you have to cross where it's like, hey, as soon as they're
finish your
like,
point,
as soon as they're like completely unreachable, they're like, hey, gas the Jews or some fucking crazy shit. It's like, okay, I'm not gonna have empathy for you. There's no point in convincing you. You're too far gone, right? But my frustration is that we'll have people on who clearly have no principles that I think are like worth listening to, giving advice on how to shift the vibes longer than 10 seconds. And I think this is incredibly big waste of time. I think these people should be shamed for doing what they did. They should feel sorry about it, and then they should go on an apology tour and fucking like do some sort of like comeuppance and say like, well, now I'm gonna like because I see all the damage my vote has caused, I'll go and try to do nice things for the country, because right now not nice things are coming. Now, if they see what's happening now and they're like, I'm okay with this, that's not the case. That's like, oh, you got this, you got what you voted for, great, okay, well, now we can maybe listen to how we pull them over, but we absolutely should not be taking advice from them as to like how we do things. Now, don't get me wrong, the Democrats are fucking stupid, right? Like, they're doing this like pay $20 million to like some Dean Withers idiot who's gonna like turn everyone off, like not just the Republicans but also the Democrats, because he's a little shit. But like this idea that like, oh, like let's really be nice to them and ask them what they want. Meanwhile, they're spewing all the fucking worst jokes in the world. They're like rounding up my friend's parents. They're like demonizing trans people. They're spewing the most racist bullshit about killing 65 million Latinos. And it's like, well, it should cause them to lose. And I'm not saying we should be as bad as that, but the idea that it's like, well, we need to really be taking cues from the people who like, no offense, Talia. Well, actually, offense needed. The fact that someone who can vote from Antifa to voting for Trump is like anyone we should be taking seriously as like an opinion. Like,
never
like,
Antifa. So you shouldn't listen to people who change their mind over years.
You clearly haven't. You're literally like, well, I don't even know if I'm going to vote for Democrat again. Like you're on the fence. One thing can push you one thing, one thing will push you the other way. Like,
how would you know? And my worldview.
Dude, think about what you just said. Maybe have bad research on you.
Sully, think about what you just said. You just said you seem like someone who can be effectively moved. So why the fuck would I try to move you?
Because any substantive thing that's going to move them will be immediately overturned by something to move them back. What's the point?
I use a restroom. You guys continue.
That's politics.
I mean, yeah, that's the electorate, right?
No,
the best way to determine whether or not a Republican is going to win the next election is if a Democrat just served 2 terms. The electorate moves back and forth.
Yeah, people vote reactionary based on how bad things are in the previous term, 100%. And the idea of, well, clearly this person is not going to vote based on any policy that I reach out to them for. I just have to be nice to them last, or they have to be happy about it last. Okay, so why are we listening to them? That like their opinions on it don't matter. It doesn't matter.
It's not
That's
about
what's frustrating
not caring
about
about policy ever. Talia, you're talking to someone who's said basically that they voted on policy their entire life but one time, and because of the but one time, you're saying they're not ever going to vote on policy again. What they're saying is, at a certain point, you can't only have policy and completely lose the individual through abstraction and expect them to stay. Like at a certain point, you still need to be able to zoom in and talk to individuals and like meet them where they're at on an emotional and intellectual
I
level.
already agree with
and
Sheb.
have
I
the
already said
policy
this.
to
I
back
said
it
this
up.
already. That's literally like the crux of half the fucking video.
But you're behaving
How
as if
old
that's
are
on
you?
this
too.
panel. It's a very different thing.
How old is Soypill?
How old do you think I am?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Say something
old are you?
nice. Say I'm like 20 or something. I'm 29.
Interesting.
Interesting.
look a day
What's
older.
your, what's your
Why would
degree
we
on
believe?
Lev?
I have a psychology degree.
Hold
Okay,
on.
check
So
that.
just
Why
real
would we
quick.
believe that? Why would we believe that that Talia voted on policy all the other times instead of vibes also for just for the Democrats' favor?
I mean,
Are we
because
just assuming
everything
that?
everything
Or-
Talia mentioned about voting him was policy driven. I mean, it's just like literally just listen to the
Okay.
person is like all I'm recommending.
like
is-
you can technically say that voting on like anti-woke shit is on policy too, right? And that she would probably say that right before she voted for Trump. She would probably say that was a policy-based decision. Like,
yeah, but look at
it
what you're
wasn't.
doing. Like that's all this stuff where it's like
Well,
we're not
hold on.
talking
Didn't
about
a lot of
dehumanizing.
Arguably, a lot of people voted for Kamala and against Trump based on vibes. They really hated things about him that aren't necessarily policy prescriptions. They hate what they perceive as
Maybe
sexism
true.
and racism
No,
and
it's definitely
Maybe
discrimination
true.
of all these
That's
different
definitely
things.
true.
And so
Yeah.
they're voting to protect against those things. And I think that's the same reason. So yeah, listen, if you go back and ask me specific policy questions, I can answer you based on how I feel now and how I felt when I voted at different points in the past. But I was voting on cultural things then too, things that I've changed my mind about, feeling like we actually were in a
Why didn't you care about him trying to
impulsively
overturn the
sexist
election?
and racist hellhole before.
Why didn't you
Sorry?
care in October 2024 about him trying to overturn the election in 2020? Why was that not a priority for you? And is it
Sure.
now?
So to be honest, so a couple of things. There are things that I probably took for granted that I shouldn't have, or I shouldn't have taken. I should have been more critical of, perhaps. But I believed that basically our institutions would hold in the same way that they did hold after January 6th. In ways that I've always shown to be incorrect about, I believe that the courts would be able to prevent certain actions in ways that they haven't necessarily been able to do. But that was one thing. Number two, I honestly felt like I was desensitized to a lot of the anti-Trump rhetoric, because it was really so one-dimensional. And frankly, again, it felt like a lot of the messaging from the Democrats was, "We are not Trump. Don't vote for Trump." Trump
About
is
the
the.
facts? Did you know about the facts of January 6th before voting, or did you learn about them after you voted in 2024?
I knew about the facts before, yeah.
So why did you think it was? Why are you desensitized if you knew exactly what happened and how it happened and how horrible it was? How could you be desensitized to that?
Why was I desensitized? Well, desensitization is a process, right? It's a literal process of exposure. And so, yes, I was aware of the facts, and
Okay.
I was
But
exposed
did you
to
care
so much what I
right
felt
after you
was
learned about the
hyperbolic.
facts? Right after you learned the facts. So were you desensitized and then you actually learned the facts? So once you learned them, you didn't care anymore, or did you learn about it? You're like, oh my god, that's horrible, and then over time you got desensitized, where you no longer thought it was horrible.
Just wait real quick. I want you to clarify something. When you say the facts, you mean like the false elector plot, right?
Correct.
I
Yes.
assume that's what, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And we're taking for granted the fact that both of those scenarios aren't what happened, because she hasn't said she didn't care. She has just said other things outweighed it in the moment. Not that it wasn't
Didn't
a priority. Yeah, but that it was not
Okay.
the top one.
Sure. My claim would be anything at especially woke shit, but anything that is more higher priority than that, you're like pretty morally bad if you know.
Sure.
all of
So
the
more than
facts.
half the
It's fair to
country is
say- hold
morally
on, but hold
bad.
on.
We're doing the meme,
Right.
whatever. Who
Hey,
cares? Like,
hey,
what is that going to do?
Hey,
for
no,
you?
Tolly, stop. Tolly, stop. Hey, retard,
you, Phil.
Jeb 10. This
Can
is
you
why I'm
stop?
clarifying that she knows the facts of the situation, because almost nobody in the country actually does.
Please
Sure,
stop
so
already
50%
posting
of
for
the
Lav.
country-
She's so dumb. You can't fix her.
The 50%
Are you gonna
of the country is
ignore what I
fine.
just said?
Hey, who?
Okay.
Me?
Do you
or-
want? You didn't ask for a response. You just said a
Okay,
thing. Do you want me to
sorry.
respond to it?
Oh. Tolly, go ahead. Why was that not the most important thing to you? January 6th.
Okay,
false
so I was
elector
saying something else. So again, so there are arguably people who voted for Kamala who that was not the most important thing to them, that they were voting against Trump for other things that they saw as more important than the
It was the number 2 issue, though, to
plot
be clear.
overturn. Sure. Okay. According to the exit
polls.
polling that you
Yeah.
looked at. Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
which we can't trust.
Sure. No, we should always take them with a grain of salt.
What grain of salt, though? I mean, yeah, sure, but
Obviously-
like,
We should take them with a grain of salt, but my personal experience should never be taken with a grain of salt because I've talked to people who voted on woke stuff. So obviously that's the most
It
important
should
thing.
all be taken.
Or liberal men,
See, again, this is just
obviously.
like a
no, you
complete
can't
straw man.
equate these
Complete
things.
straw
They're
man.
not the same. Like,
Okay.
I don't.
Okay,
This is.
so-
You
Sorry,
agree
go
with that,
ahead.
Talia,
Let
right?
Talia
I
finish.
like
Let
that.
Talia finish. Let Talia
But you
finish.
agree. She agrees with that, though. Like, I just to make sure that like academic polling is more important and useful
right back.
to know people's opinions than like what you are experiencing in your day-to-day life as like a anecdotal example. You agree with that, correct?
Yes, obviously. You get more
Okay, great.
information from a bunch of anecdotes than you do from any one. Yes, I agree.
Okay, just making sure.
wait,
Okay.
and also to be clear, polling is not the plural of anecdote. Just to be clear, that's not what polling
Yeah,
is.
it's-
There's a methodology, and there's hard empirical results from that. It's not a bunch of anecdotes.
Randomized
Sure.
sampling that then represents the population.
The issue
of
is,
poll.
hold on. So polling still, though, only ever at its best reaches the level of scientific rigor that justifies looking into something further. The idea that people make such strong claims that like hard scientists with way better evidence won't make on other things that have way better evidence is the problem and is the reason why you guys are like, I just don't fucking get how it happened the day that it happened. Like,
That-
because polling
that
is
would be-
not
that would
be
good
true if there were-
quality evidence.
That would be true if there were one poll one time on the election. Turns out there were hundreds of polls that asked people
It's still
what was the
again,
main priority of the thing you voted for, and consistently it's like the economy,
Sure.
democracy,
Yeah, and-
immigration,
Again,
over and over.
And
that-
Jeb, to be clear, no one in 2016 who was seriously like, how could this happen, looked at any of those polls and understood 3 to 37% as zero, because they're just fucking dumb if they didn't expect
I'm
that
not
it was
saying
possible,
that's what
right?
happened. What
No,
I'm
no,
saying
that is what happened is what I'm saying, is that those polls were all pretty close within margin of errors, but everyone just vibe-based thought, well, he can't be president, there's no way, because that's what everyone was saying. But these polls were
I'm not
pretty
talking.
dang
Yeah,
accurate.
sure. I'm not talking about 2016.
Keep
But
it
all
more
polls.
vibe-based
somewhat
as if that's
accurate,
not how
but-
people vote. Like, how many
Yeah.
voters
Tali,
do you think have
can we-
all the information? Very few.
Well, and you're
Yeah, none of
deriving the
them.
substance
Yes.
from the vibes, whereas like you guys are using vibes as a stand-in of without
But-
substance, whereas
Guys,
there's
Talia has
significant
said that
substance
she knew the
to
information.
vibes.
Yeah, but
Talia
yeah.
said she knew. We are.
Talia
I'm not
understood
talking
the
about
vibes.
January
perspective.
6th. I'm not,
Okay,
dude.
well,
I
we
get
were.
that
I
you are
am,
obsessed
okay,
with the
no,
January 6th meme. What we're
Yes,
talking
I'm
about
so
a broader
obsessed. I love it.
conversation.
I love it
Listen.
so much. Talia, you knew the facts. Why was that not more important to you than anti-woke stuff?
It just wasn't. Again, I didn't feel that he would be in a position for this to happen again because this would be his second term. Where running for a third term is not an option, and so I felt like even if he
So
wanted
he's
to
going to
do that,
break
it
the
wasn't
law
something that
to
could
steal an
happen again.
election, but he wouldn't break the law to run for a third term? That's
He
crazy.
didn't think he could, because he
But
didn't
why
steal the
was-
election.
why was-
I thought again,
And
and I
so
thought the
he-
institutions would
Yeah.
hold and will hold.
Talia,
She's answered
if
this
someone,
5
Talia,
times.
if someone killed someone, got released from prison, and then ran for president, but you thought there was such a low chance they would ever be able to kill someone again, do you still think that person is a bad person?
What was the context of them killing someone? That
They straight up,
Cold-blooded murder.
They straight up, yeah, cold blood murder. They straight up walked up. They walked up
They
to
were
someone with a gun,
puppies,
shot him in the
and they
head.
murdered
There
those
was no,
puppies,
there
okay?
was. They just hated
Yes,
them. The
I
person
think-
didn't deserve it.
I do in
Yeah.
fact think that first degree murder is bad. Yes.
Okay,
Talia,
so why are you
were
not making
you-
a moral judgment on the person doing the action in the first place, even if there's not a chance of them doing it again? Even just granting you that. Why is there no moral judgment there for that person?
I have lots of moral judgments against Trump. I was never a Trump supporter. I held my nose in voting for him.
Cool,
this
that
time.
doesn't-
I
that
wasn't even
doesn't-
voting for Trump.
That doesn't answer the question of why that's
Hold on.
not
Actually,
sufficient for
Jonah,
to
can I
not
ask
vote
you a
for him.
question? Jonah, just
Go
really
for it.
quick. Can I
I'd
ask you
love
a
to.
question?
Yeah.
Say the Democrats, because they're stupid or whatever, they nominated a murderer, a first-degree
Yeah.
murderer that just got out of prison to run against J.D. Vance in 2028. Are you gonna? They agree with all your policies, right? They will implement every policy you want, but you know that they killed
You're-
20 different people, right? They
You're asking the
slaughtered
wrong
them.
person, Wake, because I am a super partisan, and I would obviously vote for that person because the policy platform is just always going to be better.
Okay.
Um,
So
however-
given that, why are you asking?
Talia's not a super
Tali-
partisan. Talia's not a super partisan though.
Okay.
She doesn't care about the actual like policy outcomes that come when someone is elected. Obviously, because if she cared super closely about policy outcomes, she wouldn't sway so incredibly far between two polar opposite parties within 4 years. So
Not
clearly, it's a
necessarily. Hold on.
vibes-based. No,
Again,
no,
that's not
clearly it's a
necessarily true.
vibes-based thing that is not actually based on policy outcomes.
That's not necessarily true. So if you
Hold on,
want one group of
Soy
people,
Pill, would you vote for the murderer?
I would vote for 1,000 murderers. I would vote for someone who
1,000
raped my
murderers.
family,
What do you
100%.
think? Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Based. Holy shit.
Okay, so anyway, that's not necessarily true. This is the thing: is like you bake in these absolutes. You can absolutely do a protest vote in order to sort of be a wake up call. In fact, doing that in a coalition could be extremely effective in moving a party toward better policy objectives. So it may not be that you're interested in the next 3 years of policy over everything else, but you could be focus on policy objectives that you think are going to be long shots that have to be worked toward. And the only way to work toward them is to snap your fingers in front of the face of the party and be like, hey, you're not fucking listening. So me and my coalition are going to do a protest vote to get you to turn the ship toward us.
Well, Jeb, to be clear, first of all, Wick, you brought up an example of, hey, if this guy was a murderer, and Jonah was using murder as a stand-in for overturning the election, not this person's a bad person. It's, hey, this person
Well, I
might
was just
well, hold on,
brought it
I
up,
know,
I
I
was
understand,
curious
but I'm
about
trying to
it.
just explain to you why these things are disanalogous, right? Because one of them is, hey, I'm going to subvert democracy so that your votes will never matter in the future because there's probably an indication that I'm going to keep doing this. So, Jeb, yeah, if you're a protest voting because you're like, well, maybe people will wake up and do XYZ policy prioritize because they'll realize that whatever platform we ran on isn't going to work, sure, but this being the policy of, hey, this person might never let a democratic election happen again because
Cool.
he's going
So
to try to
what
steal
was
it
her
every
response to
single
that?
time. And her
'Cause there was
response
a
was,
response to that.
well, he didn't get away with it the first time, which is a fucking stupid response.
And it likely would not. He wouldn't get away with it
Yeah.
another time.
Yeah, and that's very
the
dumb.
chances are
Demonstrated
far-
intent
why
to
is
want to do that.
why is that
Question.
dumb? Show any proof that she's wrong. You don't just get to say
Also-
that's dumb.
Because one of these candidates, Jeb, because one of these candidates is, hey, I'm going to probably try to do it again. In fact, I will never admit wrongdoing. And the other saying, hey, we
Sure.
shouldn't let him do it again.
What is the
And
evidence
you're
he'll be able to do it?
It doesn't matter
What
if
is
you're
the evidence he'll be able to do it?
Here's the answer.
hold
Here's
on,
the answer.
hold on.
Her answer
I have
was he
answer.
won't be able to, not that he
I
doesn't
wanna say
want to.
something that's unrelated to this conversation, so I'm going to say it because this is really cool. I got like 52,000 likes on my little tweet. It was really nice.
Oh,
And
Wick.
viral.
Congrats.
Crazy,
Congrats,
Wick.
Lick.
Thank
Which one
you.
was it? Was
Thanks
it
for
something
that.
disparaging women or
No,
something?
It's big
it
time.
was a tweet towards Ted Cruz who were saying now's not the time for finger
Oh,
pointing.
yes.
Know the rules. When it's a red state, now's not the time for finger pointing. And when it's a blue state, obviously we can criticize and finger point at any time we want. It was
That
just
was a banger.
calling out.
No, Jeb,
me-
the point
Let me answer.
is
I have
that,
to leave,
okay, go
actually,
ahead.
sorry,
Joe.
Let me answer this, and then I gotta go. So, there's a lot of reasons why demonstrated intent for authoritarian behavior can affect things that aren't just the next election. For example, doing mass layoffs at like bureaucrats, doing like mass executive orders far beyond what anyone thought would actually be legal, and then having your court picks uphold your executive orders. Demonstrated authoritarianism and strongman behavior by trying to overturn the last election, which is like one of the most authoritarian things you could possibly do, demonstrates that you're going to keep doing that to a much larger extent the next time you win, especially if you're not punished by the electorate by losing next election because of what you just did.
So let me just clarify my question. You're not answering. Hold on. You're not answering. Hold on. You're not answering. You're not answering. She did not ignore it. She came to the conclusion that there is no evidence that he would be successful even if he tried to do it again. I am asking, and you are refusing to answer because you don't have one.
Wait, hold on.
What is the evidence that he will successfully be able to?
What if Talia could answer?
That's not what Jonah said. Jonah
What if
said.
Talia could answer?
I just answered your question. You said if they can't overturn the election, what else could it be? Like what would the problem be? I'm saying
Not what
even
else.
if-
No, not what else.
no,
I'm not saying what
hey,
else.
hey,
You are
come
moving
fuck.
to what
Hey,
else.
No.
I'm
yes,
saying
that's the
you
point.
need
Yes,
evidence
exactly.
that
is the
thing will
point.
happen
Hey,
again.
Jeb, what I'm saying is that it's morally important to know all of the information about January 6th and still vote for Trump, even understanding, even fully accepting, giving her the entirety of the point that that could not happen again, because that demonstrates behavior of how the rest of the administration is going to go. And shocker, that's how it has gone. And so Talia should have had any clue at all of understanding of how the last administration went, January 6th, and then this one. She should have known that it would be an authoritarian like attempt at ruling the government.
All right,
Hey,
Phil, I'm gonna have to mute you if you're gonna keep
Jonah,
Morty posting.
This is to
Stop,
you.
dude.
$50 and no Tali. That doesn't mean I take my shirt off. They have to specifically request it, so this doesn't count for that. Sorry, Tali. The shirt stays on. You can pay $50 yourself if you want it off. JMac for $50 to say, so Jonah is just the atheist guy who uses a handpicked Bible verse that he doesn't believe in to dunk on Christians he's deemed wrong. Also, if he would honestly vote for the murderer, then he can be written off. Partisans can't be trusted. Thank you for the $50.
Not aware of the lore here.
I don't. Yeah, that was a very
I don't
incoherent
know.
point.
No, he's making
yeah.
a comparison. He's making a comparison, saying that you are challenging Talia's belief, even though you don't hold that belief, right? You don't. You're a policy person. You don't
This
believe
person
in
missed the
voting
point.
based on morality.
Well,
and
hold on,
things
hold on.
like
Just to
that.
clarify.
person
Wait,
missed
wait.
the
To
entire
clarify,
point.
Jonah.
Comparing
Let me
you to
clarify
someone who's
for
not
you.
Christian, who's
Jonah.
using a Bible verse to dunk on Christians.
Jonah, would you
wanna know
vote for
what
Joe Biden if he
Polly's
did what
answer
Trump
is.
did in 2020?
No.
Okay, there. That's the
Okay.
answer. Obviously, he's holding himself to the same standard.
Sorry, I didn't hear him say that because he said he would vote for a murderer.
He
So
just
you
said
would
it
vote
murderer.
just now, actually.
Yes.
Okay, so
Sorry.
so your
As
line,
as was explained, a murder
your
and trying
line
to
is
overturn an election,
authoritarianism.
trying to destroy the entire government is worse than killing 1 or even 1,000 people. I would say. Yeah.
I
1,000 people. Okay.
Anything else? Any other confusion?
What if
here
they
about
what if
why
they
these are
graced
different things?
1,000 people?
why does
I have more faith in our institutions.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
I
you
think,
shouldn't have.
Well, yeah, you
shouldn't have.
shouldn't.
'Cause
Yeah,
you wouldn't
I
vote
vote-
for him
Again,
again.
So here's
Okay,
the
I want to
thing.
hear. I want to
here's
hear.
the-
I
You
can't believe
were
I'm
just
saying
dumb.
this. I
Like, you
can't
were
believe
just
I'm saying
being
this,
dumb.
but I want to hear what Lev has to say. Go ahead.
You can't believe you're saying. I love that you have to preface everything you say about
I
me.
don't
I
have
can't believe
to.
we're 2
I
years
choose
after
to.
the Destiny drama and you still have to do that.
I don't have to. I choose to. But go ahead.
Sure. I just think that there are. I mean, I personally, that was like not the reason I cared about whatsoever. I think honestly, as a vibes-based voter, like most people, even though that's disparaging, even like like how most people vote in the world, based off of vibes. I think that if I was a liberal and I really felt strongly about something, I would want obviously an institution in place to protect democracy, but if I really, really believed that the other party was ruining the US, why would I not try to overthrow, like why would I not try to get control over the government if I thought that that was going
there
to
are
be
ways to
extremely
put yourself
dangerous?
in the shoes of the idiots who did January 6th and say, oh, well, it makes sense why they did that. Thank you. That was a very good point. And thank you for admitting
Well,
that
no,
you have
that's
no
not- that's
principles.
not-
You're a vibes-based voter, and that's stupid, and we shouldn't take your advice. I appreciate it.
You are
Thank
also
you.
a vibes-based
gotta go.
voter.
No, I
Like,
promise I'm not actually. I actually have
why
fucking
don't I-
policies that I care about. There
Why
are people in my friends and family that are being materially affected by the Trump administration
what
right
do you
now.
think
And it
vibes
fucking
are?
that's not vibes. That's my friends
That
and
is
family
a
are
vibe.
getting
And what does vibes
fired.
even mean
That's
to you? What does
monetary
vibes mean to
damage.
you?
That's people
People-
getting evicted from their houses. That's my friend's family being fucking
Yes,
deported.
so
That's
vibes
not
are not
fucking
a
my
vibes.
substance.
Yeah, my vibes are just like, I don't know, that's how I'm feeling today.
So you have
Like,
policy positions? Because that's not vibes, idiot.
Yeah, I obviously have positions based off of.
Then
also
you're
my
not a
personal
vibes-based voter,
experiences.
Lav. Then why did you say that?
This is the
You-
thing, is you're not listening to what anyone says to you. I've told you, your guys' problem is you are using vibes as a stand-in for no other substance when vibes have inherent substance.
Why don't
they
you have
come
your
from
camera on,
personal
Jeb
experience. I am not currently decent.
Explain
right now.
vibes to me,
Don't.
Jeb.
Want me-
Jeb, you're
$5
an
from
attractive
Adam.
man,
Hold on, let
and
me
I
make more
promise you're
money.
decent.
No,
$5
like
from
I'm
Adam
in my
Cadbot.
I'm in my underwear, not decent.
Yeah,
is what I
$5 from
mean.
Adam Cadbot to say maybe you shouldn't subvert democracy in your own primary twice, and people might listen to you when you point the
Well,
finger.
okay.
Twice,
this is it.
interesting.
But again, that's the
20
meme.
$20 from Megalag to say the issue here is that Jonah and Soy like to hear themselves speak, but in reality are massive jerks.
So
You can be
true.
correct, but lose a debate by having a negative personality. They should, I don't know, grow up. And then $20 more from JMac, thank you, base JMac, to say, why would anyone let themselves be criticized for being morally abhorrent by someone like this guy? Absolute clown. Love this content, Wick. Well, I love your money, so thank you.
Yeah, no, I mean, this
Yeah,
is something that
Jeb,
I
can you
wanted to
explain
say
vibes
while
to
he
me, yeah?
was. Yeah, I will, and I did. Again, this is probably where like you shouldn't come in so vehemently against Talia when we literally went all over all of this in the exact conversation you were complaining about that you didn't listen to.
Mhm.
But first thing, I wanted to say this while Jonah was here because I don't want it to sound like I was talking shit on him. But
He'll
did
see this. I'll
like
talk to him.
the same way that like Soy jumped in and was the exact thing you guys were all worried about and talking about before he came in. Jonah did that right after I told Jonah. I said, you are talking at this person, going through your spiel, and you're not listening to the human being that is speaking back to you. And then he immediately just did that, where he was like, why
Well,
do
to be
you
clear,
not care
you
about January
misinterpret
6th?
his points.
No, I didn't. He
you did
moved
because
off of his
no,
point.
he said
Let me,
he
bro, I
said
was
that
about
these
to
are
explain.
indicators of
I'm
other
just gonna
things, and
go.
you didn't regard it. So
Because he wasn't listening. He didn't ask her, don't you think that was an indicator of other things?
Because he
asked her,
knows
"Why
that
didn't-"
she doesn't think that.
Stop! He asked her, why didn't you care about January 6th? And she said, I did care about January 6th. I just think the guardrails will hold. And then he went on a spiel about, well, yeah, that's stupid because you didn't think of this and this and this, about like what it could mean for other things. And she's like, he didn't even give her a chance to ask her how she felt about those things and how she prioritized
because he
those
already
things. He didn't give a
knows,
fuck.
because he already knows based on her answer to that, and now it's not time to explore why she was stupid. It's just, oh, I understand why you're stupid now, and there's no extra question that's needed.
You guys keep getting people wrong and wondering
what did
why
we get wrong?
Stop the
what did we get wrong,
halfway
Jeb?
through.
What did we get wrong,
I
Jeb?
don't think Talia believes that there was no sign that Trump would do anything crazy in his presidential term. She just didn't think it would rise to the level of overthrowing the government because
What
the
did
guardrails
Jonah
would
say
hold.
that contradicted that? Because he said, clearly you don't think that the authoritarian press that Trump is going to do in the second term is not as important as woke shit or whatever the fuck she voted for Trump
That's
on.
what I just said.
Right.
She does not believe that.
So she
not
doesn't
believe that.
understand the very clear indications of authoritarian power grabs, which is stupid. And we don't have to ask any more questions.
You just said the opposite of what she's
So,
told
yeah,
you she
writing
believes.
people off. Writing people off is part of the problem. And again, you don't have to like that. You don't have to listen to it. You might not be interested in winning any of these people back. Or
You have
having them as
nothing
part of
else
your
to offer me.
coalition.
There's
Ignore
nothing
it.
about what you're saying is going to explain, oh, I
Type
get
of
why you're being stupid.
condescension and holier than thou. This is the turnoff. Again, you don't have to like it, but you are showing.
I
people what people
understand
already
on debate
perceive
panels
to
that
be
some people
wrong
might see
with
this
the
and be
left.
like, oh, that guy's being
No, it's
smug
not
and
about
mean and
debate
condescending,
panels.
and
This
I'm
is
not going to
about
vote for the
people's
liberal
everyday
polls.
life.
But this is not
Only
what I do in
happens
everyday
in
life.
Las
I have
Vegas.
Republican friends and family, and I reach out to them very empathetically. But when I'm on a debate panel where someone's talking with thousands of people about their stupid fucking reasons for voting, I'm going to call you stupid. Whatever this is.
I wish it was
don't know.
thousands of people. It's not.
Yeah, that's
unfortunately.
great
I
that
know,
you're
right?
really nice to the Republicans in California whose presidential
No,
votes
they're in,
will never matter.
they're in
but when
Pennsylvania,
you're-
which is a very important swing state, Jeb, actually.
Sure, but when you're on the platform where the most people will see you, you do the worst job of advocating for your beliefs. That sounds
Actually,
really
the most people
effective
see
and
me when I
really well
record it
thought
and
out.
do it on my YouTube channel, where then hundreds of thousands of people see it. Sorry, no offense.
And your attitude is this. Your attitude is similar.
No, it's
Okay,
actually
I
not even close. You
understand.
can go watch it yourself.
It's this, but the
know.
issue is this overall vibe, right? To explain vibes.
Sounds like you're not
Vibes are
listening to my
always
vibes,
derived-
Jeb.
I am.
No, because you
I'm
think this is how I
listening to your
am when I'm
vibes.
talking to people and have a bigger audience, actually, which is not
I
true.
I do wish that thousands of people would watch me. I think if thousands of people
They watched your
would
tweet.
Thousands of people will
you
watch
would-
you on me, which means that I am to some degree
Whoa,
being
are
harmful.
those people?
My audience is all gay, so depending on how you feel about them.
Fair enough. I
But
mean,
yeah, no.
fair
To
enough.
explain the
audience is
vibes.
It's pretty
stupid, so, yeah.
irresponsible of you to platform me like that, Soypill.
Well, the
And
point
me,
is,
and worse,
I'm
me.
platforming and I'm calling you fucking
true.
retarded because that's what needs to happen for these kind of conversations. So
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
it's
that is
super effective.
both helpful, productive, and
no, this is
accurate.
my
Yeah,
cathartic
that's the
therapy because
problem.
I had a very
That's the
stressful
problem,
day
too, is,
actually.
like, I'm not Einstein by any stretch of the imagination.
Mhm.
But even to pretend that I'm like literally retarded and completely low information, like I don't have the same priorities and values that everyone on this panel has. But I'm literally not stupid and I'm literally not uninformed. You might think that makes it even worse. Oh, okay, she's evil and calculated and doesn't care.
No,
But
no,
this,
no, no,
like,
no. I
this
don't think you're
hope
evil
of,
and
well,
calculated.
you're
I
just
think you're
dumb and
uninformed
shouldn't
and
listen
bad
to.
at priorities and stupid. That's to be clear. That's
But
why
you've
I don't
done
think
none
you're
of
a
the
bad
work
person.
to get. But you've done none of the work to
Because
get.
the work doesn't what? Wait, to get her to be less that?
No,
you're
no.
saying?
To
This
get
is
to that
what turns me off
conclusion,
from the
you came-
Democratic Party.
Oh,
Like, this
sorry.
is the
Well,
thing, is
Lad,
not
you
only-
saying that turns me off from the right wing, and I'm gonna vote left. now.
You're not willing to.
You're
You're
not-
not willing to do the work to
Fine.
empathize. But you're also not willing to do the
No,
work to
the problem is,
justify
Jeb,
why
that
you won't
I do it
empathize.
99% of the time is I do empathize with these people, no matter how stupid, because I have
These
the patience.
people?
Yes,
You guys
these
hear
people.
that?
Yeah,
most
I'm
of the
talking
time
about
I've
Jews
seen you is-
specifically, Lav.
That's not the case.
That's
Yeah.
because you're on these debate panels, which is not what I do for a living. I fucking make YouTube videos where I go out and talk to people and empathize with them. But when I'm
This
talking to
is the
people with a
problem.
platform,
Men don't do blue collar work anymore. This
I
is the
go out
problem.
and work with my
It's
hands
totally
like a real man.
stupid.
Yeah.
Hold on one second. I wanted to hear.
Hit the field, soy pilled. Put some hair on your chest.
no, I shaved my
Jeb,
chest.
what were you gonna say about vibes? Where were you going with that?
Yeah, no, vibes are always derived from substance. They're derived from personal like experience. They're derived from the experiences of those around you. Vibes are usually a way to sort of put action to things that are hard to put words to, right? So you can't put everything on a poll, you can't put everything on a bill, but there are a lot of things, there's a lot of a communal experience, and that's some of the most important, especially when you're in an election that's like 90% state and local. There's a lot that you can't put words to, that you can't put on a bill, and vibes help you sort of derive your political principle on those things that you can't totally put words to. The woke stuff is really easy to write off because it either looks really silly on a bill or you can't really put it on a bill. And yet you're actually interacting with that culture war shit far more than you're interacting directly with any of the stuff that you can put on a bill.
Okay.
Most of your life happens interpersonally. And
Hard
when
to-
your
Well,
in-group
well,
wants
well,
to
hold on.
yeet you for whatever predilections you have, that's going to affect you more than if something gets put on a bill federally.
Can I just say one thing real quick, just as a housekeeping thing, gang? We are almost at $1,000 chat revenue, and I would love to get $1,000 in
Wow.
single stream again. I've done
Okay.
that.
Stardust
once
is back.
before, right? I would like to. Yeah, Stardust, welcome back.
Hi, Stardust.
But
Welcome
I
back.
just
I
if you
wanted to
if you
finish
have
my
ever wanted
thing,
to
but-
hold on, just let me finish. If you have ever wanted to donate to Wick TV, if you think this is good content, if you want to reward me, you want more of this to happen, give me money, right?
Do you
Let's
have to
make
read
it the
them?
Let's make it the biggest, most lucrative Wick stream ever. And to do that, I need about 300 more bucks. Okay, that's
Okay.
it.
And
So-
if
and-
you
and-
want
and-
So I
Wick to
could
reward
donate
me, if you want
anything.
Wick to reward me for being a retard, send that money, and that'll really piss off the
That will
Soaphill.
trigger me.
It's
If
tolerant.
you
That'll trigger.
donate to support Talia's opinions, I will get triggered. That's true.
If I
Jeb.
donate, you have to read the comment, right, Wick? Like out loud?
No,
Yeah.
I
No, you should.
reserve
So-
the right
Always
to
do it.
not.
Yeah.
Wait, Jeb, so
So-
real quick,
so-
the
so-
difference,
Yeah.
we understand completely what you're saying about vibes. No one's saying vibes are nothing. The difference is, let's say someone votes to cut people off of EBT, which is a thing, a policy that is happening now. Now, a vibe might be, hey, my life is harder because I can't use my food stamps anymore. But the policy is, I'm going to cut food stamps. So when you say, well, I'm voting on, I think too many poor people have food stamps, and that's just because you go to the store and you see
That's
them
not-
use it, that's a stupid fucking reason to vote.
That's not
and
the reason why that would be a very stupid reason to vote, but you're also not understanding that
people
that's
vote
not
that.
the
People
Republican.
absolutely vote for reasons like that.
That's-
Literally, they'll
that's-
say,
no,
"I don't like that
it
poor people have
doesn't
food
look like
stamps."
that.
It literally is
No,
that. I've literally
it's
talked to
way
people
more
who say
nuanced
this
like
stuff.
that. How could?
I'm sorry, excuse me. I've read a
There's no
poll.
way.
Well, no, I've
That's not
talked
the
to a bunch
vast
of people,
majority
whichever
of
one you'll believe.
Republicans.
I know
you're,
it's
you're
not right now.
creating
It's
a
not.
straw man of.
I'm trying
any,
to explain the difference
every
between
good-
vibes and
every
policy.
Good opinion, every good opinion that I have is based on fact, and every bad opinion I'm straw manning and also like is just vibes.
I'm
like,
literally.
it's
This
so
is
stupid.
first of all,
it's
a real
I actually
opinion.
can't even believe I'm talking to an adult man right
So
now.
this is
Like,
a real
that's how
opinion.
ridiculous
So
it
this is a real opinion, but it's not a majority of the Republican Party right now. I'm saying that the difference between voting based on the policy of my family's been kicked off food stamps and voting based on the policy of I want free shit, but I don't know what policy is going to do that are completely different things. Yes, I acknowledge that vibes aren't just like some ethereal thing that we can't grasp. Obviously, they're derived from real life experience. I'm saying they're fucking stupid.
Yeah, but that's
Great.
again, if their vibes are informed by the fabric of their community becoming just ultimately combative all the time, and one side moving so hard away that they're trying to get people fired, that they know, right? Get people fired for their political views, get people root out and find them under the floorboards about conservatives. Like, that is a reasonable vibe to push against and simply say, listen, you're right. I can't put the thing I hate about you the most on a bill. And so it's not going to totally make sense why I'm voting for bill writers based on that vibe.
Mhm.
But and I used this
Chad,
metaphor before.
You're
where
using this
like
to explain to me
when-
why people vote because of anti-woke policy. I totally understand why they do. I'm just saying it's dumb because there's no way that voting for that is going to change your life materially. And in fact, well, as we've seen, as they're now
Why
going
vote
to
ever?
cut.
It's what they do. It's what they do. Like
I
like,
know.
yeah,
I'm not
yes,
saying
I
they
agree.
don't. Jesus fucking Christ,
So,
guys. I understand
given that-
vibe-based
but you-
voting. I
given
know
that
that's
you
most
agree-
people.
Hold on, but Soypill, given that you agree, okay,
Yes.
we've established it's dumb. Everyone
Yes,
agrees it's
lots
dumb.
of people
Cool, we're
become
good,
vibe-based
we're good.
posts. Yes.
We need to act as reality is rather than what we want it to be.
I'm
So
not
given
saying that we
that
don't
is
need
true-
better vibes.
Why is it so one-sided though?
What do you mean
Why
one-sided?
do Dems have to act as reality is?
I think
Republicans
Only
do
if they want to
too.
win more voters.
Yeah, they wanna win more
Republicans are
Republicans should The Republicans should do that also if they want to win more centrist
Why?
voters
They don't
or
need to. They clearly just
right.
won.
Bro, I would not speak so soon. It looks like we're about to get our shit pounded because of all of the lies that are coming to roost. Exactly like Sansol said when he was
Literally
on. Like,
anybody
it's a
can
problem.
identify as a centrist votes for Trump anyways. That's why it's such a meme when people say they're a centrist or an independent. It's because they're a fucking conservative or a
because-
MAGA supporter in
Thank you,
disguise.
Benga
because
the
when
Dog.
someone says
about
they're
You're
a
to the left of me. I
centrist,
respect you on the
they're
trenches doing the Lord's work. I like your
Democrat
approach.
because
I
they
appreciate
don't
you. Thank
I'll
you.
give you one specific example. Tracing Woodgrains. He is a avowed centrist. He's a furry ex-Mormon gay dude who is heterodox.
Is he in this Discord?
Look how niche you have to go to identify somebody that agrees
He's
with
not
you, though.
niche. He's got thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of followers.
Look
right?
how
Like, he's
Democrats
much
treat
bigger than me.
centrists. They say if there's even a conversation between the two for you, you're fucking disgusting and retarded. It's like that's
No,
why,
it's not about
dude.
the conversation. It's about a conversation that's happening about democratic political strategy
Yeah,
that's being
and taking
spearheaded
them
by like the
seriously.
most
I call myself a
weak-willed
Republican
by the,
because of how
by the
people
most
react to me calling
weak-willed
myself a
cucked
centrist.
Democrats on this entire panel, and then someone who
You're
says they're a
literally
former
calling
Democrat.
people who are kind of centrist, weak-willed, and cucked. Why do you think the centrists
Yes, I
vote for the
am,
other
because
side,
on here,
retard?
Short Fat
What do
Otaku
you
says that
mean?
the Democrats are 2/3 responsible for why MAGA is where it is now. Stardust
Yes.
says that Democrats are also the reason for MAGA's uprising. Wick says we need to be nice to the people who are never nice to
that's
anybody
not
else.
what I said at all.
That is what you said.
Excuse me.
Go to the beginning of the VOD. You can
stand
watch the whole
by
entire
that,
thing.
though.
This is exactly what you said.
I specifically talked about what movements literally led to the rise of MAGA. We talked about anti-establishment. We talked about anti-intellectualism. We talked about anti-science. We
You can
talked
talk about whatever you want, but ultimately you said that the
isolationism.
Democrats are responsible for the rise of
No,
MAGA.
I fucking didn't. You
Yeah, you
fucking
forget.
idiot.
Okay,
You
okay.
fucking
Listen,
retard.
dipshit. Listen, dipshit.
Listen.
I'll give.
Oh. Thank you, Ethan, for the more $5. Here's another $5 to keep you mentally strong. You're surrounded by intelligence and emotional leeches. Stay based, pony boy. I appreciate it. All right, back into it. This is... Maybe I'll do a little more.
I mean, that's some bullshit.
Okay, someone else.
Do you
talking.
think?
Let
Do
him
you
talk.
think it would be? Don't do that. Do you think it would be silly? It's silly when historians say that in large part Hitler's rise was due to the way the Allies behaved towards the Germans after World War I. Do you think that's a silly thing to say?
I didn't even say in large part.
Because
It's vibe based for one.
It's
How do you really know
historian
that? Is there a poll?
Exactly. It's historian consensus, but it seems kind of vibes-based, and how could you blame the good guys in World War II for the bad guys in World War II? But most historians concede that if the Allies weren't so aggressive in their deals with Germany after World War I and not letting them have a standing military and
That's
treating them
not
essentially like a
vibes,
bad boy
Jeb.
state...
That's the Treaty of Versailles and the World War I, like post-World War I policies that you can directly point to causing economic impact.
Every
That's not
vibe
vibes.
you can... No, every vibe you can point to something like that.
Then
though.
it's not. Then
Tully's
you're
not
using
just
the
talking
word
about vibes.
wrong. Then
Tully's
you're
talking
using
about
the
people-
word wrong, Jeb,
Hold on.
because that's not what
No,
vibes means. If
bro,
vibes means
Tully's
everything that's
vibes-
downstream of a policy,
Okay,
then
I'll
it's a
wait.
useless fucking term, and stop
No,
using it.
vibes
This is
are
bad
what
or old guy.
happens...
You're a fucking cocksucker. You're a cocksucker. You know that?
So Stardust, why'd you come back? Is it just to get into fight with this guy?
No, I wouldn't even come back to come into get into a fight with him, but now I am fighting with him. You're a cocksucker. You want to acknowledge that you're a cocksucker?
What did he?
You
what
suck
did he
cock
do?
all day.
What's wrong with sucking cock?
Yes, based. Yes.
Okay, all right. You're a cocksucker,
Okay.
massive cocksucker.
So in the same
This
material ways...
This is the hold on. This is the policy-based discussion we need.
Yeah. in the same
It's not
ways...
big cocks
Okay,
either. It's just like disheveled, like STD-ridden cocks. Okay, so
Okay.
My favorite.
Shout out Destiny. Sorry.
I'm not.
Oh no.
I'm
We
not
are
commenting
not.
on that.
We are
use
not.
the word
We are
gold
not
digger.
doing that
I
today.
like
That's
to use
the
that's
word
not
digger
what we're
instead
here
of
to talk about
dicks.
whatsoever, right?
Jesus Christ.
I do want to kind of like this idea again. Simply looking at a situation that has happened and saying, why did this situation happen? In part because of X, in part because of Y, in part because of Z, in part because
Thank you,
of
Alley
A,
Cat.
because of
Nice to
B,
see you.
Whatever.
Not the yelling
right?
come from the other
Does
people.
not
I was yelling a
mean that
lot
there is some
earlier.
moral
So
loading going on necessarily. Personally, my take is yes. I think that there are far too many on the left who would rather get their rocks off being mean and getting revenge and engaging in this kind of grievance politics because they do not like MAGA for what I would consider very good reason, right? And they prioritize that over actually winning the election, and I think that's selfish, and I think that's going to bite us in the ass. Now again, how it's going down now, I I don't know. Like MAGA is just so off the reservation that I think that they're just going to lose just straight out. They're going to get, as Jeb Tan, their ass.
If you say, well, then why do we need to be nice? Why not just not be nice?
Because in 2026 isn't the only election that's going to happen, right? And we're going to have more elections going forward.
So
and
can we be mean for like 2 years? Can we just have that?
Hold on, my advocacy, and I'm going to lay out really clear here, is that if you treat others with respect and dignity and kindness, consistently you will win more elections than if you engage in other types of behavior.
What?
Well, and
when,
MAGA
when,
losing.
when have we ever gotten that?
What do you mean? When John McCain was on stage telling his own supporters not to call Obama an immigrant, not to spread conspiracy theories about him, and then Obama repaid the GOP.
Wait, how long?
You should have picked a better example, Jeb. Because you know what he said? No, Jeb, do you know what he said in that example, Jeb?
The very next election by letting his vice president nominee say that Mitt Romney wanted to put black people back in chains.
How long ago was that?
Wait, hold on. Wait. I need to
We're
respond to
talking about
Jeb's
the lead
example.
up to MAGA.
I need to respond to Jeb's example because
that is the lead up to MAGA.
hold on,
the most recent lead up to MAGA.
Jeb, your example of McCain being kind was him saying, someone says Obama's a Muslim, and he says, actually, no, he's a good person, implying what about Muslims, right?
It wasn't that he was a Muslim. It was that he wasn't
people.
from the United States. He said
Which
he
is
is from
true.
the United States, aka he's not lying to you. He's a good person who I disagree
I know he was
with.
trying to be nice, but he was also being incredibly. This is the like bomb Iran guy. Like this guy was like using that also as a pivot to like be mean to brown people. Just to be clear.
So
No, he
based,
wasn't. Bro, no one can watch that video with a brain and fucking derive that from that clip.
Not the worst part
I
of
would
it.
love for you to run that clip.
Run it.
And because this is going to show how bad faith soy pill is when it comes to
No.
Republicans.
I will watch
Someone-
it. No, John
I think
McCain.
McCain was pretty reasonable.
I think he was reasonable, except for the fact that his response was, because I think this is still like, as backhanded as a 2008, nice thing to say of Obama is no, he's not a Muslim, he's a good person, is what he said, or something along those lines. Like, no,
it
he's not
wasn't
an
about him
Arab.
being Muslim. It was about them saying he was lying about
No,
where
I
he
know.
was born.
I know.
And he was saying he's not lying to you.
I will.
He just
I know. I'm
disagrees
just
with
saying
you.
it's like 90% good, 10% like, all right, John McCain, just to be clear. But also, that's not a good example of like.
But he is right. Muslims
and
are
also
bad people.
And also, John McCain didn't win that election. So
That's not nice.
It's also just really funny that you're pointing to a pre-MAGA
that's-
era of politics. Whenever the person who insulted
super
John
good.
McCain
We are
and called him a
discussing the
loser
rise
for
of
being
MAGA.
captured,
That's the topic.
or
Yeah.
yes, but I was saying, when do we ever get rewarded for being nice to these people?
Okay, we don't.
What
get
do
That
you-
was my question to you, and then
when
he
do we
brings
get
up the John
rewarded
McCain
for
example.
being mean?
Here's-
what we
Oh,
won in
yes,
2020
you
with.
You win
Were we
elections,
mean?
dog. What do you mean? When do you win?
I'm
What?
again. I'm
Yeah,
sorry
wait,
to take
and-
this convo.
All right, I gotta mute her. Sorry. MP Rejects, love your content. Please mute my last super chat. Thank you for the $2. I don't see it. Can you just type it? I will read it regardless. Don't send me more money. Danimal the Bruce, $20. Thank you. Acting as reality is would be absolutely mercilessly mocking and making public punching bags of these people, just like the right did with the woke. Yep, I 100% agree with that. And Anonymous Toast, thank you for the $10. We just bashed Lav saying all Muslims are bad people because it's just not worth engaging. She's just rage farming. She sucks. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But yeah, type it again, Mr. NPR Rejects. Sorry.
Partly, but I didn't say
You
it was
said
like
they were.
majority or anything.
Also,
I
she'd
didn't
be
say you
right.
said it
if
was
she-
majority.
My
I was
main
quoting
thing-
you.
She'd be right
main
if she
thing-
said that anyway. I mean, you still haven't refuted the main point
partly-
that it is
He was
often
more
the case.
tentative than Dev. Dev said
Yeah.
2/3, and she was more
Yeah.
tentative than
Yeah.
Dev.
I said
mean,
2/3,
there's
and I
no,
stand
by
there's no
2/3.
need to misrepresent
Yeah.
her. Yeah.
Yeah,
My
It is
point in
often
bringing
the
this up
case.
was
It's
because I was
just
pointing to
honestly-
how
also,
weak-willed
it's just very
Democrats are.
I wonder
it's
why
just-
she said that.
But
Hold
here's
on. I
an
wonder
issue.
why
You're
she said
fucking
that. It's
lying
almost
then
like
about
the
the amount of the heaviness I put on the Dems for it. I said, yes, the Dems in some ways can be responsible, but I said a huge
Mark,
part of it is these
He invited
movements.
you onto a curated panel where that was the fucking topic. That was literally the
Yeah,
topic
it was
of
the
discussion.
topic, and
Your
I
answer
have.
I'm
had
very
to be
frustrated,
weird
Connor,
talking
but thank
way
you.
Can I
worse
just
than
say?
100
Can I just say real quick
like so
that I
stupid.
do find it funny in an ironic sort of way that Talia and Stardust both are getting way more crap for this panel than I am, who I literally put it together. Like I'm the one who decided
they're the
topic,
ones that
I'm
are
about
choosing to
guess.
respond to it.
I mean, I got all
specifically said
the
everybody on the
If
panel.
you're gonna come at someone,
Yeah, we're
Well, I mean,
engaging in which
yeah, and
ones. I have said that
I'm a
the Dems
feminist,
in
so I
this-
will let you go off on Stardust and Talia all you want. This is fun.
Yeah, and I
Sure,
said
yeah,
all four
I
of you. I didn't
Okay,
just say
so
them; they were responding to me. I said all four of you, to be clear.
Well, I
Okay,
did
so-
respond to you.
so
I
you're
just said
kind
get
of-
them right.
you're kind of
Yeah,
misconstruing
Zero. He plays the
my
Gooner faction.
entire thing, right? Because yes, while I said that the Dems are like that are responsible in their own small way, like I don't think they're fully responsible for the rise of MAGA. Absolutely not. No, I think they're only a small part of it. I think a much larger part of it are those movements of anti-establishment like thinking and this whole like this collective like amnesia that we have as American people. I feel like I made those my points several times throughout this thing. So
Thank you, Anonymous Host, for the $10. You shouldn't need to engage with 90% of this. It's funny that people who are moralizing the meanness of Dems just let her assert that all Muslims are bad. Keep on. Yeah, actually, I think I will point that out. That's a good point.
this now until we come to an understanding.
Yeah, you can come to the understanding of exactly what I said when I was exactly quoting you,
That-
and then we can be done there.
Exactly.
The reason
quoting me. Saying that I'm like that they're fully
Dog.
responsible. Okay.
No, did I say that?
You said the reason.
You're saying-
Yeah.
Can I ask
Yeah.
Wick, can I
Did
ask
I
you a
say they were
question?
fully
real?
responsible?
The reason
Hold on, I
usually
wanna hear-
implies
hold on,
Which is
hold on.
exactly what you
Hold on,
had. I'm
hold on,
quoting you.
Hold on.
I didn't
hold
say
on.
the reason.
Hold on.
I didn't say
Someone-
the
no,
reason.
Hold on. We can all
Yeah,
someone
go
needs to
on.
do is find her
I'm
opening
sorry.
statement.
I'm
quote,
not
and we
going
first say.
to.
That's all we
I'm
can
not
do.
so
going
petty.
to like. I'm sorry. I'm not going to let people just like misconstrue my
That's fine.
intentions here. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that I have the right to address it when I think somebody's wrong. And I think construing it as the reason in whole, that implies that that you're saying that I said that the Dems are the reason for the rise of MAGA, then when that's not what I said.
$100 from $100 from Alexander Rin to
This
say.
guy.
Yeah, thank you. Soy Pill has opined on so many things that he never bothered watching and spent the entire conversation saying things that are untrue while dismissing anyone with a contrary opinion. Honestly, I don't think he's capable of actually listening to women.
It's true.
He's sexist.
I do hate women, but it's not because of this conversation. It's because of many past conversations. I have a question, Wick. So like through this whole conversation, it's the left is being too mean. We have to have better vibes. This is why we're going to lose elections or past 2026. Lav is over here saying all Muslims are bad. No one really pushed back on that whatsoever. No one really seems to care.
I wanted
Is
to.
that ever
I
going to
wanted
do
to,
anything? Is that going to lose them election?
to, but
Is the
everybody-
Islamophobia for
everybody
8
else was
years going to do
talking,
something? Well,
so,
the point is
yeah.
that like this is what we're up against. Is these fucking moron bigot and like just fucking retards, right? And it's like, oh well,
It's not
if
saying
you're
why-
not
why
completely
Lav
perfect,
is the GOP.
That's
if we're not
first of all-
completely
first of all,
perfect, if you're not
First of all,
completely
that's not
perfect,
bigotry,
yelling
if
at me.
you're not completely perfect, then
You
you're gonna lose all the elections
are
and turn all these people
vibes-based.
away.
You're
But
vibes-based.
Lav
You think
and
that
all these
Muslims are good
Republicans,
just based on vibes.
I don't
have
think
stats.
Muslims are good. I have.
I know.
I know many
statistics on what they do to
Muslims,
women.
and I know
I have
I like
statistics
some
on
of
what they
them,
do
and
to
I don't like
women.
some of them. And you hate all Muslims because you're fucking retarded and don't understand how to have
come
interpersonal
from a
connections with
Muslim
single
family.
people.
No, I think Islam is very evil.
Do you think
Muslims in
Star is
America are
evil?
very
She's from a
violent
Muslim
every day.
family. Star's one of the
No,
good
I think
ones, right?
I think Islam is evil. Yeah, I think it's evil.
Okay, well,
I
I
think
hate
there are
religion
dollars
too,
for
but I'm
another-
not going
Hold
to
on, I
defend
gotta
every
make
Muslim
money.
like some
Hold
white
on, I
knight.
gotta make some money, so I'm gonna make a little money, and then we'll give it
I'll
back
be
to you
right back, I'll be
guys.
back.
$10 from Audacity to say the idiots who did January 6th are back in the White House. LMAO, get wrecked. 19-month membership from Firechild. Oh, I'm
Wow.
here too. Thank you for the 19-month membership. Saying people are feel angry and afraid, and they will vote to see that reflected in their elected officials' words and actions. That is precisely why Trump won. $10 to say nothing from Bubs, which I love when they just give me money and say
I hate
nothing.
that. I feel like I'm
I-
cheating them, don't you?
Yeah, I love it. $5 from Landon Stewart to say conservative vibes before. Facts don't care about your feelings. Gays, blacks, trans, conservatives now. My feelings don't care about your facts. $10 from Audacity. Soy Pill's
True.
mindset is how you end up with only white landowners of good standing can vote in the Constitution. $10 from Malik.
Hell
to say
yeah.
vibes-based voting can absolutely impact your life. Most Trump voters are vibes voters. $5 from Puddle Sucker to say, can we ask Stardust how she managed to give Aiden underground ringworm at VidCon? I don't know anything about that. I don't know. $5 from Landon Stewart. Dems are 100. Let me up there. Just two more and then we're done.
Star, you had
$5 from
ringworm?
Landon
We were in
Stewart to say
proximity.
Dems are 100%
I don't.
responsible, but the cons are responsible for
don't.
how woke
That is
got to
very
where
funny.
it got. It's always been a cycle. Only gays, probably more just. $5 from Jake and Bake to say this whole debate is asinine. Joe Biden won by saying, "Will you shut up, man?" Do you think that's why he won?
That
And there we go.
honestly probably moved the needle more than you would think. In fact, I think you can literally trace it to that debate.
Yeah, I just want to ask this person, like, do you acknowledge by saying the like I said it's the reason that you were implying that I'm saying it's the sole reason?
Like you say,
Yeah, I
the
don't want to have
reason.
this
It sounds
conversation.
like
This is a fucking retarded, like, subversion of the actual conversation.
I don't care if it's a subversion of the actual conversation.
It's
I think
ironic
you're
how you can
lying
hijack
about-
the entire panel
you're-
to talk
you're-
about this dumb petty shit, but you can't speak up about
Hold
the
on.
Muslim
You were
attack
petty-
or whatever that
you
Lav was talking
were-
about.
you-
That you said you supposedly
Wait,
wanted to talk
wait,
about.
wait.
It's kind of
First
ironic.
off,
Wait,
everybody
wait,
else
please,
was talking.
Stardust.
Speak up.
First off,
Use your platform.
Everybody else was talking. Everybody else was talking, so it's not like I could have gotten in to say I did want to push back on
So you
that.
can
but
talk over everybody else
was
now, so you
talking.
can hijack the entire
Yes, I
panel
can,
to make
because
sure I'm
first off-
clarifying something that
First
you.
off, I'm sorry, I'm not going to stand when people are disrespectful of me. So yeah,
Oh my
I am
God.
going
It's
to
like
say
saying I hate
something.
all Muslims. You should. Now's your chance. Here's your platform.
Yes,
Speak
I
up.
didn't say I
That's
hate
disrespectful
all
of you and your
Muslims.
family.
I said they were all
think-
evil.
Okay, I don't agree with you, Lav. I think if you
You know
want
that I
to
don't
look-
actually think it that way. You know that I
would
don't.
like
You know
to
how I
give the
talk.
enlightened centrist.
Yeah.
I would like to give the enlightened centrist position on that.
Can I
So
just like I
obviously
just
can
think
speak-
it's I just think that I think it would be disrespecting myself to not acknowledge this and hijack the panel. So I'm sorry for hijacking the panel, but I'm not going to tolerate that. I think you're a bitch ass, spineless bitch. I know that was redundant. But I think you're a spineless bitch, and I think if you were honest in any way, you would acknowledge that the implication of saying the reason is that it's the sole reason, and that was a dishonest statement.
It sounds like
So-
you should
so
take
Yeah,
it
and
with
if you want
yourself
her to
because that's
move
exactly
on-
what you
if
said.
want her to move
But
on,
No, no,
you
no,
can
Go on.
just
wait,
correct yourself and not
wait.
misrepresent her and then make the
Hold on.
point.
So is your name Gatherer? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So I left the stream for a few minutes. I went back and I watched Stardust's opening statement. And
Who?
here's what she said with regards to the Democratic Party. She said, there are multiple things at play. There is some blame in the Democrats. Obama brought in a populist rhetoric, and it's a mix of things. She never once said this is the reason.
I trust Dev on this. Honestly, he's got a good
he
track
found his-
record.
he
Yeah,
found
this
his
guy's
mute
not
for the
going to
first
take
time.
it back because he has he is too prideful. And I get it. Like
Well,
you
do
don't
think-
have
do
any
you think-
He has to
respect.
double down
Gather,
disorder.
do
So,
you think
yeah.
that blatantly lying and then not taking it back is a good reflection on your point?
I think he muted so he can go find it himself. Honestly.
Okay. But I mean that in general, right? That's a problem, right? When people
That's something that
go
I
on
reiterated again.
blatantly misrepresent
So,
someone.
Yeah,
And then
and I'm not saying that I didn't. I
Oh,
didn't.
maybe he will right now.
assign-
Maybe he just
yeah.
checked it himself.
Yeah.
Maybe he will right now. So
Yeah.
there's your chance.
Wait, what happened?
Okay.
So yeah, he's just ignoring
Dev
it.
basically
troll.
went
No.
back
I'm gonna
and
be real with you. My internet has been shit lately. But before I cut out, I heard Dev saying it could be like one of the reasons or whatever. But that's such a meaningless statement. Everyone here has said the exact same thing. Like I don't.
No, but I gave
gives a
very
fuck?
specific things. I
If
gave
it's so
very
meaningless, then why
specific things that-
misrepresent it?
Yeah,
Well,
why
here,
would you
I'll
misrepresent?
read
it?
Sorry,
Hold on.
I can't come in here. I'm trying to paraphrase everyone's like what everybody in the
Then
panel has
admit when
actually
you're-
said from the
then admit
beginning.
when you
All
get
right,
it
can we move
wrong.
on from
Admit
this,
when you get
please?
it
It's
wrong.
clear
just
that
Yeah,
it
let's
doesn't
move
matter
on.
anymore.
It's so fucking petty. Like
It is petty,
Well,
but
it's-
I'm not going to like stand for people like
Well, I don't-
like being dishonest about my words.
I don't
I
think it's
think
petty. I
we've-
think it's
And
pretty
you're the one being petty,
substantive.
just
It
not
was like
correcting yourself and moving on. You could have
Yeah,
just
it
said,
would've
okay,
moved on
fine.
a
You said
long
it's one
time
of the
ago.
reasons.
listen,
and then
I'll
make the
rewatch the
point.
VOD. I'll get the
Okay,
quote.
great,
If there's
do
not
that.
the quote in there, I'll acknowledge it. Okay,
Okay,
good,
great.
happy.
Do that. Go
Yes,
do it.
thank you.
Thank
perfect.
you.
Jesus
When
fuck.
you
Now,
get
on
back,
the
we'll
topic
listen.
of Muslims, yeah, I will say, like, I wanted to say something, but everybody was talking at the same time, and it's not like it's a very conducive environment to do that. But I do disagree with Lav, and I'm sure she knows that I disagree with that. I think in general, most religions have like very misogynistic things in them, if that's what it's about. If you're talking about like what Muslims do in other parts of the world, I would just still disagree. I think the Muslims in America are very integrated with, with our society. I come from a Muslim family that's very female focused and very, education focused and all of that. So, yeah.
So-
Obviously, Soy Pill, you're new here. I speak that way because it's funny. I don't actually think all Muslims are evil. I have a more nuanced take than that. But it's funny to say they're
As
all
someone
evil.
who's very open to edgy jokes, you should try being funnier. That's not very good.
I think people
Should
thought it was
usually
funny
there's like a
enough.
setup and a punchline, not just like, haha, guys, I was just pretending to be a retarded bigot, but nice try.
I
The Muslims
think
are
it
voting
was
for
funny
Harris next
enough.
time.
I do want to clarify because people keep throwing around the word nice, and I don't think anybody on kind of our side of things has said the word nice. It's not about being nice.
I have.
There's a negotiation. I guess you have maybe. There's a negotiation strategy that's really important called the Golden Bridge, and it's basically you can be firm and you can be trying to get something from somebody or get a concession from somebody or even get them to admit that you were right. in some way, but you give them what's called a golden bridge to escape through so that they don't have to feel defeated in order to concede. So instead of approaching Talia with, "Oh, I actually think you're fucking retarded. Why am I listening to you?" You could just say, "Talia, you strike me as someone who has a lot of the same opinions and principles as me. And when I see someone who votes for Trump, he represents all these evil things because of this, and this policy that I don't like. And I don't see how you could be supportive of that. Is that what you did you mean you were supportive of that? Or is, again, what would it take to
I'm
get you to vote
aware
for
of how to
Democrats
have
next time?
a
Would
empathetic
require emotional
conversation.
intelligence.
An empathetic conversation with someone who I think is doing things that are conducive to harming people like me. However, that's not what I'm doing here. Not because I'm incapable of doing it, because I'm unfortunately
What do you think
faced with the
Republicans think?
Hey, left.
You are so.
left.
It's like impossible that you cannot self-actualize. Like
You know,
I
Quiet Cody.
cannot believe
Quiet
this
Cody.
is real.
Quiet Cody, real quick. Quiet. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm confronting the fact that Talia is being spoken to as a person of what can the Democrats do? Because when you say, hey, this person might be able to tell us advice, but they're clearly unable to prioritize policies that demonstrably are these like hierarchical things that should be game changers for voting, then why should we listen to their advice? That is what's frustrating. Not,
Again,
I don't know how to reach
unable.
out to these people.
Represent unable instead of just unwilling in that one election. Demonstrate unable. You just said she is unable to prioritize policy over those things just because she
has
didn't
poor
once.
she has poor prioritization of her policies. She's being asked as a not an expert, Talia. I'm not like claiming like you're claiming to be an expert, but she's being asked as a panelist.
You did say that, like,
I know, but like unironically, like I don't think that you think you're an expert. I don't think you're up here on some high horse of like, well, I'm this person. However, you are going on all these panels. Everyone's like, well, how do we reach out? How do we reach out? And it's like, well, clearly this person doesn't have very strong principles that can be reached because they're back and forth.
It's literally
Talia,
not what is happening at all.
So
It's
whatever way you want to phrase it, the point is
That's
that I don't
literally
think
not
you
what's
have
happening
anything
at all.
substantive to say about how to change Democrats'
Except
votes
for the
and
fact
support.
that I
And
represent real people out
the
there
thing is,
who-
Tali, nothing you're saying about whatever dumb reason you voted for Trump is new to me. We know this already, and we can reach out to these people. This is like a whole thing that I
That's
do,
fine, and you're
but
just
you
not
saying
doing
it
that.
Hold on a
here
second.
is not
Phil,
helpful. What's
there's
up?
something you're missing here. There's
Go ahead, Dev.
so if your criticism is that Talia's going on to all these shows and she has no new opinions and you don't think they're worth listening to, I understand your point of view, but you do know that this is Talia's show, right?
Is this Tali's show? I thought it was Wick's show.
It's a Wick and Tally show. We do it every week. She's my official co-host, has been for the last month or
I mean,
so.
and I said that 100 times in response
Yes.
to you in this conversation.
Oh.
So you can't
Yeah, but,
even
like,
It's like
this is-
literally like you own the show
He
on
doesn't
Wick's
believe that
platform.
women can hold positions of power.
Well,
I don't
no,
think they
the
should. I
point
know they
is, like,
can.
okay, so if your criticism is she's going on to all these shows and I don't want to hear this opinion, fine, but like this is literally her show. Like this is where she's going to be here because like she's the host. She's the
Oh, yeah,
co-host.
let's
You're the
just give
guest.
you kind of a look behind the scenes. Me and Tali every week says, what are we going to talk about next week? Sometimes her ideas went out. Like she's the one that wanted the trans debate, right? That we did, right? And so we set it up because she.
So you were the host of that
She
one
brought
too?
on these things.
To be
We had,
clear,
we
let me
had,
take a step
hold
back.
on,
Wick,
no,
Wick, Wick.
Let me
Actually,
finish. Let
no,
me
that
finish.
was a debate. That was not a. I was not a.
Yeah,
host
that
of
wasn't the Wick and Tally show, right? But she helps me get like different ideas for shows. She booked what was her name? The two people you booked,
Diane,
Artemis Hunter.
I booked Diane Yap. I booked Hunter Ash. I booked Taftash. Yeah.
Yes.
Very
So
cool.
she books for me sometimes on these things, and again, she decides the topics. Like, I think it'd be interesting to talk about this. I'm like, I agree. Let's do it. Right. So this one, we couldn't think of one, and someone suggested that I won't say who, in case they don't want me to say, right? But someone DM'd me and says, hey, I think you should have a topic on this. I was like, you know what? That's a good idea. And so I brought, and I reached out to Dev, and I reached out to Stardust, and I was like, you guys want to talk about this? And they did. And so here we are, right? And this is our weekly show, the Wick and Tally show, right?
You begged me to come on. You literally begged me. To come on.
Lav, I don't know. I didn't ask you to come on at all, Lav. You just showed up.
Anything.
Like,
It's inconvenient for me personally that this is the topic of conversation this week because it's coming off the heels of me doing that very one conversation on Live and Learn, which was supposed to be a Wick TV Tali and Wick show, but Econoboy recommended we do on their show instead. It was supposed to be the trial of Tali. It was supposed to be them coming after me of why I voted Trump, not them saying, oh, please, why is defected liberal? Tell us how we can win you back. That was not the energy of a single person there. And then, yes, a
Unfortunately.
few people, after listening to me, asked to talk to me more about things after. I'm
Because
not going on
Polly,
some world tour
and
about
I will
why the
defend my
Democrats need to vote
co-host
for me.
here.
Hold on, actually, wait.
Polly's
Sorry, one
an
more thing,
interesting
Wick.
person.
I
And you should listen to her.
thank you. But I literally one of the very first things I say on the Live and Learn episode is, I struggled coming into this because if I'm honest, I don't think that the left should be trying to win me over. If anything, what I offer up is an experience of a disaffected liberal, is an experience of someone who used to vote like this, who used to think this way, and has changed her mind on several things and now feels disaffected in this way. And people can choose to hear that or not. But I literally preempted the entire conversation with, I don't think that it's necessarily a good strategic move for the Democrats right now to be finding after my vote in particular.
Okay, you know
So-
what? That's totally fair.
All
I
the heat
actually
feels
completely
really
well. No, to be
unnecessary.
clear, the heat is not unnecessary because I do think people shouldn't take you seriously. Now, knowing
I
that
think
this
it's
is your
totally
show,
unnecessary.
I'm not mad at Wick for platforming you because it's your platform. Okay, so my reach out to all the Wick viewers is go watch the Soy Pill channel because I have better opinions. And with that, I'll say, Talia, I'd love to talk to you about anything that isn't this because this is going to trigger the fuck out of me. Jeb, as much as you've said things that I don't necessarily agree, and I think you're not listening to me, that's fine. I really like you. You're a good guy. You're a handsome fella. Dev, I don't hate you. Thank you. Star, thanks for being here. Please, I hope you didn't give me ringworm 2 weeks ago when you shook hands with me or whatever. And Lav,
No.
holy shit, please disappear. You're a stupid fucking retarded asshole. Gathro, bye. Wick, I love you. Bye. God damn it.